Welcome. This is MTG Card Market live streaming from the MTG Card Market in Chicago, Illinois, 1051 West Belmont Avenue, right off the Belmont Red Line. We are streaming Modern tonight. Got a couple new, developments in Modern as of late. We got a good match on camera for round one. Got some Mono Black Eldrazi, which is the new hotness in Modern. Modern, not a format I play too much of, but I'm looking forward to doing some streaming tonight. Nathan Mullen, Kyle Fouché, doing some commentating tonight. Modern. Speaking of Modern, there is a 2K coming up, right?
Yeah.
End of the month.
It's the release weekend, so this was it the 16th or whatever? No, obviously not the 16th. It's
like the 27th.
The 23rd.
Oh, 23rd. Okay, so Modern 2K here at Card Market on January 23rd, 2015. I pre-regged. Did you pre-reg?
I'm gonna be working on this thing.
Yeah.
The stream. And be out there at the table job.
Oh, okay. So you're not playing. You're doing.
I want
to
play,
yeah.
especially after last.
All right. So I pre-regged. A lot of other people have pre-regged. If you are interested in attending, I would definitely sign up now. They expect it to be sold out, right?
I think soon. Like it's already. I think it's a.
They're already at
halfway.
It's 80% capped, right?
Is it 80 or 50?
I think it's 80.
We can find out for you.
We'll find out for you. It's capped at some event number. If you haven't pre-reg and you're interested in playing, I would do so now.
It's also cheaper if you pre-reg.
It's also cheaper if you pre-reg. It's $30 to pre-reg, 35 day of. You're probably not going to get a chance to pay 35 on the day of because it will probably be sold out. There's a thriving Modern population here, and people love the format.
All right, we're going to switch over here. This is Sean Collender on the left, playing Mono Black Eldrazi.
Sweet. I was looking through his deck. Looks pretty standard for a Mono Black Eldrazi deck, which is weird to say because Mono Black Eldrazi seems so uncommon to the Modern format. But if you look, I use MTG Top 8 when I aggregate all of my deck results and how decks are in the meta. If you look under the control section for Modern, it goes Tron.
Okay.
And then this deck.
Really?
This deck has surpassed every other control deck in Modern as the second most played deck in terms of the control archetype.
Considered a control archetype.
But you know what I mean?
Play a lot, but
Modern is a weird format because Tron is... I called it, but it's still fine. It's still
good. It's still good.
But
is that Nick?
Did he fix it when he bumped it again?
He totally bumped it back.
Good job. We'll find out who that is.
Okay.
But either way, Tron is a control deck. Sounds weird, right? Because they play a turn 3 Karn, but it is a control deck.
Mm-hmm, sure, yeah.
It's playing board wipes and a lot of just crowd control with the Oblivion Stone. So Mono Black Eldrazi is that in a similar way where you go turn 1 Urborg, Relic of Progenitus, we're gonna have to fix that, and then you play your Eldrazi Temple or your Eye of Ugin into the Wasteland Strangler. It's 2 for 1ing your opponent if they played a creature on turn 1. So yeah. Interesting deck. It's kind of just surfaced. It seems like almost out of nowhere. I saw it at the SCG Open, but I really had only seen it a little bit before on Magic Online. I don't play Modern on Magic Online, but I'd seen the results of it being played, and boy oh boy, people seem to be real excited about this deck. I think Sean Collender just finished his 75 today, getting the last couple of Eye of Ugins. There's been a couple price spikes there. Yeah, it's looking like a very playable deck, and I think some people are probably expecting it to be played a little bit on the Pro Tour, maybe? I'm not sure. I think some other things happening in the Modern community. They're doing a little bit of a shake-up on Monday, I believe, when they announced the new banned and restricted list. Should be kind of interesting to see what they deem fit and unfit for the Modern format. I think a lot of people are calling for a banning of some pieces or of some parts, whatever, of the Amulet Bloom deck that's kind of burst onto the scene since the Pro Tour. I'm a big fan of the deck. I've seen a lot of people play it. It's had some pretty good success. It won the last, not the last, but before the last Modern SCG Open. I think the last one was run by Jund. And then Griselbrand was in second place, which I thought was interesting. A lot of commentary about angle shooting on Pithing Needle, etc. in the last Modern Open, but all that aside, it was a pretty good tournament to watch. No Eldrazi decks in the top 8, I believe, but it's still been absolutely on a tear through Magic the Gathering Online. People have just been crushing leagues and daily events and Modern events all over the place, and I haven't played against it yet. I also haven't played against Amulet Bloom, which is hilarious because I play a decent amount of Modern, but not a ton. But I've just never played against it. So,
Was it?
what's Dan Cho playing?
I couldn't ask because he was sitting across from Sean.
Okay.
But I sure will figure it out real soon.
Yeah. Okay. Dan Cho is not playing Maverick. That's a legacy deck. But
Hey man, maybe we figured it out.
I mean, the deck the other deck I have in Modern, the Hate Bears one, is like pretty close to what Maverick tries to do, where you just lock him out of doing anything. But be interesting to see Sean Collander's deck. I know Wasteland Strangler. I know Blight Herder. I know Ulamog. If any other Eldrazi comes onto the field, I'm going to trust on your knowledge of the draft format to be able to identify it properly, because I never really played the Eldrazi decks. I drafted a lot of allies and a lot of vampires in that format. So I've never played the Grixis or blue-black or blue-red Eldrazi deck. I don't know any of these. So I'm seeing a Thoughtseize, an Inquisition, a couple of Mind Stones, and an Eldrazi Temple. Doesn't look like he has an Urborg to make colored mana, which I can imagine being a problem in this deck a couple times.
He does have the Expedition map.
Oh, he has an Expedition map.
Yeah.
That should be able to tutor up an Urborg on turn 2 and maybe give him a... Looks like he's...
Urborg. You know that lands in hand, though, right?
Yeah, I think it was just the Eldrazi Temple.
Oh, okay.
Urborg was his top card, though, so clearly... Should have kept. That's one of those hands that you just snap off. Obviously, it's a correct mulligan. That's fine. With one land... This deck seems pretty mana-hungry, although the interesting thing is it's super mana-hungry, but... Like with 3 lands, you can play a lot of cards.
Right, if you have a Temple, an Eye, and an Urborg in play,
you just have It's like, well, in that way, it reminds me a lot of the Tron, where if they go, like mine, power plant, tower, you're just like, although it's potentially easier to do in this deck because it's 3 and you're playing 4 of each.
Sure. And,
I don't know. It's not. It's the same.
It's exactly the same.
It's exactly the same.
You don't need.
Yeah. What am I
talking
talking
about? You don't actually
about?
need any of those. Those always tap from more than one, even by themselves.
Yeah. So. Exactly. So
just probably a Coco deck?
It could be. We see a Forest into Birds of Paradise out of Dan Cho. Sean plays a Swamp and passes back. Looks like he got Oblivion Sour, and I thought I just saw a Doomblade in his hand, but that can't be what that is.
That would be amazing. I think I had to play this deck if somehow they decided Doomblade was the correct choice.
Yeah. If they were like, it fits, it's exactly what we were looking for, I'd be like, all right, there's a deck that plays Doomblade in Modern, I'm in. Dan Cho fetching with the Windswept Teeth. So, look, whatever he's playing, I'm seeing a Knight of the Reliquary, Wild Nicatl. So it just looks like Naya Company, kind of. I saw Wild Nicatl and a Knight, and usually signify, ooh, that's an Expedition Stomping Grounds.
Oh, look at that.
That's my favorite named Shockland, Stomping Grounds, actually.
It is pretty sweet.
Yeah, because like Stomping Grounds means the area where you grew up, and I think of like your old elementary school playground. Your stomping grounds.
But also just gruel stomping.
But also just gruel, blood rushing, All right, so tapping 3 to play probably a Knight. There's a Knight of the Reliquary. We got him at a 3/3. Denoting that with the counter.
I guess he paid 2 for that stomping grounds.
Yeah, he fetched and shocked. All right, so... Sean playing an Eldrazi Temple in passing. He's got that's a Go for the Throat in his hand.
Okay.
So Knight of the Reliquary shouldn't really pose too much of a problem for him. He can make it into a 4/4 with land if he chooses to draw with it. Horizon Canopy looks like he's taking 1, tapping Horizon Canopy for a green or white, and Birds of Paradise. This looks like smells like a Kasali Pride Mage a little bit. I could be wrong. Nope, he's tapping 3 again. Ooh.
Okay, so he's just
4-color company, I'm guessing? That is really cool. It looks like there's a Geist coming out.
Huh.
I actually don't think the Mono Black Eldrazi deck has a really good answer to that, aside from just playing their big guy.
Right. You just put something in front of the Geist, take 4 or whatever. But.
Yeah, but still, Geist posing the same problem it's always posed for, non-Liliana decks.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dan has some interesting positioning with the way he taps everything.
Yeah,
the Birds of Paradise as a land is really old school because it on the beta and alpha ones it says mana source instead of creature. Mm-hmm. It's kind of funny. All right. So Sean's probably going to take 6 this turn from the Geist if he doesn't have a good answer to that. Tapping the Birds in the Forest. 2 Noble Hierarchs.
Jeez.
Oh my goodness. So he's gonna be taking 8. If he goes to attack without...
Unless Sean's got the pen trick. Looks like he's taking it. Oh, he's going to fetch to 15 first.
Maybe he also has a Kasali Pride Mage to
That'd be
make
fantastic.
him take 9.
Just kill you. Yeah.
Wow, that is fast. Fetched up a Plains with the Windswept Heath. That's all.
His
fine.
cards are just all over the place.
Yeah. It's not the Pro Tour, so there's no strict enforcement for how to do this. But
he's on camera.
this smells like a Kasali Pride Mage if he fetched up a basic Plains.
Oh, he's fetching.
Oh, he's sacking that. So, trigger. He'll take 4 from the Geist and 4 from the Angel. Dang. So he took another 4.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he'll be at 12. Okay, there's the Eye of Ugin. That should let him play the Oblivion Sour, right? Yeah, okay. So trigger.
He mills 4.
And he's not. There's no lands in the exile yet, correct? Revealing a Lightning Bolt and a Noble Hierarch and 2 other things that I didn't quite see. Those lands are not exiled. Oh, he does get a land. It's a Kasali, a Noble, and a Lightning Bolt. So this is like Naya Company splashing blue for Geist. But not even really splashing because he's playing the Birds of Paradise. Alright, so Oblivion Sour, luckily, provides some reprieve against the 4/4 Geist that's been able to attack. Being a 5/8, it kind of makes it a little bit difficult to get through. So what Sean is hoping here is that there's no path to exile or something, because as of this point, he's pretty much stabilized against the board. Notably, Birds of Paradise can attack for 2 through this.
That is very real.
He could also just run the Geist in, take 4, and then... I don't know. I wouldn't do something like that, actually. We'll have to...
You can always do that later.
Yeah, I think Sean's hoping to dodge a series of Lightning Bolts, and looks like he's just running the Geist in there.
Just gonna do it.
So that seems like a snap block. Doesn't even die to Lightning Bolt at this point, so he's going to try to kill the Geist. He'll take 4 going to 8. Knight of the Reliquary would be pretty good here. He's got like 3 lands in the yard, and then with the Noble Hierarchs, he could kind of pump that up a little bit. Oh, he's got a second.
Another one, sure.
So he has a second Geist. So here he's just hoping to, he's probably attack again next turn, get him to 4,
and then
he has a 2-turn clock from the Birds and the Noble Hierarch. So what we have to see is if Sean's Eldrazi deck has some way, aside from Ugin, which is probably just
if he draws his the Flametongue Kabus, what are they called?
Wasteland Stranglers?
Wasteland Stranglers, he can kill the Birds.
Yeah. Geist is kind of running away with this game, though.
Right. Well, it's only going to deal 4 more damage.
So he's just going to get in.
Oh,
no, he's tapping the Bird. I thought he was going to get in for 2 first.
Oh,
he's playing Retreat
So he looks like he added Retreat to his company deck, and it was like,
turned his Retreat deck into
I'm playing blue, might as well play Geist.
Or he turned his Retreat deck into a company deck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sherwin. So yeah, he either was playing Company and added blue to put Retreat in it, was playing Retreat and decided, I'm going to play 4 colors. Because I did see a Wild in the Kettle, and there was a Lightning Bolt in there, so it's definitely 4 colors. But what this means is he can tap down...
Right, and he's just picking it up now.
Yeah, he can tap down the Sour and attack in for Lethal.
That was awesome.
That was an impressive showing from
a
4-color Retreat Company... I don't even know if it's Company. We should do 4-color Retreat at this point.
Probably, yeah.
Because I didn't see a Collected Company. I was just assuming when I saw the Nicattles and the Knights and the Geist. When Collected Company was first spoiled, I was talking with my friend, and the first thing we both thought of was, like, if you cast a Collected Company and hit Geist and Knight of the Reliquary, how does your opponent beat you?
They don't.
How do they come back from that? Because you at least have a 4/4 probably. Mm-hmm. And then you have a 2/2 hexproof that makes a 4/4 Flying Angel. And I was like, we were convinced that if Collected Company was going to make its way into Modern, it would somehow be in a Bant, mid-range aggro tempo shell. And it turns out we were wrong, and that Elves is actually one of the most busted things you can do with Collected Company at first. And then people, digressed back to the Birthing Pod style of decks. And then there's also this kind of Naya tempo company deck, but and now there's the Retreat decks, which feel like company decks in that they're playing this mid-range green-white style creature deck, but the Retreat decks kind of have the combo finish just stapled in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely don't think you take out the combo here because the deck really has no way to interact with it other than killing your creatures. I haven't seen what he's taken out. He's got Dramoka's commands in there.
Yeah,
this deck is interesting.
We think it's 4-color because we saw Stomping Grounds and Lightning Bolt.
It definitely is 4 colors
Yeah.
because it's green, white, blue, and then there's Lightning Bolts, so
Right.
that has to be 4.
The Oblivion Sower exiled the Lightning Bolt when it with its ETB ability.
Yeah.
You're being yelled at for saying sour.
Did I say sour?
It's sour. It's Oblivion Sower.
Did I say sour?
Yeah. It's all right. Yeah.
Which one's the Oh, yeah. I was like, Sower of Temptation? What? Oblivion
Sour from... No, yeah.
Oblivion Sour, please. But
I think
Oblivion
we should just
Sour.
say sour from now on.
Yeah, so Oblivion Sour. But either way.
Many Tims. Thanks, Mr. Sourness. I wonder who that is, Sourness.
Connor, perhaps? Yeah, so... I don't know. This matchup, again, complete mystery to me.
I like this matchup.
I know that Mono Black Eldrazi beats Grixis Control.
I like that this
much.
deck features a bunch of just Battle from Zendikar cards. Just Oblivion Sowers and Retreat to Core Realms. Oblivion Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, every card that ever has Sower in it, though, I'm just, if it doesn't have the Sower effect, I'm just like, there's one, Sower of Temptation. It's, yeah, interesting matchup. I feel like...
But wait, hold on. So, was it AK Cracker? That's not true. He can use, if he gets fetch lands, he gets additional triggers which he can use to tap down the blockers.
Yes, the combo is also not good against permanent graveyard hate like a Leyline or a Rest in Peace.
It is a good point though here. If he has a relic in play,
it makes it very difficult for the Knights to be
good. The combo doesn't actually
He may have
anything.
sided out some number of Knights. I wasn't watching him sideboard, but he took out a couple of cards definitively, so he may have been aware of this deck and taken out some number of the Knights. I think something to notice is that Geist was very strong in that matchup. Unless Sean comes out of the gates quickly with a...
I don't know. I just like what is the Blight Herder?
Yeah.
Makes 3/1/1s, right?
Yep.
It just kind of makes Geist Saint Trap look pretty bad.
That is true. Blight Herder's 6. It's 5 and something.
I don't know.
Or
Whatever it is, he doesn't pay that much for it.
Yeah. He doesn't tap 5 lands
Yeah.
to cast it. That's as much as we know. But can we look up the mana cost on Blight Herder? Actually,
Yeah,
I'm concerned if it. Now I'm not sure if it's 4 or 5. Or it could even be 3, but that's not true.
It's not.
Yeah, it makes 3/1/1s.
Nice.
No, it was with it's. Did you mean Blight Herder? Yeah, that's what we meant. It's 5.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to process twice.
Oh, that's right. But that seems fairly trivial for this deck.
He didn't. The only exile he did last game was from the Oblivion Sour.
He didn't have. I don't even know. He didn't do anything last game.
Yeah,
so.
he did mulligan to a kind of a slow hand and then got unexpected. So, okay, so this is close to the start that he's looking for. If he has a second land and can fetch up an Eldrazi Temple or a Eye of Ugin, or maybe an Urborg if he has the Eye of Ugin. So this is probably going to be how Sean usually wants to start the kind of games. I think the ideal actual start would be, is like Urborg into a Relic, and then you play the Eye of Ugin next turn. But Dan Cho probably fetch Shocking here to play a Birds of Paradise or a Noble Hierarch. Oh, he left at least one Knight in. I saw a Knight Reliquary there. All right,
Well,
so
he probably doesn't have the ability to just take out like one of the key cards in his deck. I
True,
think he
like
might be able to, but
yeah, like you can Kasali Pride Mage a Relic. Not great because they're gonna cycle it, but if they mess up and they tap low, you might be able to get it off and have some. Oh, okay. So here's the aggressive start from Dan Cho. It is a 3/2 Wild Nickattle. Right, 3/3. Or no, I'm doing that wrong. It's a
2/2.
It's a 3. Oh, there's no planes.
Yeah,
it's
there's no planes,
It's
yeah.
a 2/2. It's a 2/2.
Ooh, Ghost Quarter.
All right, Ghost Quarter from Sean and a pass of the turn. So let me see. If end of turn he gets an Eye of Ugin, he can cast. He can't cast anything if he gets an Eye of Ugin. I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't think he even has a play next turn.
So what's his hand? Is that another Ghost Quarter? Hey,
Yeah.
Sean, stop moving. People who
Uh,
flick their cards in their hand are the worst.
oh man, you would know nothing about that. That's red white Shockland. Sacred Foundry.
Okay. Wow, he's just fancy lands all over the place.
So he fetched shocked there, so he's at 14. That Wild Nicatl is now a 3/3, and he's Kasali Pride Mage seems like it'd be good here. Okay, yeah. So now he's got a 4/4 attacking on his second turn, and this is a good way to start off against this deck. It's interesting because super aggro strategies seem like they're pretty good against Tron, but like they can just if he was playing against Tron and he had just mapped for the a third piece,
right,
and you just play Karn, the game's over. I don't know if the Eldrazi deck has as high of a payoff card on the third turn with a start like this. Ghost Quarter, Eldrazi Temple, and then he's going to get their board.
It can't play a Karn, but it also doesn't just sort of draw cards if it can't cast them. It consistently always can cast its cards. It has the
because they're of lower cost. Because it's got the 5 and the 4 and the 6, so it's a little bit more reasonable that I can understand. It looks like he just went for an Urborg and then got an Urborg off the top. But all right, so there's the Blight Herder.
I think we should do it. I think we should do Homeland's Cube Draft. All right, Blight Herder, sweet. We got it.
So we called it.
Confirm Sean does have Eldrazi in his deck.
Yeah. Well, there was one last time.
Oh, right, there was.
It looks like he's explaining to his opponent, Dan Cho, what this draft all-star does in a constructed format. Problem is there's no cards to exile, so it's just a 4/5. So it
still eats the 4/4.
Okay, so it contests the 4/4 slightly. If Dan Cho has a Noble Hierarch or another Kasali Pride Mage, this is not going to be a happy moment for Sean, as I wouldn't chump block. You feel like you're priced into based on his hand. He's got 2 Thoughtseize a Thoughtseize and a couple of lands. It looks like.
Right. He still has his Urborg.
So he's still got the Urborg. So hopefully next turn he'll be able to. Ooh, yeah. This is why Path to Exile is a little bit more busted than Swords to Plowshares in some aggressive strategies. Dan Cho could give if he has the second. If he has the 4th land, it's just about getting in the damage.
I'm starting to think that Dan Cho actually has only he has 50 unique Magic cards in his deck.
Yeah, because last game we saw this kind of retreat combo Geist deck, and now we're just seeing the Zoo deck at work.
Right.
So he attacked for 4. Sean's at 12. It looks like he's facing 8 next turn, or 6 next turn.
It's 6. No, it is 8. It's because the Pride Mage can come in too.
Yeah. So Sean's on a 2-turn clock. Actually, now.
The Pride Mage is a 2/2, right?
Yeah.
So why didn't it swing? That's just an extra damage, right? Yeah. He's that's fine. I like even numbers.
So he's got a Bolt, a Kasali. Oh, man. Elspeth, Knight Errant.
And there's just a Thragtusk. I think he does actually just have 50 unique Magic cards.
That's a Tarmogoyf.
What did I say?
Thragtusk.
Yeah, I didn't. I knew what it is. I don't know why I said Thragtusk, but...
I know what you meant by Great Cook the Fourth. In reference to Homelands, great can mean only one thing. So Sean could be... so he takes 8 and then 3. So he'll be at 1.
Yeah. He cast Thoughtseize, right?
He's at 10. He's dead.
Where's his graveyard?
He pushed it off to the side. It's kind of awkward. Well,
okay.
It's across there.
Okay.
So Sean's at 10.
Yeah.
So Sean's dead to the board currently, based on what he knows is in his hand.
3, 4,
that's
6. That's 8.
That's 8 plus 3, 11.
Oh, he's the Bolt, right?
Yeah, he's got the Bolt in.
Did he take the Bolt? I actually didn't see what he took.
Oh, he may have taken the Bolt. That would have been. It would have saved him a point of damage. Is what that would have done.
Right.
So he'd be at 2 next turn, and then facing down all of this plus a Tarmogoyf, I would assume, because it's the most hard to answer threat in his hand currently.
Yes, we will both be at the 2K. Cubs fan. Hopefully we'll see you there.
Yep. I will either be playing Time Walk or Storm. I kind of want to just play Time Walk. It'd be funny.
Wow, he's just...
all right, so taking another 2... But then he's just... If he doesn't have an answer, he's just actually dead to the board now. Because he's at 8. He didn't take the Bolt. So he's just dead to the board now. Mm-hmm. Looks... He has...
Unless Dan forgets that Kasali Pride Mage attacks again.
So 2, 4, 5. So
he was dead to the Elspeth too.
That's true. He was dead. So he had to take the Elspeth because he was dead to Elspeth, and now at this point you have to take the Bolt or Blight Herder doesn't do it. I'm not sure what does it at this point. He has 5 colorless mana. Blight Herder doesn't do it.
So
right? Because he
swings.
swings.
He plays 5,
He
6,
swings.
7, 8.
He swings in with everything and bolts him. He's just dead. It doesn't work. Oh no, he took the bolt. No, he didn't. He took the Goyf, right?
He pointed at the Goyf. I think he moved the Goyf to the side.
Yeah, if he didn't take the bolt, he's actually just dead here to a full out attack, which is all right. Swing in with everything. So it's 3, 6, 8. He blocks 3, takes 5. It looks like if he didn't take the bolt, he's dead. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's game.
That will be game. As per usual, the aggressive deck in Modern kind of pushing the interesting brew idea to the side, being like, hey, this is Modern. Don't forget, there's a density of burn spells and aggressive creatures that can really pummel you in if you, don't play perfectly and, don't optimize your turns and remove creatures when you can. Like, I think a Wasteland Strangler at any point on any of those early creatures in the second game. There it is. He has an All Is Dust. I was wondering what his Oblivion Stone type effect is, because a lot of these big mana decks in Modern have the problem of they can generate this massive mana advantage, but they have an issue with low to the ground creature strategies and stuff like Affinity and Zoo, where it's like, yeah, you played a Karn on turn 3, but you're also at 10. So looks like he's got an All Is Dust, whereas Tron plays stuff like Oblivion Stone. Sean, this is Sean's first time playing the deck. Actually, he just finished it today. It's not a super intuitive deck. It has a pretty straightforward strategy, but the lines of play are definitely something that most Modern players probably haven't encountered. It plays differently than most of the big mana decks in Modern as well. Tron has a little bit more of a I don't know. Tron definitely plays differently than this deck. So Ayavugan gets All His Dust. That is a fun fact. Sure. But Cubs fan, you'll be on tokens, Abzan, John, Burn, or Infect. So it sounds like you got a couple of choices. Got a couple of choices there. I've seen a lot of Jund lately. I would consider playing Abzan, as it's just like Jund-ish. Beats Jund, though. I've been told, right? Abzan is kind of like the Punisher for Jund.
I think so.
Like Jund has a really tough time with that matchup, I think. Either way,
they have access to lingering spells.
It's lingering spells. That's what it is. So I wouldn't say Sean Conder was a poor pilot. This is his first time playing the deck. He's new to it. Playing against at first an interesting deck and then a Zoo deck in the same round. So kind of interesting. Brought in 2 Negates and a Boros Storm or something like that.
That's a deck. You know the Negate Boros
The
Storm,
potentially
Birds of Paradise deck.
Might as well be 5 colors. Retreat Company, Geist, Knight of the Reliquary, Kasali Pride Mage, Tarmogoyf, Wild Nicatl, Lightning Bolt, Path to Exile deck. You know
that Sam Ives is the Jund Master?
I'm going to have to say no and point to Reed Duke as the Jund Master, as a lot of people know him. I know him as the Contemplative Miracles Master, but that's because I mostly play Legacy. Did we find another match?
There's, a lot of people are actually already done.
This is Modern for you, dude. I bet there's a lot of.
In the middle.
I bet there's a lot of Zoo players out there.
I saw Alex Perez playing against on Infect playing against Amiria, which just has to be a ridiculous matchup in his favor.
Yeah, I don't see how he ever loses that matchup.
Yeah.
I played against him when I was playing Amiria a couple times, and it's just really, really bad.
Yeah, you can play what? You can play a. Danduan is pretty good at Magic.
He's pretty good at Jund.
And he does like to play Jund, so.
Is he gonna be at the 2K?
I hope so.
I would assume so. It's a competitive Modern.
He top 4'd the 1K last weekend.
What did he lose to in the quarters?
I believe they just split it and went home.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, never mind. I was gonna say, did you have to play against the Amulet player or something? But people say Jund is pretty good against Amulet. Actually, I've heard that. In fact,
it has a bunch of main deck ways to quickly remove the Amulet, which is nice.
I'm trying to think. I want to look at some of the spoiler cards that are. Can you?
Sure.
I want to look at some of the cards that people were talking about playing in this mono black Eldrazi deck.
Oh, sure. So
Because those will be legal in the
at
the 2K.
Yep.
Yeah, so potentially there's actually some cool stuff that could be coming into this deck for our big 2K event. If you haven't heard, MTG CardMarket is hosting a Modern 2K tournament at the end of the month on Saturday, January 23rd. $30 to pre-reg online or in the store, or give them a call. You can pre-register now. If you're interested in playing, I would do so. I would pre-register, that is, as it will probably sell out. And it's going to be an awesome Saturday day. It's going to be an awesome Saturday. Full of modern, and I don't know. I'm excited. I think it'll be good. I like playing in a big Magic event, and then it's locally, so I'll probably go out for dinner with a bunch of people afterwards or something, right?
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it should be good.
I hope I'm invited.
Oh, yeah. But you're working behind the scenes. You're like a little goblin doing all this stuff.
I don't even want to do it anymore, but whatever. Anyway.
You want to
take
take
it
it
down?
down?
This card seems sweet.
Vendilion Click 1.5, I guess. I don't know. It's like kind of like a Vendilion Click, but it doesn't have flash. So I'm not quite calling it a click effect. I liked you mentioned that it's actually more unfair in Two-Headed Giant because you can pick a card out of one player's hand and then have another player draw the card. Right? Didn't you say that?
Yeah. I did not say that, but that is true.
Oh, someone said it recently, and they were like, yeah, you can pick a card out of one of your opponent's hands and then make the other opponent draw, making this like disparity of who has
you can do that.
more cards or not, or who is missing what. It is interesting. It's different than Click because with the Click, they could find that card again. You know, like if you clicked a Tendrils of Agony out of a Storm player's hand, you know, it's on the bottom. They can still Infernal Tutor for it.
Or
if you thought not seared the Tendrils, it's like you're removing a main deck win condition.
Well,
so in Modern, it's different. There's not as many. But I mean, like thought not searing a Splinter Twin or something is like way different because that just like lowers a number in their deck.
But also in this deck that would play it, right? They can go Eldrazi Temple, play Thought Not Seer, Vendilion Click you, and have a 4/4 and play on turn 2.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah. I remember reading some forum comments right after this Eldrazi deck kind of burst into the scene at the SCG thing. Like a couple days later, people were just going nuts, and they were like, "They're gonna have to ban Eldrazi Temple and Ivugan." I was like, "Really, guys? Like, you can't even like people." It's interesting because so many modern decks are like pretty powerful. They have like like some of the stuff that it's doing. A lot of the modern decks are doing is like hyper aggro, really good combo control, or like very fast aggressive combo, or just like frustrating combo control, whatever. It's like you can't let this deck have the light of day for like 2 minutes.
No.
It's like, you played a turn 2/3/3 and killed my guy. That deck is so broken. You know, it's like a lot of stuff has to come together properly for it to work. But I'll be interested to see this deck's evolution as it continues to grow. It is getting seriously powered up by the new set.
Yes. What is the 5/5 trample haste called again?
Endbringer or something like that.
That's the one that untaps every turn. Can't remember.
Well, Endbringer is kind of interesting, right?
Endbringer is an interesting card.
So it's the there's a promo foil of it.
Yeah, it's the release card, I believe.
Wait, don't look at that. Ooh, I kind of like the release one better.
I know that like a lot of people are talking. This is just a sweet EDH card. If you're into that kind of thing.
Wait, what was it?
Reality Smasher. Thank you.
Oh, it's Reality Smasher.
Yeah.
I don't know where that is. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting new cards.
There's stuff hidden back here.
Matter Reshaper. Okay, so Reality Smasher.
This card is just
5 mana, trample haste. So as we saw,
be answered.
So as we saw, pretty easy to play on turn 3 for a deck like the Black Eldrazi deck. An Eldrazi Temple and an Eye of Ugin, an Urborg, a Swamp, or a Swamp and 2 Eldrazi Temples. There's endless ways they could play this guy on turn 3. When it becomes the target of a spell an opponent controls, counter it unless its spells control or discards a card. So basically, again, free 2-for-1. Wasteland Strangler, exile a thing, kill your guy.
It's not technically a 2-for-1. They could just die instead.
Yeah, it could be even better than a 2-for-1 in that it creates a 4-turn clock.
I think it's interesting that it does say counter that spell unless they discard a card, not like whenever it becomes a target of spell or ability that player target. Like, so if you have no cards in hand and you just draw, you have to draw answers to it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to draw. You have to actually wait 2 turns to draw that second spell to kill it.
Right, like if you draw a path, it's just like
And it's the only card in hand. You have to wait.
it's not enough. Like
Yeah.
you're still gonna take 5 from this guy. On turn 3, you're probably gonna take 3 from. Like you're not gonna chump it on turn 3, probably. So like it's like it's kind of if they do have an answer to it on your turn 3, it's kind of like you just played a Lava Axe, except you also made them discard 2 cards.
Right.
Discard 2 cards. So worst case scenario, you play it on turn 3, and they have a path to exile the next turn, or even that turn. So you play it on turn 3. You go to combat. They path it and discard a card.
That's fine.
You paid 5 mana. You get a land drop, and you made your opponent discard 2 cards.
Right.
Path to Exile works on your Oblivion Sower too. Sower. If you play Reality Smasher into Oblivion Sower, they don't have removal for your Oblivion Sower. They don't have removal for your Blight Herder. They don't have removal for your Wasteland Strangler. Whatever. Ulamog can get pathed, right?
Ulamog can get past.
So
That's correct.
it's a interesting card in that it's weirdly aggressive for the Eldrazi control deck, is what I'm saying.
Right,
Like, kind of.
right.
Because I don't know if they will play it. They probably will play it.
Yeah, and this is the last one.
Matter Reshaper. When Matter Reshaper dies, reveal the top card of your library. You may put that card on the battlefield. Again, yeah, this is the free 2-for-1 kind of thing, right? So you play it on your second turn. It's a 3/2.
Right.
Standard fare.
I
It's
think
gonna
this
in the Eldrazi control deck. It's only gonna draw a card. Like nothing will get put into play off this.
Right. Oh, so it does. Yeah. So like the worst case scenario is it dies and you get like a I don't know, like expedition map or whatever.
Right. Yeah. It
Or like
could,
another relic.
so it could put a relic.
But
or,
if it's a relic, you just draw another card. Like you can still draw a card.
So yeah, that's what I mean. It's basically just gonna draw cards in this deck.
And this comes down. I guess this can't really come down on turn 1, right?
No, turn 2 though.
Yeah. See. Yeah. Exactly. Like this guy. Maybe his name is Connor. I'm not sure. He says that Collected Company is just great in Collected Company because it hits everything in the deck. Just literally everything in the deck puts it in.
Will they actually play that though?
I don't know. The thing is, so Collected Company can play Horizon Canopy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh, that taps for.
Wait, does it tap for colorless? Maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, because it says tap,
Maybe
add
not.
1 colorless to your. Oh no, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it
it does
doesn't.
not
Sorry,
have
no.
colorless,
That's when
right.
you can only pay life for it.
So
So
you
you'd have
could-
to be playing a Collected Company deck that plays Ghost Quarters.
No, you can play whatever the Pain Land is.
That seems bad.
I don't know. If this card's
I
good
don't
enough,
think you.
that's how you can do it.
The company decks. I don't know if you want to be playing.
But there you go.
Painlands.
You can play it in standard.
Also, Gavany. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, get that.
Okay, you have your one of Gavany Township that could cast the Reshaper. I don't know. Sure. I mean, this Eldrazi deck exists. Anything is possible.
Right,
Like,
right.
this deck is a thing. We're actually talking about standard legal Eldrazi cards in a format that's existed for years, where Storm and Splinter Twin and, Taharmagoyf are all things. So, I've never been one to, be the celebrator of the modern format and how diverse and amazing it is, but this deck is really kind of interesting, and it's kind of shaken up things in terms of my opinion as far as what decks are viable and what you can actually stretch the bounds of the format to.
I want to know what happens to actual Tron after the release. Do we...
Right, that's another thing people have been talking about.
Like, is there any reason to even play Emrakul anymore?
No.
Like, you
no.
just play, like, this is the biggest thing you play, right?
Yeah, no.
I know a lot of people think this card's unplayable.
I think
I've
most
heard
people
this
cut
pretty
Emrakul because they just put in a bunch of Ulamogs already.
Right.
That card is insane.
So
Like I was saying, that one of the huge problems with big mana decks like that is you can fall behind on tempo, obviously, because you're not doing anything for the first 3 turns, really. So they come back with, like, Oblivion Stone and Allah's Dust and stuff like that. Ulamog just does that for you. And also creates, like, a 2-turn clock, immediately. What is going on?
I don't know. Something about fighting and then Ulamog replaced it.
Shaka bra. Yeah, Ulamog replaced it.
Yeah.
I think Ulamog has already replaced Emrakul, but you know what else? I've only played against Tron when it was Kevin Kingsley playing Mono Blue Tron. I have like not played against so many modern decks. It's insane.
It's weird, right?
And I don't even like. It's not like I don't play a lot of modern. I play a decent amount. I play every Wednesday here, and then most of the time before other stuff like draft, because most people don't play Legacy, so I have my modern deck with me. But I've never played against Amulet even once, and I played against Kevin Kingsley on Mono Blue Tron like twice maybe. It's just like not Mono Blue, like Gift Strong kind of thing.
Yeah.
So people, this whole time when everyone was complaining about how busted Amulet Bloom was, I was like, I think you guys are just, complaining too much. Because I've never played it. And if I played against it and I lost on turn 2, I'd probably join right in with the fanfare of, like, get it out of here. But I haven't, so. Gavany comment. When do they play more than one? Have you ever seen that? What deck plays more than one Gavany?
Just actually green-white card decks? I don't know.
I
guess like the
company deck?
Yeah, because it's
like Abzan Company. Okay, so Abzan Company.
Like 2 of it.
Yeah, but Abzan Company running that matter display, like what?
I don't know.
They're not gonna play that.
I have no idea. I played against a deck. I love playing against a deck with Delver because they play creatures and then I class bolt and then they die. But it's like whatever.
All right, so the Abzan Company deck plays multiple Gavania Townships. Sure, it's basically like the pod decks. They probably had to fill a bunch of slots after their deck got murdered. So sure, I believe that. Top comment on Kozlek. Seriously, hope this is fake.
It might be fake. I don't know. Is it confirmed yet?
They confirmed it. It's on the Wizards of the Coast website.
Are there any other interesting cards?
I completely forget going back to the time when I thought that card wasn't real. There was a lot of people, including me, who thought that was just some ridiculous thing.
It's a thing that exists now. I don't know.
You know what also exists now? Wizards being very, 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 very definite about official spoilers.
Yes, that's true. What about standard legal upheavals?
Yeah. I like it.
It's not upheaval though.
But I like it still. I still like it. I'm interested.
Proxy this up for the cube.
Yeah,
we gotta play with
none of that.
Why? Oh yeah, I can't say that.
None of that. No proxying. You'll have to wait till this weekend. Hopefully get one.
Oh, I always do, right?
Connor will.
You do.
I do, and Connor will. Yeah. Connor will open the pre-release foil, and then I'll come to Cube on Monday and be like, "Hey, Kyle, I got you a Chandra." And be like, "Oh, Connor opened one."
Already opened one, yeah.
And he also has a foil one too, so I'm just gonna use that one. I'll be like, "Oh, is it the pre-release one?" You'd be like, "Yeah." I'll be like, "Okay, great. I have one too. Fine."
What are you talking about? Oh, hibernation. Get him.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah. Chuck Harris did that. I watched him do it.
Deck, yeah.
I watched him do it again.
Was he doing it in Legacy though?
No, he was doing it in Modern. I watched him cast it on camera against Simon Camera on Merfolk. And here's what happened. He played the Painter Servant. He named green. He cast Hibernation. Everything returned to hand. Simon went land, Curse Catcher, go. And the next turn, his board was exactly where it was before, and Chuck had, a Painter Servant in play again. So his dream scenario was to cast it, floating a black mana, and then delve away everything and play a Tasigur. So post hibernation, both boards are completely empty, and you're sitting there with a 4/5, cool. Which is an interesting notion, and I thought it was kind of cool, but never really saw it evolve past that. I like Chandra way better than this card.
Chandra's cool. I think Chandra...
Print another good green Planeswalker so we can stop playing only Garrix in Cube.
Chandra, I don't know what format. I'm talking about Cube, but that's not relevant. But sort of just a Land War Elf and does Nissa on turn 2 seems strong, especially on the play.
Yeah, but that won't ever happen in Standard again because they said they wouldn't.
Well, so if we can't play with mana dorks like that in Standard, but they can print 3 mana Planeswalkers,
That's a fair trade. Yeah.
This one's not that exciting to me, but I think it's probably good. I don't know.
All right, and it does protect itself, which is a relevant thing. I don't know. I don't know where Standard's at enough to be able to make a serious comment about it.
Sphinx's Revelation when it ultimates, it doesn't even really.
Yeah, it's basically.
It doesn't even win the game.
All right, what's the next one? Red stuff. Nothing really.
What
is Embodiment of
I like this card. I don't even care where it goes. I just like this card.
I like the green version of this
The one
card.
that
That
gives vigilance.
no. So like, there's that
Okay.
green Sylvan.
Oh,
thing.
that one's crazy.
Sylvan
That
Advocate.
one's crazy,
This
yeah.
card seems really cool. It's a 2/3 with vigilance for 2. Like, okay. Like mono green Stompy decks play 3/3 vanilla. You know, for green. Like, this is a pretty good rate that we're looking at. And
2 mana 4/5s are pretty good.
yeah, and if you awaken a land, it just like
Ugh,
yeah.
that's dirty.
No, it's a rare though, so that's like never gonna come up in draft, and I don't know if it really slots into any standard decks at the point until they make that landfall deck, dude. World Breaker.
World Breaker.
If you play Control in standard, I feel like you should be preparing for this card.
Yeah,
It's never gonna go away. Like, you're never gonna get rid of it.
I read it. I was like, wow, that's just like a boring, dumb, mythic green beater. But then I was
No.
like, no, it doesn't ever go anywhere.
Yeah.
They just have a 5/7.
So you play it, and people have told me it's like, yeah, but the control decks play Ojutai and they're Esper colored and blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, they're still control decks though, right? Like, they can get this thing to resolve, which they can clearly ramp into as there's standard decks playing Ulamog,
Right.
like multiple copies. This is 7 mana. This is along the way. All you have to do is sack a land and pay 3 mana. Goes back in your hand. You can play it again.
Also, it has Hollow Fountain in the background.
Sure, that's kind of interesting.
Is it the same guy? Do you know? Is it the same artist?
Well, I can't read that small.
Is it like Jamie Jones?
James Jones. I don't know.
I'm not really gonna look it up right now. It's not that
Yeah,
important.
I don't know. I think this could be like kind of a nightmare because in my mind, traditionally, control has always punished ramp strategies, and this card kind of seems to tilt the odds a little bit, at least maybe.
Apparently, it's going in the bulk bin.
I'm sure it's not going to be worth anything. I'm just like, I feel like this is kind of like a nightmare
And
for.
this
Control.
blocks dragons, right?
What do you mean?
Do people still play dragons standard? I don't follow a lot of standard.
Ojutai.
Yeah, like this just eats it in Ojutai when it attacks
Does nothing against Atarka.
you. No, but I mean, Atarka's just the biggest creature ever.
Well, actually, it doesn't die to Atarka, I should say. That's a kind of a thing, but it doesn't.
No, but if you
block
can't block it, you can't block it.
Yeah. I don't know. It seemed like an interesting card.
Yeah. What I thought there was one card I thought was kind of interesting was this guy.
What the heck is this? Equipped creature gets +1/+0. Whenever equipped creature attacks, put a 1/1. So it like mini Brimaz is
It
your
turns
guy?
your guy into a Brimaz for 2 to cast and 1 to equip. That's cheap.
It's kind of a low bonus though. It's
It's a
basic.
1/1.
So it's basically a 2 mana, 3 mana, 2 mana to play, 1 mana equip, 3 mana total to put an additional 2 power on the board.
Yeah. So like in it, at least what I learned from Brimaz is that the tapped and attacking is actually not. It's most of the time it's actually not an upside.
Yeah, you want it back
Yeah,
because
it's
when it's
just-
tapped and attacking, like Brimaz solves it by being vigilant,
Yeah.
and he's also a mythic rare. But
Well, even then, like his tokens, like I've like almost never untapped the Brimaz token after attacking Brimaz.
right, yeah.
They just have something to eat it. But-
Yeah. So in this case, I actually don't think this is very.
And what's cool though is if it does survive, right, then it has more fodder to make more guys. Right, it kind of
Okay.
feeds itself, and I don't know. I think this card's probably pretty good.
Brimaz is definitely one of the best creatures that received no respect. I agree. That card, never did anything, and it has such high upside. It's a 3-drop 3/4 that makes creatures in his vigilant.
That's awesome.
This could see play in the ally deck in Modern. I don't know. Maybe they'll unban Stonefall.
Maybe there's a. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know of any tribal decks that want to pay 3 mana to put an equipment on some guy. Equipment is just like, at least in Modern, I don't know if it will do anything in Standard. Maybe there's an ally deck in Standard, but like, aside from no Stoneforge, equipment in Modern seems like something that doesn't happen because it's so easy to get 2 for 1.
Right.
Path to Exile and Lightning Bolt are both a thing.
So
it's like you equip it to a 3. You
Mulligan's command.
Yeah, and Mulligan's command is all over the place. So you try to equip this to your 3/3, they bolt it. You try to equip it to your 5/5, they path it. You try to equip it at all, they kill one of your creatures and destroy it with Mulligan's command. It's just
Right.
Modern is not the place to be playing equipment right now. Maybe they actually can unban Stoneforge Mystic. Like, don't think they will, but they might. They could.
I don't think
maybe.
they will. I think
There's
if you
some
unban it, you have to play it. Whether or not it's too good, like for the format.
So if they did unban it, I would probably try it in a blue-white-red Delver deck or a blue-white-red Splinter Twin deck, like the old standard deck, the American Twin Blade decks that existed at a time. And like I've always told people, a lot of modern decks are like crappy extended decks or standard decks of days gone by. And if they actually unban Stoneforge Mystic, guess what? You could play another standard deck from days gone by in American's like Twin Blade. Just go for it.
Hey, Alex, is everyone almost done out there? Do you know?
4 minutes.
4 minutes? Okay.
How'd round 1 go?
Blue-white Amaria.
You didn't. You didn't beat
that?
that.
Was fantastic for you.
It's fantastic for me when he doesn't draw like 3 Wraths.
Yeah.
Oh right, Wrath is really good against you.
And like 3 Path to Exiles and 2 Dispels.
Dang.
Gets 2 Amarias online.
That does not sound like you had a fun time. Just like if you don't pizza and French fry properly, you're not gonna have a good time.
I don't get it.
It's from South Park. I don't even watch South Park like ever. I just know that you're not gonna have a good time. All right,
I like this card.
you put this in your queue, right?
I'd try it out. I think it's fine. I needed to.
This is the what is this? It's timely reinforcements on a creature a little bit.
You gain 1 less life, and your dudes are together.
It's a mythic, also. Huh? I mean, it has to be. It's
this
legendary.
card is the definition of just limited bomb. Like this card is just
right. It just like if you can trigger both effects,
it's insane.
I mean, it takes some leveraging, but like you can just be like, I'm not going to block because I have a Linval in hand. I'll be at 14. He'll be at 16. Whatever.
Well, like think about it. Like so, if I'm behind. Just like in all sense of the word, I gain 5 life, I get a 3/3 flyer. Yeah, there you go. if we're parity, like maybe he has more creatures than me, or like the same number of creatures, like whatever. I played a 5/5 and I shatter our parity. I'm ahead. I play a 5/5.
It's a 5/5 flying for 6, which is like a really good rate.
Right.
So
there's no point in the game where this card is too much or bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Even triggering just one side of it is really really good.
And like I said, if you can't trigger either, like you just have more creatures and more life, well then this 5/5 is just gonna finish the game. Yeah. So I like this card a lot.
What are the other bomb mythics that are in the set aside from? We looked at Kozilek and.
I mean, in limited, this is a bomb. It's kind of boring, but it's clearly a bomb.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about him. He's boring as hell. That card is not. Sphinx of the Final Word. This card seems awesome. I loved when everyone was playing Aetherling because it just made like control decks crazy. Like they'd actually just play. You could just play. I mean, you'd play more than one Aetherling, but like theoretically,
right?
Play an Aetherling.
So that the control decks can finish their games. Right?
Unless they're playing against another control deck, and then you just get into the craziest staring match.
Right. Well, this one is a finished staring match. The Aetherling finished the game much better than this.
It was whoever played it first. Yeah, because you're like.
But this is like, this does finish games. Like you're like, okay, we're stabilized. We don't need to like we were just playing right beforehand. I was playing Delver. He was playing like
Esper Control,
and he won. And it took us 20 more minutes to finish the game. This is what you need to just end the game.
Yeah, the game was over when I Snapcast or Heroes Downfall, your fucking Gourmet Angler or whatever. But it's because the way it was drawn out, it took forever.
War never changes.
It's also a blue card, so it appropriately has the most arrogant flavor text possible. He answers questions as readily as he asks them, but his answer is always no.
No, always no.
No. Typical blue card for the blue mages who just think they're better than everyone because they are playing the correct color. The oaths are kind of interesting.
I like this one.
This is the Faithless Looting or Thought Scour, basically, right, of standard. Pretty much.
I mean, it's more like compulsive research.
Oh, you draw 3. Yeah, okay, so it is like
yeah.
compulsive research. But this is an interesting card for what the implications of it are in that it turns on Jace.
Right.
Like immediately. I mean, if you just went basic land, it wouldn't, but you'd have to... I'm assuming, you fetch turn 1 or 2 to play your Jace. Next turn, you could flip them pretty easily.
Right, I mean, okay, so the blue one turns on Jace, right?
They all turn on the...
The green one fetches lands.
But it doesn't, immediately turn on Nissa.
No, but it gets lands to get Nissa.
But with the right start, you can play your Jace, loot, flip it immediately, and flashback something else.
Right, you can flip Jace in turn 3.
Yeah.
Oath of Gideon, right?
This is the one.
Gideon is insane.
This is the one that I think is actually will probably see the most play in that if you play this and so you play it and you immediately get 2 1/1s, right? So, like, that's pretty good. You pay 3 mana for 2 1/1s. It's not amazing. But what is amazing
They
is
are
the next
allies.
turn. So they're allied. But the next turn you play a Gideon. If you play a Gideon, you can make the emblem without killing
It's
it.
insane.
And from then on out, if they didn't have a way to remove your tokens, they're now 2/2s. It's your 4th turn. Like, things are. It's just gravy from that
Right,
point. It
right.
seems like, for the most part.
And what I saw people talking about was, see if we can find the card real quick. It's the flickering Eldrazi.
Oh yeah, I really like that guy. You can. It's like you pay 2 or something, and you reveal the top card of their library.
No. It just it exiles. Where is it?
Oh, there's an Eldrazi that flickers
Eldrazi
non-land.
Displacer. Yeah, so you can exile another target creature, and then it just flickers it.
Uh,
So like you can play Gideon or play the Oath of Gideon,
Mhm.
play Gideon, and then make an emblem. Right. Next turn, activate Gideon, attack, and then flicker it, and then it comes back in. You make another emblem, and then you attack and you flicker it, and make another emblem, and it's insane. It does all this crazy stuff.
wow.
Yeah, this card also, I figured it Connor, what is it again? This card is also an infinite combo in standard.
All right, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I want to know what the infinite combo is because I love playing combo, and that is.
Flicker Eldrazi. Oh, right.
What? Wait, what's Brood Monitor? I don't remember that card
it's
at
from,
all.
It's from Battle for Zendikar. It just makes 3 1/1s. Three Scions.
Oh, and then you use that 3 mana to pay to flicker the thing that makes 3 mana,
Yeah.
and the Zulaport
And
Cutthroat
every
to
turn,
play.
yep, exactly. You get 'em. And you can actually do it in draft.
All right, so the combo is you have the Displacer in play.
Yep.
You have a Zulaport Cutthroat in play.
Yep.
You play Brood Monitor. You make the 3 Scions. You sack the 3 to activate the
Whatever it was.
Eldrazi Displacer.
Yep.
When you sack all 3 of them,
Three
the
triggers.
Zulaport Cutthroat triggers 3 times, and then you flicker the Brood Monitor, making 3 more Scions, which you sack again to trigger Zulaport
Kill as
Cutthroat
many
3
people as
times.
you want. You gonna play standard now?
And this can't be a good deck. It requires you to have 3 creatures in play all at the
And you
same
have to play
time.
Brood Monitor, which costs 6 mana.
And you have to play Brood Monitor, which costs 6 mana. So
I mean, this card is certainly standard playable.
if I was going to play Zulaport Cutthroat, it would be in like the Return of the Rank style. What's that card? Rally the Ancestors.
yeah.
That deck always made me laugh. I thought that was a really cool. I should have been playing Standard when that deck was really good because I used to watch LSV stream it and play it specifically so that when he cast his Rally, you would look at the screen and it'd just be like Rally Ancestors. Okay, results.
Yeah,
Like
just
they
the
would
whole,
just
the whole screen just
the
fills
whole
up, yeah.
screen would fill up with like triggers of what was happening, and I was like, this is the kind of magic I like. It's like not like it's as close to combo and standard as we had compared to like the Jeskai Ascendancy.
Right.
Whereas it's like pretty much a 1-turn kill. It's a little bit more than that, but it's basically an OTK.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this 2-headed giant set. I was reading.
Oh yeah, Eldrazi Displacer
I
is
was
going to
reading
be
these
insane.
articles and they were going through all of BFZ and all of the Oath, just talking about cards that were fun in 2-headed giant,
Mhm.
and there were just so many just really fun things that you can do. Like if you weren't here earlier, we were talking about
Thought Knots here.
Thought-Knots
it's,
here.
it's a tiny thing, but
you
it's
can
really
take
cool.
someone's card and then make the other player draw the extra card. You can
When
just
it's
kind of-
removed, yeah.
You can just move like the power back and forth. And,
Yeah, I think that'll be interesting when you notice like one person hasn't been playing anything for a while.
Yeah.
You can like take maybe their really big payoff card and be like, sure, the guy has 2 cards in hand. When it dies, you can draw one.
Exactly.
You know, it's just like there's a lot of weird small stuff like that. And there's also
Eldrazi
some
Displacer is another target creature who can blink your other guys. Yeah.
right, and there's also bigger stuff like all the surge costing type effects and stuff like that.
They were smart enough to make all the draw spells target player draws 2 cards.
Right, so
Yeah,
you can help out your
exactly.
friend versus. They should have reprinted Misdirection. if they're all, if all these things target, that would be really. It wouldn't make any sense. It's not flavorfully fit into this set at all.
I mean, it could. I mean,
Aside from this
I mean, it could be
display.
a Kozilek flavored card, right? Kozilek could be misdirecting a spell.
But see, like,
But also then there's misdirection in standard, which is who knows.
which puts it in modern, which
then,
does
yeah, I don't
a
know.
number of things. So I always.
All right, there you go. Just play it for Reflector Mage. Just lock him out of the game.
What's Reflector Mage? I don't.
That's the Mana War with Meddling Mage on it.
But how does it lock them out of the game?
Well, you can just like permanently remove a creature. Basically, you can blink a card because it. Let me just pull it up.
Yeah,
for
I don't,
anyone
I'm
who
just
doesn't
I'm
know-
just not understanding how that like.
For anyone who doesn't know which one's multicolor, I don't know how this works.
It's the sun one.
The sun. No.
Nope. What is that even? Oh, those are the.
Are those like a rarity or something?
What's that? That's instants. Or that's sorceries.
I don't know how. I don't use Mythic Spoiler like guy. Sorry.
Could be that. That's Planeswalker. What's the one next to
That's
Planeswalker?
land. That's just like Eldrazi. That's artifacts.
What's the creature one?
That's creatures. Instants
But
and
it's a
sorceries.
creature, right? Reflector Mage is a creature.
Yeah. All right. You can just click on creature.
You know what color it is?
Yeah, it's blue-white.
There we go. Reflector Mage.
Oh yeah. So yeah. So you
So what does this do? When Reflector Mage enters the battlefield, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. That creature's owner can't cast spells with the. Oh, okay. Because you said Meddling Mage, and I was like, how does that work? You just keep flickering it, naming different stuff.
Right, yeah, no,
no.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you bounce the thing to their hand, and then they play something else, and you bounce it. You bounce.
Right,
You
they just
flicker
can
this,
never really
bouncing
do
that. Yeah.
anything.
So it just kind of like for 3 mana sets them. It's actually kind of like buying back a capsize
Yeah, so like they actually need, I believe, right? If I'm thinking about this right, they actually need 3 creatures with different names
to be able to
in order to
beat
actually,
this.
and actually to actually be able to attack you next turn.
Right.
Yeah,
And they also have to be able to play all 3 of them.
actually it just flickers it instantly, right?
What?
It just flickers it. The card we were looking at just
It flickers it instantly, so you can just do it as much as you want.
as you have. You just locked them out of the game.
No, yeah, so that's basically like buying back a capsize in that if you have 3, for as many times as you can pay 3 mana, you can bounce a creature.
That's
And then whatever the last one you do it on, you won't be able to be played the next turn. So if they do have 3 creatures,
Actually, yeah. Can any of them be played? Oh right, because that one would forget it's yeah right right. If you
so
flicker
but
it, can
basically
play, yeah, okay.
it does let you kind of do the capsize.
But it doesn't
thing.
matter if you have 9 mana. You can just like they should have printed that card we're playing Conspiracy on Monday that lets you give your any 1 mana.
Oh yeah, the Prismatic Lantern or
Yeah,
whatever it
yeah.
was. That card was really cool. I had never seen that card, and
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
card's
play too
super
much
fun.
Conspiracy, but
That's
it
super
kind of obviously it didn't do anything. It only targeted the player who owned it. But like
But our games were so quick.
yeah,
Like when I played it,
that's what happens when you draft 4 Vent Sentinels, and
yeah,
people
when
pass
you
it.
have Fence Sentinels, and then everyone's grinding, and then like people are just getting milled. It was crazy.
Yeah, Vent Sentinel just
Yeah.
like lets you take out random people. I feel like I shouldn't have even said anything. I should have just sat there because at one point I had like 16 damage in play, and I'm just like I can kill anyone at any point. I'm just
Spectral Searchlight apparently is the name of that
Oh,
card.
Spectral Searchlight, sure, yeah. Kind of a goofy card. Should we go see if...
Yeah, I'll go get it.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Alright, just go see if anyone is...
I actually didn't ask anyone to play.
Hopefully they haven't started.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so... Basically, a lot of interesting cards coming in this set. A lot of interesting possibilities. It'll be cool to see where Standard's at. One thing we didn't really touch on was a lot of people have been talking about a red-black aggro deck that could be getting some wind in its sails. I played that a little bit recently. Kind of more of a... I don't know. I played a lot of Thunderbreak Regents and a couple of legendary Kolagons, and this is the typical red-black stuff. People have been there's like a lot of good Eldrazi that have been printed for that. What do we got?
We're gonna watch Dandelion against Kyle Norman.
Okay, so Kyle Norman's playing a Grixis deck.
He said 4-color thing.
Yeah, so he's playing Grixis and he's splashing white.
Versus Lingering Souls?
I think it's Path, maybe Lingering Souls. I don't know. So let's get this. All right, so we got Daniel Dwan. Daniel Dwan on the left. Got some Kyle Norman on the right. So Kyle Norman, big fan of Grixis colored decks. I've played against him in Modern and Legacy. Often running with the Grixis. Dan Dwan known to sling some Jund cards around in the Modern format. Grixis, say Grixis splash
Dan's
white.
actually on junk.
Oh, he's on junk tonight. Okay. You want to know how easy it is though?
Oh,
that
yeah.
easy.
Oh, yeah.
One letter difference. All right.
All right, let's do this.
All right. So Kyle Norman on Grixis Splash White. Don't know what for. I just didn't want to put in 4 color because I don't know what it is, but when like people play decks that like splash something, I'm like, that's not really 4 colors though, dude. You play like a Lingering Souls. Come on.
Oh!
Daniel Dwan, you're being called out as a traitor by Cubs fan 134. It happened on stream, 8:36 p.m., January 13th, 2016. NTG Card Market Live, 1051 West Belmont,
No one saw
Chicago,
it,
Illinois.
But I just print screened this. Gonna print it out.
Yeah.
Gonna give it to him.
Okay. I don't think we have a... No, they have a printer.
There's a printer.
Yeah. Thanks, Sherwin.
Thank you, Norman. Yes, the Sherwin.
The Sherwin. The one and only Sherwin. Local Chicago judge. I'm sure you've run into him at some of the events here. Always a good guy. All right. Looking like I've seen a nicely blacked out Jace.
Oh yeah.
Like representative card. I almost said proxy. That is not what it is, but...
Oh, I thought you meant he had the...
No, he has the checkmark card, but it's like blacked out.
Right,
well.
you said black, and I thought he had the
Ooh,
the San Diego Comic-Con Jace.
Those are a nightmare when people play with them on stream. It's just like black card. You're like, which one? There's not even like a hint of blue on it or anything. It's so bad. Yeah, Sherwin is really nice. It's always nice to have good judges.
He is a great judge.
Yeah. I remember I used to play. There was one good judge and a lot of not great ones. And it was just whenever I played, I went there sometime middle end of last year to play in a Legacy 2K, and I was like, I hope this guy's judging, and he was. And I was like, thank goodness, it was a smooth event.
Oh.
Actually, won like $500 at that event. It was pretty cool.
So if Dan Dewan's a traitor, we should put him on the other side of the table for the... Because clearly Fire Angels are bad angels.
But are they though? Like, a Chroma was pretty nice. Oh, but then she turned into the red one that wasn't very nice.
She had a lot of anger.
But see, that's like the whole Jedi Sith thing where they like...
Maybe just trying to be a jerk? Like, why would you... I mean, this interaction is just... it's very weird.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of weird things you can do.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, it's like the Jedi and Sith thing where it's like the Sith use their anger for power, and I'm like, what's so wrong with that?
From my point of view, the Jedis are bad.
All right, so Kyle's shocking himself to play a Blood
Maybe
Crypt.
we're the term time shifted. You jerk. All right, here we go. Blood. That's not even a good way to start.
No, he's at 18 and he's Inquisitioning Dan.
Does he have Basic Island in hand? He must, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't even know where I clicked. I got it right.
You got it right. Inquisition, looks like we got a Shambling Vance, a Twilight Mire, a Tarmogoyf, a Path to Exile, a Lingering Souls, and another Tarmogoyf.
That's rough.
I definitely wouldn't take the Lingering Souls.
I'm actually, almost want to take the Lingering Souls.
Really?
I just feel like... Oh, no, Kyle has the Lingering Souls in his deck. We think, maybe?
I don't know what his white splash is for.
So,
well, we can
like,
guess based on what it is. Okay, I don't think he's playing Lingering Souls because he took the Tarmogoyf.
Well, I was going to say, I just think it's so hard for him to grind through Lingering Souls as a Grixis deck.
Always been a problem, yeah.
So, it's, weird, but it's, basically just taking a Raise the Alarm out of your opponent's hand.
Yeah. All right, and there's the Tarmogoyf. So I'm guessing Kyle has some type of Terminate effect here. Tarmogoyf being a 3/4 already. I think I see... is that a Lightning Helix in hand? The full art card? Am I seeing that wrong? It's on the far right.
Is it Electrolyze?
It didn't look like an Electrolyze. I think that's a Lightning
So
Helix.
just play Lightning Helix in his Grixis deck with...
I mean, he did mention how much damage he would be taking from his lands, being Grixis and all.
Is he going to do this?
All right,
Ooh.
Fetch Shock for the Hallowed Fountain.
18.
So
Did he Thoughtseize last turn, right?
it was Inquisition,
Inquisition,
actually.
okay.
Yeah. So maybe he's playing Path to Exile if he's tapping one white. It's a Serum Visions here. Ooh. Yeah, this is going to be some painful
I
couple
figured
of
we were going to
turns.
see a Terminate, but I guess not.
There's a Terminate right there. Terminate and a Jace. So I thought he had a Jace in hand. It's interesting that he scryed both on top. I might have considered putting the other Jace on the bottom. Oh, he mulliganed, that's why. He doesn't have a Jace in hand anymore.
He's not going to do it.
Oh, did he draw a 3? Oh.
Just
Shambling vents into another Tarmogoyf. Kyle
be
took 3 there. So he should be at 12.
Oh, 12.
Alright. Kyle quickly running out of options here against this onslaught of Tarmogoyfs. They're both 3/4s.
Oh.
He's taking 2 going to 10. Yeah, this is quite a painful start of the game. Hello, Captain QC. Thanks for joining us. And all the rest of you here, thank you for joining and watching this modern stream here. A lovely Wednesday.
It is a lovely Wednesday.
I wish it was a little warmer, but sadly we live in Chicago and not near the equator in any way. We're pretty far. All right, an attack for 6. There's the Terminate on one of them. Looks like he's going to be at 7 here.
So he takes 4 now, right? That he's natural.
Yeah, that's another 4. He'll be at 6. It's the first instant. And there's
They
the
have
Lingering
dice
Souls.
right there for us,
Yeah,
and they're not using them.
that's okay. There's the Lingering Souls. I don't really see how Kyle comes back from this type of a board state. Without a Damnation in the main.
Maybe he's got one, man. You don't know.
He's also splashing white. He could be playing Wrath of God.
He's just splashing for the double white.
Alright, so here's the Jace. That was when he scryed off the Serum Visions. That was the second card underneath the Terminate. So look, I think he's just got a Lightning Helix and a land in hand.
Mm-hmm. So I liked the Jace on top before the second Tarmogoyf.
You like putting the...
I liked the Jace on top before the Tarmogoyf, but the second
Maelstrom
Tarmogoyf
Pulse.
he's really getting punished for this Jace.
So he's dead right now if he has no answer. The Jace was Maelstrom Pulsed.
Oh yeah. So
He has 6 damage in play.
he has a bolt, right?
No,
Helix.
He has a Lightning Helix, so...
Just hit a Lingering Souls.
I know Wrath of God doesn't make sense when you have Damnation already.
Except
Normally...
for the style points. But,
Except
no,
for
but
the-
he wouldn't be playing. He would be playing Supreme Verdict, which is the reason he'd be playing White's mana.
Also, foil Damnations are pretty
He's
expensive.
just not even gonna.
So, could be a budgetary concern. I wouldn't guess that from Kyle's side because
He's got like
his
a
deck
foil-
is entirely
he's got like
foil.
yeah.
No, his deck is all foil. But all right, so that was a pretty quick one taken down by Junk doing the Junk thing of saying poo-poo to your hand disruption. I have 2 Tarmogoyfs and a Lingering Souls. Dude, you gotta look at that Judge Gift Program Damnation.
Nah.
Come
This
on.
is the best art. Oh, the Judge one. Oh,
The
sure.
Judge Gift Program.
Yeah, there's no problem with that. I got no problem with that. Look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah. Do you think I said player rewards? I know what I said. Look at the player rewards
I
one
have
and
a
tell me you
I
like
have
it
a
better.
damnation.
Look at the player rewards
I'm
one
not
and tell
even
me
gonna-
you like it better.
Not
Look
even
at
gonna pull
it.
up. Not even gonna pull it up.
Okay, good.
I have a damnation in my cube, which
I only
still
like this
not
one because
paid
it's.
for.
I like this. I like this one because it's like the shooting star in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, planar chaos looks really cool because it's the color shifted, but it doesn't have the shooting star. I wish they still did the little shooting star in the bottom corners. Those were so pretty. Yeah.
So here, let's ask the real important questions.
Yeah.
If you had to choose foil lightning bolts between M10 and M11, M10 having really, really good flavor text, but M11 having no flavor text, which would you choose?
M10. That's
M10?
easy. Yeah.
Okay.
What I do when I foil out modern decks is I look for the first non-promotional foil printing.
Okay.
So it's like I want foil lightning bolts. Technically, the first printing was a Judge promo.
Right.
I'm not scared of that price. I'll pay it if I had to, but
I'm getting called out for not paying for my damnation.
But I would only play the M10 one because it was the first non-promo foil printing. That's all I have to say about the matter.
I can pay you tonight. I have it.
Kyle has a blood debt to Connor, Mr. Salinas.
Okay. Oh, it's actually, you know what? It's interesting.
What?
It's not round 1.
It's round 2, actually. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing.
Where is it? Oh, it's this one because they started using it for something else.
Yeah. So Daniel Dwan, the black-green X-Master from Chicago here, done pretty well at a couple SCG events.
He's playing on the Pro Tour in a couple weeks.
And he's playing in the Pro Tour in a couple weeks. Good for him. That's Always good to see a local player doing well. Kyle Norman, also a local player. The Grixis Splash White, we saw Lightning Helix.
And a path, right?
No path.
we didn't see Path.
We didn't see path. Yeah, beforehand he had mentioned he was playing Grixis Splash White. I don't know why. I didn't happen to catch the conversation fully. I didn't hear what he was splashing the white for. Dan Dwan's deck, pretty straightforward. Kind of, do the thing.
Mm-hmm. Kyle was definitely punished that game for playing 4 colors.
I mean, he had mentioned beforehand about how
Yeah.
punishing his mana base was and how much damage he was going to be taking, but Dan really only had to attack twice, it looked like, to close the game out. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So Kyle going to be on the play here for game 2.
Do you think Kyle has a donation in a 75?
I don't know. It looks like it's Grixis Control. Have they ever played Damnation?
Yeah, I believe the Grixis. Well, so the last iteration of Grixis Control I know had it 1 in 75.
Okay, so he
don't know.
probably does at the. I would assume so, but he could be driven away from it from the White Splash, which provides some amount more of removal. I mean, you still get Terminate and Kolaghan's Command. I don't really know if you need to be playing Path in a deck that has both of those. I guess we'll have to find out.
Water gave.
All right. At least it's not a Thoughtseize, right? Inquisition. Looking at a pretty. It looks like 4 lands, an Inquisition, and a Tasker.
Yep.
I can't make out.
That is what it is. It's a Ghost
Oh, it's
Quarter.
a swamp. It's two Marsh Flats, a Ghost Quarter, a swamp, an Inquisition, and a Tasker. So he took one of the Inquisition, or he took the Inquisition, and wow. So I bet he kind of wishes it was a Thoughtseize in that situation.
Yeah, you
Because
would-
you take
yeah.
the Tasker, and his hand is just nothing.
What just happened?
Oh, nothing. Someone pointed at the
Pointing at
Inquisition.
the Inquisition. I didn't.
I'm not entirely sure what that was. You may notice Kyle's Inquisition is shining so brightly you can't even see it. And that's because he only plays foils.
Did he already have them? I assume he already had those foils.
Oh, yeah. He also jumps on foils pretty quickly when the new set comes out.
Yeah.
He's just like, all right. All right, I think Jace is the easy pick here.
He's got a hand, man. That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure Jace is the easy pick here. It's just too much card advantage.
It is card advantage, but
You can play around the mana leak or make him discard it before it becomes relevant.
So I kind of like taking the mana leak.
Oh, he does have the Abrupt Decay. I forgot he drew that.
Yeah, I was like, he has answers to Jace. Either like the mana leak or the Snapcaster Mage.
I forgot he had drawn the Abrupt Decay.
Yeah.
Jace is not the easy pick.
I default to Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah, sorry.
But I don't know. I'd probably take the Snapcaster Mage here.
Okay, so he agrees with you. Yeah, I forgot he had drawn the Abrupt Decay. Jace was obviously not the take there. That's a super... That card is pretty easy for Jund or Junk to handle,
Right.
so... Yeah, that's fine. I always forget that it's like not an actual Planeswalker and that it is summoning sick when you play it.
Right.
It
doesn't
doesn't
just-
it doesn't just
flashback
draw
spells,
you a
yeah.
card and flashback spells immediately. I was like, yeah. Okay. You start playing some Swiftfoot Boots in Modern or something.
You can play, what is the name of the one? It's like 1 red for an enchantment. All creatures have haste.
Oh yeah, Fervor or something.
I don't know. I played it in my Krenko deck.
I think it's Fervor. Dang it, it's probably not, but I think it is.
I don't think isn't Fervor just sounds like one of those elementals. I don't know. Anyway,
I'm so right though. You should type it into magiccards.info because I'm so positive that it's Fervor.
bye.
OR.
Yeah,
Dang it.
creatures you control.
Yeah, come on. Concordant Crossroads is the green version that is everything has haste. Creatures have haste. That's not the right thing to search. Legendary artifact? Nope. I think you're thinking of Concordant Crossroads, though.
I'm not. I have a red version in my EDH deck.
It's 1 red?
Just because 1 red and all creatures have haste. There it is.
Mass Hysteria. Okay.
We should watch this game.
Okay, sorry. He played a Snapcaster, and... No, his Snapcaster got Inquisitioned by Dan after fetching a Green white shopland. Temple Garden. He's at 19.
Sometimes it happens.
I was like, derp. Why
'cause
can't it just be
Kyle
Savannah?
just-
I know all the legacy ones right off the top. It's like one word stuff. Underground Sea, not one word, but whatever.
Okay. Lingering Souls. Gonna get mana leaked.
There we go. That's a pretty good trade there. Now he's only fighting against the one half of the Lingering Souls. Kyle's also fetching. He is fetching end of turn here, so he should be at 17, I believe. Arrow. Alright, so that's probably going to eat up all of Dan's turn.
Yeah, I mean, he's got nothing else.
You already played the Ghost
Yeah,
Quarter this
yeah.
turn? Okay. So Kyle fetching a Godless Shrine. End of turn. Untap and draw. Let's see what we get.
He
That
wants
looks
lands.
like a Painful Truths that he just drew.
Ooh.
Can be
How does
cast.
he play that in this deck? Oh, he just... Yeah.
He's going to do it for 3, I believe. There we go.
Okay. Let's go to 14.
Going to 14. This card is, to me... I think the people who are playing it are overvaluing its potential, and the people who aren't playing it might be undervaluing it. You know, it's like kind of a
know,
case of both, where it's like I'm on the side that I would never play it, and I think it's garbage. But like, I feel like a lot of players who are playing it value it really highly, and I can't say they're wrong, but I feel like they're not 100% right
Sure.
in how good
I
it
put it in the
is.
cube. It hasn't been in our drafts yet, but
Okay.
we played it in Winston, and it's been very strong.
Yeah,
It's been
Modern is
very
just
strong.
such an accelerated format,
Right, I get that.
though.
I'm just telling you, the card is obviously powerful. It's just whether or not he can afford to pay all his life like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's at 14 now. He tapped out, and Dan has 4 mana. Like, he has the Tassiger in hand still. He can play... Basically, he can play a Tassiger on this board without getting punished, almost. I mean, without getting punished immediately. A Path to Exile would be frustrating, but... Alright, Dan fetching and a turn for...
And shocking, is he going to play a Rhino? That'd be sweet.
Was this... Fetch and Shock Rhino would be actually...
He was at 18, now he's at 16, right?
Yeah. We fetched Shocked. So he'd be at 15.
He's only fetched once.
So 19 and then 18. Oh, right. Looks like he's just playing a... Whoa. Calm down there.
Wow, he exiled his Lingering Souls. Oh no, he cast Lingering Souls.
Yeah, so
okay.
what he was doing was playing a
I
Tassiger
see,
and
okay,
casting Lingering
okay.
Souls, so that makes sense. Kyle Norman's not at 18, though.
Yeah, oh, I see what happened.
Do you remember what he was at?
He's at 14.
Okay. Now he's at 13. And probably 11. Like, this deck does some serious damage to itself. I guess he could get a basic mountain or swamp. That does not seem like what he wants to be getting.
He's got his colors. Yep.
All right, he's got a basic
So
swamp.
he's at 13. Also, their life totals are right there, if you can... 13, 16.
All right. Probably an Inquisition or a Tassiger. Inquisition. Probably revealing Fulminator Mage. What?
Fulminator Mage, Abrupt Decay, and that might be I think it's a Tassiger. I'm almost certain it's a Tassiger.
It's another Tassiger. It is, yeah. All right, so taking the Abrupt Decay seems correct.
Because you can play Jace now.
That's
He still
true.
has it in hand, right?
Right, he has not played the Jace yet because he knew about the Abrupt Decay.
Right.
So he was waiting for his chance to play the Jace. He's got Jace, and his last card in hand is a Lightning Helix? Or does he have another card as well? I think he has... Oh, no, he's got 3. So he's got Lightning Helix and a land.
Okay. So he's got, what, Mana Leak, Snapcaster Mage, Inquisition.
Attack with the
Smash.
Tassagoyf, putting him to 9, and then another 2 puts him to 7.
We're just going to see a Fulminator Mage here. Did you draw a Tarmogoyf? Oh,
Oh, that is not great.
that is...
It's basically a perfect answer to Jace.
Right.
In that you will never get to flashback the spell that you want to as
Well, he
long...
can Helix it now. We know. So that's good. He's gonna eat a Snapcaster Mage, right? Or maybe he just wants to eat one of the instant sorceries so it doesn't get flashbacked.
There's an argument either way. I might.
So he can eat the Inquisition so that he can keep his Fulminator Mage, basically.
Which I don't know how relevant that is.
The Fulminator Mage can eat the Silver Falls?
Which cuts him off a red mana.
Yeah.
I think it could be relevant.
It just seems so bad, actually.
Yeah, I like that. I don't think you need to eat the Mana Leak. I would say probably Inquisition or Snapcaster Mage are your two best targets at this point. Yeah, if Dan's mana had been a little bit different, then this would have been much easier. Ugh.
So you're just gonna eat it and gain a life? Eat the Snapcaster Mage?
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I don't hate that. He's way ahead in the.
I think the idea is that if he plays Inquisition.
So isn't Kyle at 13 now?
Oh, I put him up to 10 from 7.
Oh, you were right. He was at 7. Yes.
Yeah. I think if I'm Dan, I actually like him playing Jason, activating Inquisition, or playing Inquisition.
Yeah. So draw a card. Probably discard the land that he doesn't need anymore. Yep. Blood Crypt. Jace is gonna transform into Telepath Unbound. If he pluses on the Tasigur, he can't kill the Jace, right? No, he still can. No, he can't.
No, yeah, he takes 4.
That's a consideration.
I think he already plussed it. But it comes in on 4, no?
I thought it came in on 5, but it could be. Nope.
Oh,
yeah, it comes in on 5. That's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like plussing it and then taking all the damage and then plussing again. Like I'm almost like Dan, I just like attack you for 6, or attack you for 4. I don't know.
Those players who do pay those prices are not going to go pick up Rhinos and play Standard. That's all I have to say. They're not going to do it. And I know they won't because I'm one of those people, and I know a lot of those people. People who pay these prices to play the Eternal formats that they like are not going to abandon ship and start playing Standard. Doesn't matter what you do.
So he's still thinking.
Yeah, he's Serum Visioned, right? Yeah. So
I think he's thinking about playing Serum Visions again.
Oh, you think he's thinking about minusing it?
He's like, I don't have the cards to win on this board state.
If he minuses it, his Jace is gonna get. So if he pluses, he's not gonna attack the Jace, right? He's just gonna attack Kyle, right?
I think so.
If he minuses the Jace, which he just did,
wow,
your Inquisition.
No, he's casting Painful Truth.
Oh my goodness. So if he minuses the Jace, he's actually incentivizing Dan to kill the Jace, kind of buying him time, maybe, right? Unless Dan just has 6, he's at 7. Nope, he's actually not even doing that anymore. Yeah, no, Dan's just gonna attack because that's just lethal.
Right, you just attack him for 6. You put him to 1. He can't fetch.
He can't do a lot of things here.
He can even play his.
Yeah, never mind. If he had flashback to anything but the Painful Truths, you're kind of incentivizing the Jace to make. But even here, still, you can send 2 at the Jace and 4 at Kyle, and the Jace will be gone. Kyle will be at 3, and I bet he wish he was playing Jun because then you could just bolt him out of the game.
He could just play Angler, Rhino too if he had one.
Where's Cubs fan 134? We need the Stormtrooper Trader guy to come back. Remember? Huh? Traitor!
Oh, yeah.
That is like my favorite moment in the whole movie.
It wasn't when I watched it, but now it is.
Yeah. Traitor! So random. Alright. Dan won. It looked like he just attacked face. Kyle will be at 1.
I mean, that seems like a good place to be, right? If you're Dan.
Yep.
Cast Damnation, win the game. You cast Damnation, he still loses because he just played a Spring Wildwood.
Yep.
Dan is still up. It's actually spelled TR8R.
That's right, Captain QC. I won't buy rhinos until somehow they're playable in the formats I love,
Lightning Helix.
which doesn't include modern. But Lightning Helix on the token?
Goes to 4. No, it was on the Tassiger. He went to 4, then down to 3.
What's going on here?
I think he's got another bolt, and he's
Wow.
gonna eliminate the Tassiger.
So he's going to be at...
Oh no, he's just going to play the Lightning Helix with Jace. No, it's -3. -3. Never mind.
Oh, he can't do that.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't think that's what he's doing.
And then he's just got a Snapcaster Mage. Okay, that's fine.
So he's snapcastering the Lightning Helix. I don't hate this. That's actually...
Nope, he's up to 6.
There we go.
He found some time.
There we go.
There
Well
are still
played.
lingering Souls tokens across the way, though.
Yeah, I don't think he has any flyers in Grixis control. And this is the painful bit about playing a Grixis deck with these kind of cards. It looks like he's going to activate the Tassiger in response. I played one Siege Rhino in Maverick the last time I played it, Captain QC. I don't anymore, though. About some time, he's at 6. Lightning Helix happened. What's he getting back from the Tassiger? Nothing. Did we
Do we
miss
know
it?
what the Jace targeted?
A token?
A token, you think?
It has
Is
to.
he at 5? Oh, it can target anything, right? So he can target the String Wildwood?
That doesn't work. Yeah, you can only target creatures.
Oh, it does target creature. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
he's
it
at
targeted
5.
it. So basically, one of these tokens is not attacking.
Yeah, okay, right.
Which is the problem with putting dice on a single token card, in that now he's going to need another token, man.
Oh, wait, was the Snap Helix on Dan's turn? Because he's still tapped out. He must have been. He must have gone to attacks.
It couldn't have been. He paid for truth. It had to be on Kyle's turn.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah, you're thinking of Kiora. She can fog anything. She targets permanents. That's kind of interesting. I'll target your manland with
Right.
Kiora. I'll target your Shrine of Burning Rage.
I've targeted mountains before.
Could you imagine targeting a Shrine of Burning Rage with Kiora? Just
That'd
be
be great.
like, I don't want to die.
Well, I mean, trying to burn range is pretty good at killing you.
Yes. Alright, so basically Dan has 1 point of damage from the tokens and then an additional 3 from the Stirring Wildwood. So Kyle had an effective 1. Dan going to a healthy 15 life with this Thoughtseize. Looks like Kyle's got 2 lands and nothing else.
It's gotta feel good if you're Dan.
Yeah. It also has to feel good because if Kyle draws his way out of this, he's just a lucky top decker. So right. I feel like Dan almost can't mess up here at this point.
As long as he just taps his mana every turn to win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gotten down to the point where, again, Junk has done the thing of being playing some really efficient cards that do powerful things, and see, look, he's getting the other token because one of them can't even attack.
He attacked Jace. Oh, he just doesn't want to do flashback stuff, I guess.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't hate this. He does have the second tasker that we knew about. So, in order to stay alive, Kyle's gonna have to plus on targeting the Tassiger. No, he has the Snapcaster to block. So,
He's alive right now.
yeah.
He's gonna plus anyway. He doesn't have anything else to do with it.
Right. Inquisition probably gonna take the. I think he's just got the.
It would break the mirror.
Okay, Snapcaster's getting pathed, and then he takes the Fulminator Mage as his only last target. That's actually pretty bad for Kyle that Dan drew a path.
Right.
Uh,
He's just dead, right? Yeah. Okay.
That was probably the worst card he could have. Ubamask wouldn't have done anything. There's no brainstorm in this format. I love Ubamask. I've played Ubamask. I have played this card in a sanctioned Magic the Gathering tournament.
That's interesting. Boom. Ubamask.
Said Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean. Like 7 different times. Remember that in the first one?
What he says, that's interesting.
He's just always like, that's interesting. It's like, yeah, we get it. They're skeletons, okay?
I love that they almost canceled that project because they thought they didn't understand the character that Johnny Depp was making. And they thought it was too eccentric.
I mean, it definitely was.
The movie is nothing without him.
Yeah, but I also really like that after the first movie, the second movie like rewarded you for remembering the first movie really well, you know? Because there's like all these different tie-ins, and then the third movie was just like whatever. But
yeah, I think the third movie like had like an hour-long ending battle sequence or something like that.
but that's cool. I like
They
that.
just like drove in circles for an hour.
yeah, in a whirlpool. That was sick though. I kind of like all of them.
I know. I think they're good movies.
Yeah.
I actually think the fourth one is my second favorite. People hate on it.
I've never even seen. There's a fourth one.
Without
Is that the On Stranger Tides one or whatever?
No, it's the one with like merfolk in it. And
I haven't seen it.
It doesn't have Keira Knightley or
Orlando Bloom, because they're done after the third one. They have he becomes the new captain, and they have their
I
kid.
think
And
they're coming back for the fifth movie.
They're doing a fifth one? Oh my gosh!
And it sells moving part tickets. Anyway, this deck.
Yeah, I remember Mark would always talk about Ubamask. They're talking about getting like T-shirts with Ubamask on it
really?
or something. I would wear it. I love Ubamask. I think it's an amazing card.
Well, let's.
There was a guy who was playing Natural Order Painter in Legacy with the main deck Ubamask. I was like, you are a psycho.
We should just make Ubamask and wear them on stream.
That'd be really awesome, actually. I would wear that mask. That'd be just a good Halloween costume. What are you? I'm Ubamask. Everyone would ask.
If you guys want to send us Ubamasks, we will wear them.
Yeah. Should we see? I'll go see if someone else is
Okay,
going to be
sure.
is going to want to play. That wasn't too long, right? How much time's left in the round?
I think that was a lot. It was a lot longer than the first one.
We haven't been doing the clock, have we?
I forgot again. Yeah.
Dang it. All right,
Hey, how'd your match go?
Crushed Eldrazi because I have 4 Crumble to Dust and 4 Fulminator Pages in the sideboard.
Did you play against Sean?
No, against Eldrazi.
Against Sean?
Sean, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm using
Okay.
Tron.
Okay. No, Sean. Yeah.
You know, I showed up and I was like, I am not losing to the 3 decks that are really good against me. So Tron, Scapeshift, and
You're just like, I don't care about it.
And
You
I
just-
refuse to lose them. Yeah.
You should just put Vials and Magus the Moons in your deck.
Dude, I don't know. It's obviously not correct, and I'm probably gonna go 4 and 2, like 4 Fulminator, 2 Crumble. But tonight I'm being stubborn.
So yeah, Nathan is out looking for another match for us to watch, hopefully. For those of you just joining us, or who just have no idea anyway.
Everyone looked really deep.
We don't have any matches.
So I didn't want to interrupt anyone.
But this
Alright,
is
so the White Splash
Wednesday Night
was-
Modern with.
What?
I was just saying it was Wednesday Night Modern at CardMarket.
What about it?
Anyone didn't know where we were.
Oh yeah, that's where we're at. Yeah, so the White Splash was for some in the board. It was like Wear Tear and Rest for the Weary. He had the Lightning Helix. Apparently there were Mentors in his deck actually. Also, we didn't see any of them. It's a lot like the Esper deck he was playing in Legacy that was playing Painful Truths and Monastery Mentor and
I think Patrick Chapin was playing that deck, right?
right, and
Yeah.
the Cabal Therapies and stuff. I think people have been improving a little bit on it because the mana base was just so awful when Patrick Chapin played it. It worked, but it was like you'd see board states where you had a Caracas and play with like a Tropical Island and you'd just be like, what the heck is this? Is an Esper deck.
How do you feel about Cabal Therapy in Modern?
No.
No? Just straight up no?
No, too good.
Too good.
Hey man, I play 4 of that card in almost every deck I play, and I would not want to see it happen in the Modern format.
Is there any Legacy legal cards that you would love to see in Modern?
Actually, yeah. What was I thinking about? I like Counterspell.
Just actual counterspell?
You know, that's a Legacy playable card that does not see the light of day in Modern. I kind of understand why. It's kind of frustrating for a standard format. Actually, just Counterspell.
Right.
It like a lot of people have these ideas where they're like, oh man, wouldn't this card be really cool in Modern? yeah, it would have to go through a standard rotation.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly,
and you think
exactly.
about that. So it's like there are a lot of cards that would be cool to be in Modern, and they'd probably be okay. But they can't. There's no way that card would make its way through a 2-year standard rotation without completely blowing it to crap. You know.
So the one card I want, there you go, that I think would be fine and banded.
It should add 7th edition. Why? What does that actually add?
What does that add? But I want Innocent Blood.
Pernicious
Modern.
Deed is too good. Pernicious Deed is too good.
Seems pretty strong.
Pernicious Deed would be insane.
Return to Urza's block.
What?
I think he wants them to unban. Yeah.
My little soldier friend?
Stoneforge Mystic, maybe?
She's not a
She's
soldier.
not a soldier. She's a core artificer.
Yeah.
What soldier is banned?
There are no banned soldiers.
Innocent Blood. I would love Innocent Blood.
Innocent Blood would be a cool answer to like the Bloom deck actually.
I just want to play it.
If they're greedy.
I'm gonna be honest. I just want to play it in 8-rack.
Right, it's a really good answer in 8-rack because it's like, you know, you get to play 8 Liliana effects kind of.
It's also just awesome with Young Pyromancer.
Yeah, but so is Cabal Therapy. That's like the thing.
I want to play. I want to play Young Pyromancer, Cabal Therapy, Innocent Blood.
You should play
and Smallpox, but that's fine.
You should play Grixis Delver in Legacy.
Yeah,
That's
well,
all that you
you
go.
just- fine,
It-
you buy-
actually,
you
it's
buy me some
so
Modern
literally
Life.
everything you've been like. I just want to play Modern
Oh, I
with
know,
Death, right?
I know,
I just want
I
to play
know.
Young Pyromancer and Cabal Therapy. That is exactly the Grixis
I
Delver
would
deck
build
in
Grixis
Legacy.
Legacy if I
It's
could
Death
afford
Right
it.
Shaman,
I
Young
just can't afford it
Pyromancer,
right now.
Delver, Cabal Therapy. That is exactly what that deck does.
I am aware, and it's not a coincidence that I'm
Yeah.
naming these cards.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
I just don't have a bunch of undergrounds for.
Maybe they should just put Cabal Therapy in Modern so you can have your dream
that would be
happen.
sweet. I'd
Yeah.
play even more Modern.
I actually, Cam said this. Remember, Cam was earlier. He was like, they should just unban everything and start over with Modern. You know, that'd be hilarious. I would be so excited because I have so many of the cards that you're not allowed to play because I play other formats. You know, it's like I got 4 Skull Clamps and Jits and you know all the, like mental missteps
Right,
and all
right.
this stuff. I have all that because I play all these other formats.
Does he want them to unban all the cards?
Yeah, just start over from scratch.
You're just gonna get like Flash Hulked and Blazing Shoulder every week, and you're gonna be upset about it.
No, I'd play Storm, and I'd be one of the problem people who was turn doing everyone.
Well, I still have my Tezzeret proxied up.
Right, that's the
Super fun.
That's the one that's good against Storm. The turn 1 chalices and
Yeah,
what?
Dark Ritual Modern seems fine. Nothing bad can happen. from
They
Dark
actually probably wouldn't even play it though because they'd have to play a 3rd color, and that deck is so tight.
Turn with Lilianas. I don't know if people would play Dark Ritual just to play Lilianas.
Yes, they
They
would.
would?
They totally would. Yeah.
Just like
Think about it. Turn 1 Liliana. How do you like?
actually
No, turn 1. So turn 1 Liliana. They uptick it. You can't bolt it now.
That's true. I actually think that's awesome. Like I would put you could put 4 Dark Rituals in 8-rack.
You would
And
too.
you just
because
play
if you
them,
go
and you go Inquisitions.
No, if
and
you-
then I have no cards in hand in my or I just turn 1.
No, so if you go turn in 8-rack, if you want turn 1 Dark Ritual, you'd be like, Inquisition, Raven's Crime, Flashback, you retrace Raven's Crime.
Exactly. Next turn, play land. Next turn, I have no cards.
Next turn,
It's
Thoughtseize,
Ring Red, you lose.
Inquisition,
You lose.
yeah, it's just like it would be too good. Everything should be unbanned except for Skull Clamp and Misstep. That was someone said that. Oh, Simon said that. He was like, "Yeah, it would be cool if they reset Modern, but they started off with Skull Clamp and Misstep banned."
I don't know. First of all, Jace becomes a $600.
This guy wants back to basics when everyone's complaining about how busted Blood Moon is.
Yeah, if it was legal in Modern, it would just be like actual hundreds of dollars.
Bloodbraid Elf could be unbanned.
Yeah.
Coming from the black-green ex-player, that doesn't seem biased.
You wouldn't play 4 of anyways.
That doesn't matter,
You play 2.
and it would still be really, really insane.
Well, Snapcaster is kind of insane.
Snapcaster Mage is insane. I don't know why that card is like.
Here's why I don't want them to unban Bloodbraid Elf. The first person to Bloodbraid Elf into a Kolaghan's command, to me, I'm just gonna auto scoop. I don't even want to play the rest of the game. I don't even want to do it. I don't want to live in a world. It's just like when I queue up against Paladins in ladder. I'm just like, yeah, sure, you beat me. Good job, dude. It's like, yeah, snap concede, dummy. I don't want to play against your secret deck.
Can you look at that window and see I was looking out there? Thank you.
You get in a match.
No,
That's
well,
not gonna happen.
I've conceded having another match on camera. It's fine.
Oh, this person says they went back to basics. I thought they actually just wanted to go back to the basics of no ban list.
Oh no
They actually want
He
the
was
card back to
talking. He
basics,
was
yeah.
talking about back to basics.
920.
What?
920.
Okay.
So it's like people hate Blood Moon, right? Blue players hate Choke because it's a Blood Moon that doesn't care if you have basics. Back to basics is a Blood Moon and a Choke that doesn't care if you have either. It's just like, oh, you fetched non-basics. Well, sucks.
You lose.
Sucks. None of them on tap.
No, I'm not a fan of that. Bloodbraider for turning Vengevines. It's like the fairest thing you can do with it, but it seems like fun.
Yeah. I don't hate that. Yeah, you have like 2 Vengevines in yard. You Bloodbraid Elf into like a Tarmogoyf. Bring back your 2 Vengevines. Attack for 11 seems a little bit unfair.
They should just put survival of the fittest in modern, clearly.
It already exists, dude.
Standard
Polish.
Bloodbraid Elf into Lightning. Right?
Yeah,
but
but now it's Bloodbraid Elf and Nicoligans, which is just so much scarier.
There's just so much random nonsense you can hit. Like, Bloodbraid into, like, Inquisition is not exciting.
But we've seen like
It's not bad, though.
But like
No, but you're playing a 4-mana spell, which, like, you're already super constrained on the list already, right? Like, it's not like we're cutting terrible cards. Like, you're cutting the Scavenging Ooze for a Bloodbraid Elf.
Can't cut that card. Card's too good.
What are they cutting? Probably all the Confidants.
I don't know. You're
yeah, wait, you just take out your Confidants and play the same deck but without Confidants.
Sam's not playing Confidants today at all.
Neither am I.
Yeah. Well, you're playing. He's on John still though.
Yeah.
Did we ever talk about Stoneforge? I don't know.
I don't want to talk about Stoneforge because it's not getting unbanned.
Well, I just think that it's. Yeah, 8 Rack just plays the card The Rack, which I can pull up. Which is legal because it was time shifted.
I've never seen this version IRL.
Yeah, no, neither have I.
It's really, 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 really hard to find. It's from Duels of the Planeswalker. Like the promo cards they
Yeah,
gave
so,
out for that. But
yeah, you just make them discard their cards, and then they lose the game because you play Ensnaring Bridge and they can't kill you. It's great.
$7? Wow.
It's not very good.
The 8 Rack?
The A-Rack, yeah.
I don't know. I used to troll the heck out of people on Moto with it.
I've won a lot of games with it,
Sure.
but
You've also lost all
Yes,
the games
yes.
with it, yes.
just to itself a
Well,
lot.
it's kind of like Lantern, where it's like, if you establish a lock, it's great,
Yeah.
but if you don't have Bridge, you just lose.
Oh wait,
Oh, yeah,
I was
yeah.
just
Well,
thinking.
they just play Liliana, and like that's what we're saying. Like Innocent Blood would be super, super good in that deck.
Sure.
As would Dark Ritual. Shared Fate.
I want to play this in Lantern. If a player would draw a card, that player removes the top card of an opponent's library from the game face down instead. Each player may look at and play any card he or she has removed from the game with Shared Fate as though it was in their hand. What this does is once you get the Lantern lock in play, your opponent is playing with your deck, which does nothing because you're playing Lantern control. So what it does, if you have your Lantern combo assembled and you play a Shared Fate, your opponent is forced to play a Lantern deck without having the combo assembled, and then you get to play all the cards that are normal cards from their deck, and you get to decide which ones you're going to be drawing.
That's funny.
You don't need a win con. The Lantern deck, which have the lock, that is the
Yeah, but isn't that hilarious? That actually just is like a hard lock. There's
Until
no
they
way.
until they slowly assemble the Lantern control themselves.
And then once they've assembled it, they're still playing off your terrible deck.
then you're just sitting there milling each other.
beat you with it. If they draw out more mill
I'd say the chances of me beating them with an already assembled combo is higher than them ever assembling the combo and then beating me with it. I'd say it's like almost impossible
But
for
you
them.
already have the Lantern for them, right? So all you have to do is just get all the millstones, and then if they have creatures, just play an Ensnaring Bridge.
Yeah, but
That's
they can, you can still use your combo to control their like your own draws, their draws.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then you just draw stuff at the top.
Or I want to play Shared Fate in my blue deck as like a way to play against Lantern Control so they can stop drawing cards that help them. It works both ways. Once you already have stuff in play, you know, you can play Shared Fate, and then they can't use the rest of their deck to help them finish off the game.
Seems fine. It also
So then they have these
mana
derpy cards in play, and then they have no other way to like add to that. Basically, no one would win.
So we're gonna back up. If you're asking why you would run Burning Inquiry over Megrim and Liliana's Caress, I don't know, whatever. If you're asking why you wouldn't run it over the Rack, it's because the Rack is one colorless mana.
And it lasts forever,
And it
and
just
it's the
sits
best.
there.
It's the Rack and Shrieking Affliction.
Shrieking Affliction is so bad.
No, but you have to play it.
Yeah, but the Rack is great. I actually was playing 6 racks for a while.
How?
It just was only playing 2 Shrieking Affliction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This deck has been around long enough that everyone's figured out what they are. There's a reason they're not playing Liliana's Caress or Burning Inquiry. Like, there's obviously a density of cards in the modern format. Like, there's a definitive number, and it's like this many.
Yeah.
Like, people have broken it down and been like, I'm playing a mono black, discard deck. All right, well, let's start with all these, and then blah blah blah, and then some. It's been played at the Pro Tour. There's a refined 75 for this type of deck. Loam Pox. Yeah, Shrieking Affliction is just okay, but there's not something better for them to play.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
It is the second best.
I'm not saying like, hey, you would never cut Shrieking Affliction.
No, yeah.
It's like if you found something better, like.
It's just clearly the second best choice. Yeah.
Every new set that comes out, I'm like, what's in this for 8 rack, dude? I need to know.
Hey man, they printed that one card. They printed what is the
Waste Knot?
Waste Knot, and then they printed the thing that is like kind of pretending to be Wheel of Fortune. Everyone draws the same, like discards their hand and then draws the same number -1.
What card is that?
It was in Konzatark here. I forget what it is, but it's
What? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's literally just 2 and a black. It's from Konzatark here, I believe. And it's each player discards their hand and then draws that many -1. No, it's not Wheel of Fate. It's from Konzatark here.
Wheel of Fate. I have no idea. Dark Deal?
Yes, thank you. Dark Deal.
I'd have never heard of that card. What is this?
So it's awesome with.
Is this like just some horrible dredge enabler they imagine?
It's just awesome with Waste Knot.
Or Delve enabler.
It enables
yeah.
Delve in limited or whatever. Yeah, I actually brought it in one time in limited because my opponent had 3 dragons, like not the Dragon Lords, but like the Konzatark here version of them, and I only had 1 removal spell.
So you're just hoping to
get
them.
So my only way to actually beat, and I didn't have a way to finish the game quickly. So my only way to beat them was to make them discard them.
That seems pretty bad.
I couldn't win. He had so many answers, must answer threats, and I didn't have answers.
Ha ha ha.
Got it. Mana Clash.
Oh.
Ban Mana Clash.
Ban Mana Clash. It's too consistent. That's really funny. So if anyone doesn't know, Mana Clash is a 1-red sorcery where you and your opponent each flip a coin. And it deals 1 damage to each player whose coin comes up tails. Repeat this process until they both come up heads on the same flip. So basically, yes, you could kill your opponent on turn 1. Someone did on a Thursday here. Some old school player had a Mana Clash on turn 1 that did like 17 damage or something. Like combined, it did most of it to the other player, but it was like 17 damage
That's
total.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it was like 10 to one player and 7 to the other. And the guy who was playing the Mana Clash was playing like a mono red deck. So then the next turn he just like played a man like the Mana Echoes thing or whatever. It's Mana Flare, and then the turn after that went like double ball lightning kill you or something. It's so funny, but yeah.
I like it.
Simian Spirit Guides, Krark's Thumb, Mana Clash combo kill. Krark's Thumb is for every coin you flip, you get to flip it another one. Oh, that's correct.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That wouldn't work.
You
You
need 2
need double
Simian
Simian Spirit Guide.
Your deck is terrible, man.
Terribly consistent, though, is how I would put it. But
I built a bad cards cube. This is in there.
of course it is, because it doesn't. Is Darksteel Relic in there?
Don't know. No, it's not.
Do you know Darksteel Relic?
All the cards do. I had a rule that they had to actually do.
Oh,
something.
come on! You gotta put in a Darksteel Relic. Because if you put it in, like, you might not intentionally put it in interaction, but then someone's gonna like find the 1 Metalcraft card you put in there and turn it on a turn early, and just be like, "We gotta take it out. Too good."
I was going through and I needed creatures. I wanted creatures.
Yeah.
So I was like, fine, I'll just put some other creatures in. So I was like, you know what? Green can be good at playing creatures, so their best creature is Grizzly Bear, and I think Grizzly Bear is just the best card in the cube.
Really? I find that hard to believe.
It's so good. I bought an alpha Grizzly Bear. It's awesome.
How can Grizzly Bears actually be? Do they all just have like insane drawbacks?
All the cards do. They just don't, or they don't do anything. Right? They're like.
I want to play this cube.
They're like 4 mana 2/2s.
I want to play this cube.
All right, I gotta finish it and I'll sleeve it up.
Okay, or just bring it and.
I'll just show you the cards I have.
Yeah. I want to play this.
I actually wonder. I made it a long time ago. I wonder if I had like incorrectly, like
evaluated some of the
cards.
cards.
So the cards
yeah.
are probably just actually amazing, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Oh man, I'm just trying to think of like even a creature that I would put in just right off the bat, aside from like.
Scornful Egotist.
Yeah, okay, but that card's really good in some scenarios.
Well, all the cards are really good in some scenarios.
Have you ever activated Birthing Pod targeting your Scornful Egotist? And put like a Grizzlebrand in play?
I have not done that.
It's 7, right? When it. Oh, it's 8, so you can't get a Grizzlebrand. Sorry.
You can put a 9-mana spell into play.
Yeah.
Sky Swallower.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that the thing that where you have to skip your next turn after you play it?
No.
What's the one
Swallower
from?
is just a giant dude.
What's the Mirrodin one whose ETB trigger is like you skip your next turn? Bringer of Days? Eater of Worlds? Yeah. What? Eater of Days. It's Eater of Days.
Yeah.
There you go. I think Sky Swallower is way too good. There are no answers to it.
Yeah, Eater of Days would be a good one. You know that one?
Yeah.
Flying Trample, 4 mana when
You skip your next 2 turns.
Yeah.
Again, though, I don't know if the cube has any answers to it.
That's actually kind of true because in a terrible cards cube, if you just play this on turn 4, if they don't have a 2-turn clock in play, they're probably gonna die.
You know what's a good card in the bad cards cube?
Because it's still
Visandrix.
Wait, so also it skips your next 2 turns, but it's still a 9/8 blocker. Like they can't swing through that.
No.
Boldweir Heavyweights.
I don't know that one.
That's the Lorwyn block Giants. It's like the 2 and they're behind the house, I think. Am I wrong with that? Was not.
4 mana 8/8.
Yeah, they just search for a creature and put
This
it.
card's awesome. I love this card.
Leveler Shared Fate. That's an interesting one. What's the guy, the Slag guy? He like exiles cards off the top of your library. He's from like Mirrodin or something. Stupid.
Broke the format, boys. I don't know.
You should put Boldweir Heavyweights like in your cube.
Why?
That'd be hilarious.
Just 4 mana 8/8. This is my actual cube.
Yeah.
In my real legacy.
Yeah. That'd be really funny.
Arc something.
Arc Slogger.
Arc Slugger.
Thank you.
Man, there are just so many Magic cards.
5 mana.
Oh,
It's a
I've seen this
4/5.
card.
Remove the top 10 cards of your library, and it deals 2 damage to a creature or player. That's like pretty bad, right?
That's so weird.
It's like pretty bad. It's a pretty good bad card, you know? Like it helps you beat the other bad cards, but it has a serious drawback.
The Hunted Cycle is awesome.
Hunted Wumpus. Did you hear about the Gerard Fabiano Humpus Wumpus story?
No.
He played Demonic Consultation. He played Demonic Consultation, which is you exile the top 10 cards of your library, and then you reveal cards until you hit the named card, and then you put, you know what I mean? And so he cast it and said, Humpus Wumpus, and his opponent was like, what? And then they like called a judge and like, no, you have to name a real card. And he was like, what's the name of the card? But yeah, so Gerard Fabiano is like famous for casting a Demonic Consultation, naming Humpus Wumpus, which is not a real card, so it's not a legal play.
You can't even do that,
yeah. So it didn't actually happen, but he did it. And I always thought that was so fun. It's like on an interview somewhere on a Wizards of the Coast website.
That's
where
super
it's like,
funny.
Humpus Wumpus.
Well, have you ever seen the guy? There's a guy on Reddit who shows up every once in a while. He has the Rothschild's Chosen.
What? That's not a card.
What is it called?
That's not even a card.
What is it called? It's like it does like a cumulative upkeep of putting a creature into play under your opponent's control.
Just type in Chosen. I've never
I don't
even...
know if it's Chosen. It's a very old card.
I have never heard this card in my life.
Man, I thought it was...
Nice try. Arc Slogger is a good card in draft. I never played it in draft, so I don't know. V Rothschild, not getting MTG.
It's not Rothschild, but it's like something like that.
Just look up cumulative upkeep. Go into magiccards.info. You gotta go to .info. Okay, go to advanced search. Advanced. Okay, go rules tech cumulative upkeep, and then do like put a creature into play.
Can you type that all in?
Yeah.
I want to know what you drop.
That's what you get for playing bad cards.
Really hurts my feelings.
Simon, would you be able to recall a card whose cumulative upkeep requires you to put a creature into play under your opponent's control?
There is no card that does that.
Yes,
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that exists. Are you gonna look through all the cumulative upkeep cards? You're never gonna find
How
it.
many are
There are so many of these terrible cards.
What are you talking about? You talking about that fucking Evil Mori of the Open Fist? Excuse me, that freaking Evil Mori of the Open Fist.
There are a
That's
lot
not
of-
a cumulative upkeep.
There's 88 of them. We can look.
Hold on. I just want to search color. I know it contains red. Okay, can you go get a game going? I'm gonna find these cards, guys. This is important.
Oh, there's no one on camera.
Yeah, I know. Put someone on camera. Varchild's War Riders. Found it. The whole point of the story was just that. He made a whole deck, a legacy deck around this card, where he turned the creatures entering play under your opponent's control into drawbacks, and just crushed with a 1 mana or 2 mana 3/4 trample. Okay, so Nathan is out there getting a match going. So we're gonna switch to the play area, so we can do round 3. Found it. Varchild's War Riders.
I'm sorry, what was the name of the card?
Varchild's War Riders. It's from Alliances. It's right there.
That's not.
Yeah.
This is close to what you were talking about, but this is not, in fact, what you were talking about.
I said cumulative upkeep, put a token into play into your opponent's a
Oh, I
creature
thought
into
you
play.
said put a creature into play. I was like, there's no 101 bits with cumulative upkeep.
It just puts a 1/1 into play.
Sure.
Okay, so it looks like we have. I can't tell who's in. Thank you. I'm not sure who we have in play, other than the camera. That's fine.
All right, we got Tony. I just asked for players who are at 2-0, so we can see some high stakes Magic play. Be wary, this could be amulet control. Land. I just said amulet control. That'd be cool. It's lantern control.
So the play on the left is Tony, though?
Yes, that's Tony. I forget
Why
this.
can I not think?
Hmm?
What's his last name? I can't think right now.
Oh yeah, I'm blanking on that too. Wait, what does it did not say on there?
Tarantini?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Wait, no, that's not right because he's playing against Nick Paris. That's not who he's playing against.
Tarantini. I thought it was Zini.
No.
Yeah, this is it.
But he's not playing against Nick Paris.
He's not playing against Nick Paris. Who's he playing against? Is it this one? Is he playing against...
Yeah, that's it. That's
Okay.
yeah.
Anyway, I found the card.
Varchild's War Riders. Yeah, they get a 1/1 red token.
But it's a 3/4 trample with Rampage. The point is, he
Yeah.
made it deck where all the other cards,
Yeah.
made it a drawback to have creatures enter the plane under your control.
Sure.
Let's see if I can find it, but...
It's Varchild's War Riders.
Okay, well, we are really starting here. It looks like it's elves.
Yeah, no, it will be elves.
Oh, it's that Tony. Yeah, he's on Lantern for sure.
Yeah, it's Tony Scrip. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Pat.
It's script check.
Scriptshack. That's cool. I like that. So he's on Lantern of Insight CTRL.
Why is there a Missourian?
It's not in play.
He's being thought seized. Where did it go?
It's Jackson Garvey.
Jackson.
Wait. Yeah.
Garvey Jackson.
No, it's Jackson Garvey.
Okay.
Oh, it's Jackson.
EY.
Like that?
Yep.
Okay.
And he's on elves, and that's Lantern control. All right, so what we missed really was a Codex Shredder, a Pyrite Spellbomb from Tony. So his turn 1 was, I think, a Codex
Yes,
Shredder.
Snapcasters, this is modern.
Snapcasters. Yeah, and then on Jackson's turn, he played a Llanowar Elf after playing the green-black elf land.
Gillleaf Palace.
Yeah, the palace. The elf land I'm more familiar with is the one from Apocalypse, but Elfane Palace. Not legal in the format, unfortunately. Wait,
Unfortunately.
it's not.
You
It
can
would
just
probably
play-
see play.
You can just play Blossoming Sands, though.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
Oh, I'm thinking of... No, Elfane Palace is the green-white tap land, right?
No. No.
You're thinking of Wirewood Lodge.
Type in Elfane Palace into the menu. Yeah, so it looks like we got a Elvish Hark Druid. Dang it, you were right.
I'm sorry.
Wirewood Lodge is the one that regenerates elves.
Or something.
But this would see play if it was legal in Modern, because they have splashed white before.
I
Thank
think
you.
can just play Blossoming Sands.
Thank you for the
So Tony drew, right, like the best card in this matchup.
Thank you
which
for
is
the
just
what?
Burn
life
Spell.
total update.
Did we miss a life total?
Yeah, I didn't notice that he painted himself off the Land of Our Waste. First of all, we do stream Modern every Wednesday. We did miss a couple weeks during the New Year, but we will be here every Wednesday. There are people playing. Yeah, I'm keeping up. There are people playing Jund, and I don't know if there's anyone playing D&T today, but
There's no one playing D&T. That's a different deck for a different format. But there could be people playing Hate Bears decks.
whatever. You know what he meant.
There is a guy playing green-white Hate Bears.
Okay.
I also have a copy of Green White Hate Bears 75 in my bag right now. But yes, there's probably some people playing Hate Bears and some people playing Jund. We saw a Jund family member playing some junk.
We saw some junk earlier.
Yeah. I mean, Grand Prix top 8 competitor Daniel Duan is
Yeah.
playing
Yeah.
Abzan. Or Junk.
I don't know what's going to.
We just watched him crush.
I'm actually interested to know who's going to eat a band or ban or
Some of
what
Midoriya's
is.
vengeance.
No, I've just never tried a band. Do they taste good or is it salty? I don't.
I think if they ban Amulet Bloom and not Amulet...
If they ban Amulet Bloom,
Yeah, if they ban Amulet of Vigor and not Summoner's Bloom? Summer Bloom?
Sumner.
Summer Bloom. Let me tell you, I forget what cards are called a lot. But yeah, Summer
We
Bloom.
basically missed this whole game, by the way.
Yeah, so let's watch the game and not talk about banning. We can get back to banning later.
Oh, when did you play Dark Horse? I mean, like, what night was it? Was it
Yeah.
Modern or
He says he was here on a Wednesday. He played. Yeah, when were you here? Because it was during the New Year. We didn't have the stream going.
Yeah.
He's also.
So Jackson has assembled what I assume is the hard lock, which is...
You mean Tony?
Sorry. No, I do mean Jackson. I mean, he assembled Elvish Archdruid plus Azuri.
Yeah, but there's an
bridge in play.
ensnaring bridge in play with no cards in hand for Tony.
That's fine. Basically, Tony has to Tony has to never let Reclamation Sage happen.
Which basically includes Court of Calling and Collected
Yeah.
Company. You can't let either of those spells get into Jackson's hand.
Yeah.
Or the game will be over immediately because he has an Azuri and an Archdruid?
Mm-hmm. Archdruid.
Archdruid in play.
Archdruid.
Archdruid. Yeah, sorry if the stream wasn't running when you were here, Dark Horse, but around the holidays, which some people celebrate, others do not, whatever, it kind of gets...
Shaman of the Pack
A
is
little
super good in this
crazy.
matchup. Like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Shaman of the Pack is like a pretty good way to break this apart.
So Tony draws a blank, which I imagine he just casts and kills. I don't know why Jackson lets him resolve. I feel like he has enough mana to regenerate that with Azuri.
He does.
Kind of interesting.
I think second ensnaring bridge is actually the
We definitely
hard
did
lock
not
in game
stream
one.
that day just because there were so many of our streamers were out of town. We couldn't get a team together.
Did you guys split?
Yeah, there's no out to this, right? In Jackson's main deck. I mean, even if he plays the main deck Rex Sage, he doesn't play 2 Rex Sages, right? That would be.
And did he
complete
mill one?
bananas. I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, no, he has 2 bridges in play, so he needs 2 Rex Sages to win the game.
Right. He either.
Oh, right. I
No,
think,
his main deck out is to just make a million elves, like literally 16 elves or 15 elves, and play a Shaman of the Pact. That's how he
Oh,
wins
sure.
the game.
That's
So
true.
so
He
is
actually
so
does that.
basically having played the second ensnaring bridge, what we're saying is Jackson's only out is to accumulate.
Oh, it's gone now though.
Well, but
What's gone now?
Is he taking Collected Company?
Collective
No.
Company is fine because that beats the. I mean, that means you just have to.
Oh no,
Yeah.
he did target the right.
Yeah, as long as
he
he's-
did target the Shaman of the Pack because he's
Yeah.
just scooping it up.
Right, yeah.
So
yeah.
basically, what Tony was able to do is because Jackson's only out was making 20 elves and then playing, or 19 elves and playing
He was only
Shaman
at
of the
16,
Pack.
but yeah.
Sure, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Having it surgical means there's no out for Jackson to win the game. And look at that, 41 minutes on the clock. Game 1, Lantern Control closes it out.
Tony comes in here every week with this deck, and he's gotten very quick with it, and he also tells all of his opponents every turn, "Can we play fast, please?"
Yeah.
So
It's not the quickest deck, and it never will be, and it will forever require you to play pretty perfectly very fast.
I feel like the Black Splash isn't actually worth it in elves. So I was talking
elves?
about this
I
with
would-
some elf players.
Yeah, I also agree.
I mean, obviously with a Black Splash, you get Shaman of the Pack. You don't need the combat step. I just don't feel like there's any matchup where that's relevant
except for
anymore.
this one.
Well, but here's the thing about that is that like if Lantern Control wins the game, they just win the game, right? I don't think having like the one outer of them hitting like all of their Ghoul Caller's Bell's Mill, and then you draw like the Coco,
Yeah.
and hit the double Shaman of the Pack
Right,
off the Coco.
right.
Like I just feel like your outs. It doesn't actually make.
Well, Coco
you
is
The-
good
the
because
one-
they can't control the second card
Right, sure. The one splash
Or
I
the
have,
5 cards.
I have liked in elves is white.
for
Yeah.
Path and Thalia.
No, you can play. It lets you play stuff like Mirror Entity,
Yeah.
Stony Silence, Fracturing Gust, which actually just Stone Cold beats this
Well, you
deck.
don't need white for Fracturing Gust.
Also-
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, you can play Alpine Palace.
You get
You can. It's not
you get,
modern.
but so you actually get like Burning Forge Tender, and if you're playing Cord, you get Dauntless Escort, which is a really cool card.
Yeah.
And has the upside of just being a gnarled mass that you can just Cord for and go on the beatdowns.
I'm still bummed no one plays Whisperword Elemental anymore. I thought that was the hottest tech I used to
Card
play.
seems really hot.
I had someone playing eggs against me. Instead of going for the Pyrite Spellbomb kill, they cast an Emrakul. And I was at like 18, and they're like, they take their extra turn and they go, attack. And I go, okay, trigger on the stack. I'm going to Cord 4/5. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I'll get a Whisperwood. I'll sack all these elves. And
Oh,
he was just
God.
like,
That's beautiful.
swung back for lethal. It was
That's amazing.
perfect. It was amazing. And someone sitting next to me was like, I'm making elves. Should I put that in my list? And I was like, yeah, just won me the game. Like, I don't know. That tech is, shout out to Rigel Goheen. He actually gave me that tech.
I know Jackson.
So we're displaying the card on the stream. Our open broadcast software just has the ability to create a zone that captures another window. We have 2 monitors where it's capturing it from.
Yeah, it's just a screen capture zone on OBS. That's
We just
it.
have 2 monitors.
So I know
You can do it on one monitor even as long as one
Well,
of them.
then, if this can't be full screen, then the OBS.
You
can't
just
be
have
full
to. You'd
screen,
have to like put it down in the corner.
Which
here.
sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it, but
I know Jackson has played some number of Lead the Stampede in the past, but that
Le-
sort of elucidates what I think is the problem with modern elves as opposed to like a legacy version of the deck, which is just that the deck is terrible at grinding. It doesn't grind nearly as well as the
what?
Legal
Blitz
and
Nature
modern.
version does.
What?
Oh yeah, all these were reprinted in the 9th. I forget which.
I didn't know Elfane Palace was
8th.
printed in 8th. I was
Yeah.
unaware.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it wasn't Legal and Modern, actually.
It's legal and modern, along with Urborg Volcano, the second Urborg card that's legal and modern, and still not the one you want to play.
Yeah. But now you really want to play Urborg because of that Eldrazi deck.
Yeah,
That, like, is the Urborg deck.
that Eldrazi deck is certainly the real deal. It's
Yeah.
as good of a deck as any deck which draws multiple copies of its combo piece and loses the game is.
Yeah.
We saw
Which I think is kind of interesting because, like, I mean, we were all here for the its birth. It's just like a brand new deck that
Stacks.
just kind of exploded on the scene.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
This is the
I'm
argument for modern, right? Is that
Yeah.
there's enough synergistic cards in the format
Yeah.
that given infinite time, new decks will emerge.
Right, which is what people kept going on and on about. And for the longest time, I was like, sure, you're playing Splinter Twin, right? They'd be like, no, Modern's great. It's a wide open format. You can play anything you want. Turn 1, Staring Visions. Turn 3, Deceiver Exarch. I'm like, yeah, okay,
First
guys.
game.
Yeah. All right, but, all right, so Tony on the draw.
He's got a
Jackson
Pyroclasm. Seems great.
Seems,
Tony has both Pyroclasm and... Is that Pyrite Spellbomb?
it's
or is that
Pyrite Spell.
Chromatic?
No, it's
Okay.
Pyrite Spellbomb, yeah.
His deck is unbeatable. He drew Red Source Pyrite Spellbomb, can't lose the matchup.
Game's all over. Call it.
Oh,
36
Jackson's sending
minute,
it
50
back.
seconds. It's called. Simon saying game over.
Yeah, I mean, so again, I think this is the real problem with Elves, is that it's a very good glass cannon deck, and there's no reason to play a glass cannon combo deck in a format with resilient combo decks.
Exactly.
You don't actually gain like a turn of speed or anything. I don't think Elves is any faster than Amulet Blue.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Amulet
when
Blue
I-
is
when I-
arguably not okay for the format.
When I first started,
Oh, sure.
when I first started playing elves,
Hey guys,
it felt
what's up, Slum?
it felt much better because it was like not as well known.
Sure.
But once everyone figured out, it's just like, yeah, you got to kill the Azuri and the Archdruid,
Yeah.
and like there's ways to beat it. At first, people would be like, they'd pass back to you on your turn 2, and then you'd put like 3 other creatures into play, and they'd be like, what do I do? You
Yeah.
know. But like it's figured out now. It was so popular for a while when it won the Open. Like
It's a GP, right?
Oh yeah, it won a GP too. It just like blew up on the scene all of a sudden.
Oof.
That is good info. Thank you,
Yeah,
Ragnar.
Tony
the
script
Ragnar.
checked you and played the turn 1 Grafdigger's Cage.
That seems good.
Wow.
The card is just very good in his deck. I'm always amazed by like all
Yeah.
the things it does.
Turns off Snapcasters, turns off Chord, turns off a lot of the. It turns off Collected Company.
Well, the big argument against Cage in Modern, right, is the prevalence of the Delve creatures Tasker and Gurmag Angler, and this is a matchup where that just is completely irrelevant.
Yeah, it doesn't
and
even
Cage
matter.
Is absurd.
Yeah. I think this is also.
But even in the decks that play the Delve spells, they probably play Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah. So it's
or
never
Chord.
completely-
which makes no sense.
It does though.
I'm playing
a lot of sense.
multiple copies of creatures that delve for 5, and
How
yet
does
Snapcasters.
Tony just not Pyroclasm here? This is an example of somebody who must have played this matchup before, because I would have snapped Pyroclasm for the 2-for-1.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to get more value out of it if he kills the Archdruid, though, right?
Yeah.
Because then Jackson's forced to commit into it.
Yeah.
But I think also by doing that, like, you kind of send the message that you like don't have a Pyroclasm.
I mean, what you're showing right now is Academy Ruins minus Blue Source plus Pyrite Spellbomb.
Yeah.
So you're
I mean-
suggesting to Jackson that he needs to go all in as soon as possible.
Yeah, because if you don't overload the board, he's just going
Right.
to slowly grind you out with the spell bomb.
Yeah.
Does he have a second Archdruid? Nope. See, there we go. Committed 2 things,
And now
there's the
Pyroclasm's
Pyroclasm.
absurd, yeah.
Very well played. That was very smart.
I like it.
Yeah.
And this is, again, the downside of Elves, is that this is a Snapcaster
See-
Lightning Bolt format.
And land nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the Lantern. Drawing a Llanowar Elves. There's the Ghoul Caller's Bell, and a combo is pretty close there.
I think you let him draw the Llanowar Elf
Mhm.
for sure.
But
not
you
really
don't. I don't
concerned
think
about
you
your
draw
opponent.
the. You don't draw.
Yeah,
the
you mill
Ghoul-
this
yeah.
is definitely. What is that? Lead the
It's a-
Stampede. Yeah.
Basic Force. Oh, yeah, no, that's the Mirrored and Besieged uncommon.
Oh, and he's got the instant bridge on top there. He's gonna have to figure out a way to empty his hand real quick. So there's.
So yeah, I think this is a scenario where you probably want to lead on something like Spellskite.
I agree.
For 2 reasons. Obviously, you want to get the card out of your hand first, and beyond that, like Reclamation Sage in his hand.
He's
is
milling
way
to
you
lead the
lose this game.
Stampede, and there's a chord, which is
It does nothing.
nothing. So that was a good mill from Tony.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jackson Garvey does the infamous middle finger point.
Yeah, of course you let me draw the chord. It doesn't even do anything. Yikes. All right, so here's the Ensnaring Bridge and a Mox Opal on top.
Yep.
Cast the Ensnaring Bridge, 2 cards left in hand.
Doesn't even matter because he's got the Spellskite in play.
Yeah, so he's letting him draw the Azuri.
Yep.
Because it's totally irrelevant.
I think that's what they call the emotional victory rate. When
Can
your opponent has to keep playing.
Spellskite can redirect Azuri's ability, it just won't do anything, right?
No,
Or
it has
can't
to be a
redirect-
legal target.
right, because it
Azuri
targets an
says
elves, yeah.
Another elf, I believe you control.
Oh, it is you control, yeah, you're right, so it can't even redirect it. Looks like he's going to play the Mox Opal, probably do a little bit of a Thoughtseize.
He's got
He's gonna abrupt
decay.
Oh, he's
Decay
going to
Azuri.
he has going to
Yeah.
abrupt decay Azuri and then play Spellskite and have 1 card in
Yeah.
hand.
Well,
It-
Spellskite's out. He has the second Spellskite?
I thought he
It
did.
doesn't even matter.
Or I thought he had 2. Well, if he had 2, the game would also
Yeah.
be over because oh man, there's you can mill the Shaman of the Pack as well. Again, there's the Archdruid.
A real cost of this deck is mostly speaking, I don't think they play a fetch dual mana base. I think they're actually pretty all in on drawing the Guiltleaf Palace to cast their Shaman of the Packs, beyond having Court of Calling for it.
I think this is game here. I think he's
Yeah.
gonna Thoughtseize and the game is over.
Thoughtseize is doing 2 damage to Tony to remove all damage.
Oh,
on the top
you
of
just
the
take the
game.
Shaman of the Pack too, because he can't play Collected Company or
He
Chord.
can't play Coco or
And he
Chord.
draws a land, and there's another land on top. Wow. Whew.
Yeah. Tony, at this point, is in full Goldfish mode.
I think he's looking for a Surgical. If he finds one, that's probably game.
Man, and he activates the Codex Shredder targeting himself.
Yeah, I mean, he has the Academy Ruins. He didn't mill an artifact, but I think he's
Yeah.
just looking to get probably Surgical and another court. Yeah, Jackson has had
even
zero luck with the top of his
even
deck.
if Jackson had like 18 Reclamation Stages in his deck with the Academy Ruins, he just can't.
Right.
He can't remove the Ensnaring Bridge from this game.
No, I mean, once you take care of the Azuri, there's no one-turn... like, you can't one-shot them anymore.
Mm-hmm. Jackson going to fetch, try to remove that actual 100% dead draw.
This is the most miserable part against playing against Lantern, is that once you're dead, you have to play super tight and hope they mess up somewhere. And Tony, he's a guy who's been playing this deck, I think, since about Zach Elsick busted it up.
He's been playing for a long time.
So
now.
right after that that GP got won by Zach Elsick, he showed up that week with this deck, and he's been playing it every time.
And that really
since
speaks. I mean, this
That's
is
a
the
Nick Rose.
argument for Modern, right? I mean, the argument for Modern is you can play the same deck forever. So somebody like me, I always play.
Hey,
Merfolk.
look at one of them.
It's gonna get milled.
It's gone.
I know.
It's never touching a hand.
Oh, and there's the second bridge. That is. I wonder how many Shaman of the Packs he has, because he's milled 2 of them.
Yeah.
There's a third. There we go.
Yeah.
There's a third one.
It's gone.
So you're thinking he's playing 4?
I think you play 4 in this version just because casting it for 5 and then casting it for 6 later is really good against most decks.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know how a mid-range deck would really handle that at all.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the argument for Elves. I think Elves is pretty favored against the fair decks. If you can resolve Cord, if you can resolve Lead the Stampede, that's like a draw 4 for 3, ideally in this deck.
Now
he's not going to resolve it.
He's getting milled out here.
Yeah.
I think Tony wants to draw this second Ensnaring Bridge,
Yeah.
just triple back up, basically.
Again,
tapping his mana for it before he even draws it.
And I don't want to oversell Tony here, but he clearly understands how to play this matchup. He's got a very strong command of how to sequence his cards. The whole tapping before you draw is a real Nassif throwback move.
Yeah.
And once you start milling the blanks, that's when
it's probably over.
Doesn't care anymore. Yeah.
Oh man.
So what do you guys think about banning Ancient Stirrings?
Is that a thing people have talked about?
That's an argument people have made. It's not
I
really a good card in Amulet. It's fine in Amulet. I think the big arguments for banning it is Tron, Amulet Control, and then maybe the Black-Green Eldrazi turns out.
I'd like to see how good it is after Oath becomes Modern legal.
Sure.
I don't think banning it before that happens makes sense to me.
Pyrite Spellbomb is game here, by the way. He has no way to break through this lock, and he can just kill him with Pyrite Spellbomb. Oh wow, he does that all 4, and it's gonna get milled.
He's just gonna mill him. It's faster.
Well, he's also just locked out of the game. There's really no reason for Jackson to punish himself this way and then finish the game. He has no outs at this point.
I've played against Jackson in the past. I'll say 2 things about Jackson. I think he's a really nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got a great control over losing games like this where you're just dead forever.
Which for Magic players is extremely impressive to see.
Yeah, Jackson is again a cool dude. And I think the second thing here is, again, this is like playing against High Tide and Legacy. They can always fizzle, they can always punt somehow.
Yeah.
That's
you
awesome.
just need to keep playing the
Kataki.
game.
Yeah, that's
He is
awesome.
splashing white for Kataki. That's cool.
Yeah, you get a lot from the White Splash. You can cord for Kataki. You can cord for Aven Mind Sensor, which is really good in the mirror.
Yeah. I used to play Worm Coils in Elves when I first played it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wormcoil seems really good, actually.
But again, it was just you beat the mid-range. Let's see the Fracturing Gust. There we go. I was it helps you beat mid-range decks even harder. I guess. I don't know. It was not good.
So Lantern, again, occupies this weird spot where it's completely dead to several decks. You can never beat Burn. It's very hard to beat very aggressive Zoo builds. Not the Collected Company Naya decks, but the Wild Nikado Kurt Ape Naya decks. I can't imagine ever beating. And this is just an example of, this is a real clinic. Tony has figured out how to play his deck correctly, and he is going to continue to play it correctly.
I think the current Modern meta is fine. All these twin players just hate losing before they can potentially combo.
Who said that?
Ragnar the Ragnar. Quite the name, too. I like it.
He was talking about Ancient Stirrings.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
That's a reasonable point. I do think it would be fun to ban some stuff in Modern, just because banning is a good way to shake up the format. And Jackson extends the hand here. Again, Jackson, great dude. Nice watch.
Sure.
So I think that, personally, I think Summer Bloom should be banned. And my biggest reasoning is I know for a fact that a lot of the pros are very high in that deck.
Yeah.
And if they don't ban it, then I know that the Pro Tour, which I'm excited to watch, a Modern Pro Tour,
It's just gonna be miserable.
It's just going to be the mirror over and over and over again.
Oh, sorry.
That's like the number one reason,
Yeah.
right? Because so people always argue that Modern is a bad Pro Tour format, and I never understood that until I watched the Standard Pro Tour and was like, oh, these are like new decks that pros are playing, and they're innovating and playing weird stuff.
Right.
And with Modern, it's a well-established format. Frank Carson or whatever is always going to play Affinity. Jacob Wilson is always going to play a green-black deck. John Finkel is always going to play Storm. Blah, 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 blah. It's always going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
So if they don't shake up the format and either kick out the best deck, make a new best deck, change up the format entirely, you're going to be able to predict every game, and it's going to be a lot of coin flips and very samey results.
So Phonics, Amulet is 5% of the total meta, but the Pro Tour meta is completely different. So many of the teams have actively said that they believe the best deck is that deck.
If you look at a lot of the pros, a lot of them even won the WMCQs and Grand
Tom
Prix
Martell winning the WMC
with Amulet, and he's not an Amulet player either.
Right. I mean, so I think the big argument for banning something is to shake up the format. A long time ago, Ari Lax, writing about Legacy, suggested banning 15 cards, some of which are now Modern legal. Cards he included in that were Wild Nikotl. His idea was you ban enough cards so Wild Nikotl is the best one-drop in the format. This was before Delver of Secrets was printed for Legacy.
All right, they don't get a free cranial plating if you unban Stoneforge,
I
by the
think
way.
so. Again, my problem with Stoneforge is I think there are established decks that can beat Stoneforge.
Yeah.
But I think there are too many established decks that just now, whatever types of versions there were,
Yeah.
there is now only the white version. Which
I will be really upset if they ban Blood Moon, but for one reason and one reason only. It's actually just giving in to whiny players.
That's a fair point. I think
Bloom, people whine about Bloom,
Yeah.
and it's yeah, sure, it's oppressive, it's ridiculous. If you ban Blood Moon, what the hell?
If you unban Stoneforge Mystic, even if you ban Batterskull, I just imagine the black, green, white decks that get to play Stoneforge Mystic and Siege Rhino on their deck, and then imagine playing cards like Wild Nikotl,
Right.
or even honestly Lord of Atlantis. It just
Exactly.
becomes
Every
a losing
deck that's
proposition.
trying to win by attacking
Yeah.
has to play white now. I just think it's in Modern. It seems like the best thing you can do. I don't know.
Again, Modern, I think, is a format similar to other non-rotating or Eternal, because those are the other non-rotating formats, where having flexibility in your deck is a really important thing.
Come on, guys.
And then getting Stoneforge Mystic, instead of having to play 5 slots in your deck, you have to play 4. That's huge.
I'll go fix
see
it.
if you can find a match too while
I'll
you're out
fix it
there.
and see if I can find a Mizaj.
A Mizaj?
It doesn't look so bad. Which side? I tilt on the left side?
Just make sure the legs are touching the table when it lines up.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
That's actually smart. I like that.
So, man, Kyle, you're a long-term Grixis Delver guy.
I
Right?
love me some Grixis Delver.
So how bad is your deck against Stoneforge Mystic?
Well, how quickly does my deck start playing Stoneforge Mystic is what I want to ask.
That's a really good question. I mean, it would be interesting seeing something similar to the pre-True Name Nemesis blue-white-red Delver decks.
Yeah.
Again, the cantrips are significantly worse. You don't have Force of Alert Days, but you do have Lightning Bolt, a similar card to Swords of Plowshares, and
I just think it seems strong. Whether or not Stoneforge Mystic is best in a Delver list doesn't actually matter to me. I'm gonna play Delver of Secrets.
Yeah.
I
like your attitude. You'll flip those Delvers.
I will
man.
flip my Delver Secrets they're just they are never Fugitive Wizards. They're just never. I don't know. I love this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would probably just start playing them in that deck.
Yeah. Yeah. The card's really good.
I'd be sad to lose the black mana, but that seems probably right unless I play Esper, I guess. But Bolt's so good.
Kolaghan's Command is a very realistic card in a Stoneforge Mystic meta. I just think it's problematic if you have to ban a card like Batterskull to enable another potentially broken card.
Yeah, no, I'm personally not. I would if I had to make a bet against it being unbanned.
Yeah. Bloodbraid Elf in my mind is much safer than Stoneforge Mystic.
So it's probably okay. That being said, I don't want to play against it.
No, and again, I think a lot of modern, especially originally, right? They banned Bitter Blossom, they banned Scape Shift, they banned Stoneforge Mystic and Jace. They banned all the feel bad cards from past standards.
Right, a lot of those cards have actually never been legal in Modern.
Right, it's true. I mean, Bloodbraid was, but
and then they banned it, but then
then they banned Deathrite.
But so which was probably actually the problem.
Yeah, Deathrite Shaman is very good for
combos do run over Stoneforge. I mean, we can see this in Legacy.
Well, but again, that's not necessarily true, because a very controlling deck that plays 4 Stoneforge Mystics and a Sword of Feast and Famine is actually significantly better, and that's a reasonable win-the-game package, right? Mm-hmm. If you just have to play 2 swords, even if they never unban Jit and they ban Batterskull, your blue-white base, your Celestial Colonnade decks become, I think, significantly better with the presence of
Right,
Steamforged
right.
Mystic. That's the real winner, is people who want to do nothing and win the game.
Exactly. I don't know. I like the idea of it being unbanned, but
Yeah.
I just think it's too much of an auto-include. Actually, Nathan and I were talking about this earlier. Do you remember why Wild Mikado was originally banned?
I do, because the idea was they were going to promote diversity. It was banned after Pro Tour Philadelphia,
Yeah.
along with Green Sun Zenith and all the combo cards.
So I have the same argument for Stoneforge Mystic, but also,
Yeah.
we were talking about this earlier, interestingly enough, and I don't think it's a problem, but Wild Mikado has returned back to the lack of diversity place. I don't see Mono Red Burn, I don't see Red White Burn, I just see Naya Zoo Burn. That's what people play.
But so here's the thing, is that Burn is not a deck that I think Wizards conceives of. I think they conceive of aggressive red-based decks.
Right.
And even the Nikado Burn decks are in fact
so
red-based.
we got no one really. But there's the name of the Bloom player at 2-1, so I think we should get that on camera next round.
That's fine.
Because the 3-0s will split,
Yeah.
and we should really give it a
Yeah,
swan song.
we can watch. Yeah, I got there. I'll watch Heavy Bloom, yeah.
Swan song.
Is
Yeah.
it just Nick? Nick's still
It's
not
Nick
on it, right?
Paris, yeah.
Yeah. Nick beat me in round 2, so I was playing blue, white, black control, and this was just an example of how powerful Amulet Blue
What?
is.
I'm playing on the camera against Sam.
Right now? You're just gonna battle?
Just for
Do
fun?
it. Yeah.
Where are
And
you
Sam,
playing?
can you tell him he kicked the camera? Can you fix the camera? Just push it up against the table.
Wait, Steve Dang, what are you
Sam?
playing? What?
Oh,
Oh,
against
fantastic.
John. Haha. All
right,
right, so
so-
this is an exhibition match of Steven Dang, MTG CardMarket employee and
Level 1 judge.
level 1 judge.
Heartthrob.
Heartthrob, Hearthstone Legend rank player.
Is he really?
Yeah,
I
and
wish he was doing more with himself.
and multiple high stakes event top 8 competitor.
Yeah.
Versus the underdog, I guess I'll say, the new man in town, Samuel Iverson.
You know,
I like it.
You can say a lot about Sam Ives.
It's not
One of
black,
the
white,
things I'll say
Eldrazi,
about
it's mono
Sam
black.
Ives is he cares. He cares about his deck.
He cares about his deck. He cares about how it looks. He cares about the cards in it, the exact numbers of each of them, the
Yeah.
15 card sideboard. Through and through, this is a John player.
I've heard many nitty-gritty conversations about what is it? Is it the Olivia Voldaren? Is it the random Garrick Relentless? Is it the Huntmaster of the Fells? Is it the main deck Ewit? Is it the main deck Fulminator? And the answer is it's none of those. It doesn't matter. You're never going to draw your one-ups in John. You always draw the Bobs and the Thoughtseize
Yes.
and the Quips.
And guess what? You still win.
Yeah.
All right.
Doesn't matter.
If I was more confident in my abilities as a Magic player, I think I would probably play Black-Green X in every format. Brad Nelson one time wrote an article about how it doesn't matter who has the better deck as long as you play better to tempo.
Yeah.
And the Thoughtseize 2-drop deck is very good at playing to tempo.
He's
Damn.
at 20.
Savage Lands, gorgeous.
No,
So-
it doesn't come in Expedition, so Sam won't play it.
Secret tech
Yeah, but
about
there's
this
a front. There's an
mono-black
F.
Eldrazi
There's an
deck.
F and M printing. Yeah.
This
Alright.
is the secret deck of all monocolored decks in Modern.
Oh.
You get like 3 matchup percentage points against Burn because they actually have to do 20 and not 18.
Yeah, that's true. I noticed that when I was playing the Hate Bears deck.
Yeah.
Because you never fetch. You
Yeah.
do have the Horizon Canopy.
You have
but
4, right?
Yeah, you have 4, but you still can mitigate that damage
Yeah.
really easily
You
because
just
you
tap
play
it right
Vile.
through.
Well, no, because you play Vile. Yeah, you go like I'm in
Oh,
IT.
good guy, Sam.
What did he do?
He got Inquisition and left his lands and left his
Yeah.
deck face up.
So let's see how good
Is he
Sam
gonna?
is.
He's gonna play upside. Oh, I thought he was gonna play upside down with his lands in front.
Sam's is perhaps a master. He's gonna not play both of these Black Cleave Cliffs into play untapped.
Scrabbling Claws, Exile, go.
So this is an argument against you're very good against Tarmogoyf naturally, right? By
Yep.
playing
It is
4
going to be
copies
an
of
0-1
Relic
for the rest of this game.
and 2 copies of Garbage Relic.
Garbage Relic.
There's no way that I just still can't imagine that this card is better than Nile Spellbomb. But here's an example where it's clearly better than Nile Spellbomb.
Yeah, because now that Tarmogoyf is an 0-1.
Yep.
And you can probably Wasteland Strangler it and kill it.
Every time you kill a Tarmogoyf with damage-based or toughness-based removal, you actually gain a level in Hearthstone, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah?
think that's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Oh my, yeah, he is though. That's
he probably shattered that 100 days ago, though.
the Nujabes sweater. I don't even know. how to-
New jobs.
New job.
Nujabes.
Oof. So, okay, here's my
He's
real
going for
argument
100
against Mono
days.
Black Eldrazi. It's a very slow and threat-light deck.
Okay, so but he's got Blight Herder next turn,
Yeah.
which means he shouldn't have exiled with Traveling Claws.
No,
Or no, he
he's
should've.
playing exactly
He needs to
correctly.
exile 2 cards.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we need to exile too.
Sam shouldn't have cost the Thoughtseize is what it means. This is a real
Well, because
thing
he's got the
against this
second.
deck.
He's
Yeah.
got a second Blight Herder.
Is that a Void Winnower?
No, it's Oblivion Sower, I believe.
Yeah. It is Oblivion Sower.
Okay.
Oh no, that's
No,
Void
it's a
Winnower.
What the what?
Okay, yeah,
I
I
would
know.
argue that Void Winnower is the wrong main deck, huge casting cost Eldrazi.
Tarmogoyf
play.
can't attack.
I knew they were playing it. I thought it was the board,
Tarmogoyf
though.
can't attack when
I thought it can't block. Is that what Void Winnower does?
it can't attack or block.
We can pull it up.
I
Wait.
think it can only not block.
Wait, but how can it attack when there's a Void Winnower in play?
Well, it can't attack into the 9/11 or whatever Void Winnower is. 11/9. Other way around.
They did that on purpose.
They can't block.
They did that on purpose, dude. There is a conspiracy afoot
So
here.
Sam got in for 1.
My honest opinion of this Eldrazi deck is it seems very soft to Merfolk. I think it's very good in general, but it's completely
It's
soft
a
to
slow
Merfolk. Yeah.
control deck.
No, but that's the thing is, so like decks like Zoo and Merfolk, I think they're very good because they keep the format honest. They're obviously bad against Snapcaster Bolt as a package.
Some people say keep the format honest. I say punish people for trying.
Well, I mean, is
we
he
watched
even
him get
trying?
we watched this deck get its teeth kicked in because someone went Nakatl Pride Mage and just
Oof,
over. I
that's
was like,
gorgeous.
that's the worst feeling.
Anybody who plays Kasali Pride Mage in Modern has like really a lot of faith in themselves as a person.
I agree. Yeah, so it looks like the Blight Herder made its 3 tokens, and now Sam Ives is sitting there with a 1/2.
But it also made the Tarmogoyf bigger.
It did make the Tarmogoyf bigger. Generally speaking, sorry about that, Siege Gang Commander beats every other fair card in Magic, and this is just like larger Siege Gang Commander.
Doesn't-
with less
doesn't shoot
upside,
stuff, though,
but
yeah.
yeah.
So the awkward thing is going to be when he casts a Void Winnower and it can't get terminated.
Just so you know, the Dark Horse says that you broke the meta and you should buy every Lord of Atlantis.
At the Dark Horse, I've long maintained that Blue-White Merfolk is the best deck in Modern, and I'm going to stand by that, even though it's patently false.
But have you watched some of the people playing that at like the high level games?
I've never seen anybody play Blue-White Merfolk in a high-level game. I'll be honest. Like I've
Oh,
played,
okay.
One of
sorry.
our PPTQs
I wasn't
was
mean-
won by that, actually.
I didn't.
yeah,
I
it was
didn't.
won by Greg Schaefer,
Playing
was it
your
Greg
deck.
Schaefer?
playing my exact 75.
Oh, okay.
But like, so if you look at some of the GP top 8s that
Yeah.
have mono blue Merfolk, I didn't mean blue white specifically. Those guys just run train on all of the modern decks.
Yeah.
There's like a final.
Boom!
There's like a finals match where he's playing against a Jund deck. The game 1 is over in 3 turns. Game 2 over in like 4 or 5 turns.
Yeah.
It's just like.
So this is-
In game 2, he like spreading sees
This
him
is
like
an
3
interesting
times.
situation where Steve Dang, instead of choosing to cast Void Winnower, right? Because he had 6, because he has
Yep. No, he
a
could do it.
temple plus. Oh no, he didn't actually have enough. At that
Wait,
point.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No,
Oh, he had 5.
He had
yeah.
8. Yeah. Never mind. I take that back. Yeah, again, and this is again the gorgeous fact of Modern is that you can play whatever deck you want forever and ever. A deck like this deck, which they clearly printed a huge amount of cards for. I'm speaking about Eldrazi here. It gets Thought Knots here. It gets all the other garbage cards from Oath of the
Yeah, we were
Gatewatch.
just talking about them.
Got him. Nice Inquisition.
Oh, got the Wasteland Strangler. No.
Yeah. Oof. That's like one of 5 targets for Inquisition in the main deck?
Probably something like that. You
I
can
mean,
get.
they've got a bunch of stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, but they're all like not.
He just
relevant.
It's
exiled
just-
stuff to his Tassiger, though. That's
It's just like both Tassiger and Tarmogoyf have an even converted mana cost, and it's going to be really hard to chump block Void Winnower. So, okay, so this is what I'm talking about. I think Steve is going to win this game, but cracking Expedition map for Ayavugan, when you actually have to get 7 lands in play to activate it, is a very slow line. And I think that makes a deck like Mono Black Eldrazi significantly weaker to cards like Splinter Twin, right? Because then you're always dead to them just drawing their combo. So I think Mono Black Eldrazi is a very good deck.
Ooh.
It's hard for me to believe that this is actually the best deck in Modern now.
All right, so he gets 2 lands off the Oblivion Sower.
Whoa, plus what else? Nope, just 2 lands.
Yeah, it was just 2.
And because you play Urborg, all of their fetch lands are just basic
Dude, is
swamp.
that Blood Crypt? Is
Yeah.
it a Bloodstained Mire?
It's a Blackleaf Cliffs on the.
It's a
That's a
Wooded
Bloodstained Mire.
Foothills and
That's
a
a Bloodstained
Blackleaf
Mire,
Cliffs.
right?
I believe that's Wooded Foothills.
No, that's Bloodstained Mire.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again.
The Wooded
know
Foothills
what?
actually has a little bit of green on it.
Yeah, but that one like might. I think it's Bloodstained Mire, but anyway.
It's Bloodstained
Oof.
Mire.
And then Sam draws his spicy 4-drop in the deck. Again, I imagine
too
junk
late.
players just have like a D4 they roll before every tournament. They're like, it's Olivia, Huntmaster, Garrick Relentless, and then just like Slaughter Pact or whatever. You know, some garbage removal spell. Pia and Kieran, oh my god. I think that card's significantly better in Grixis than it is in
I
Jund.
think that card should not even be played in Modern.
Oh man, it's nice of you to say that, but it's actually insane in Grixis.
I don't think so.
It's also really good in the Jeff Hooglin garbage
I don't think it's good there
Court
either.
of Calling deck. It's 3 creatures for Court of Calling.
Whatever.
It's only -1 mana on your cord turns.
So what?
Yeah, it's exactly what.
I don't know.
Bojuka Bog showing up. Any format where Bojuka Bog is a playable card is a good format.
Sure.
So says Jimmy Payton,
Boom.
East Coast Stormmaster. Sam Iverson, I guess is what we're calling him. Is
Samuel Iverson.
Samuel Iverson is going to read Void Winnower. Oh, well, Kai Tai Fu.
Kai Tai Fu here.
Yeah.
I completely blanked.
But Samuel Allen Iverson is going to read Void Winnower, look at the converted mana cost of every creature he has in
single one
play,
of his creatures.
realize it's 0, and then take, what is it, 10? 9? It's 9.
All?
No, it's
Man, you gotta love Sam's
what is
card
Blind
handling
Hunter's
abilities.
stats?
Void Winnower is an 11/9?
No. What is sorry, Blind Hunter.
6/6.
It's a 4/5.
So it's 15 damage.
Yeah.
Wait,
Sam
Sam
scooping it
draws
up.
the Terminate and scoops.
how is it?
Right? Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought that was the Void Aurora. That's the
Yeah.
That's the Oblivion Sower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I think this Eldrazi deck is pretty good. I think this is just going to be another Pro Tour where multiple burn decks top 8. That's my prediction right now.
I would be very upset if that were the case.
Burn remains
like a
probably
bunch of
either the best or
affinity.
second best deck in the format.
A bunch of affinity top 8s.
Burns half a turn
Only-
faster
one
than
person
Affinity,
only
according to
ever-
Burn players.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
There's only ever one
half a
affinity
turn doesn't matter
player.
when you're playing against a slow deck like.
It's true.
Mono
It's true. Yeah. I mean, again, Eldrazi. It's a ponderous deck.
By ponderous, you mean slow, but not in the thinking way, right?
I mean, you do have to do a lot of thinking. You have to either cast your 5-mana Eldrazi spell or your 6-mana Eldrazi spell, and it's whether or not you want to be mana efficient. I guess that answers that.
Wow.
Damn it.
That's a 2-bite potato chip.
Yeah, BBE can probably be unbanned pretty safely. Quote, Gibboism.
So the thing people argued when Bloodbraid Elf was banned the first time was that they should have just banned Deathrite or Liliana and not actually banned it.
Instead of Bloodbraid, yeah.
They
Yeah.
should not ban Liliana.
Well,
That
it would be
very
sweet if they
disappointing.
banned Liliana, but I'm saying that as somebody who likes to play cards like Esper Charm, which are inherently very bad against Liliana.
Why
So,
is
yeah.
that, though?
Why is it? Because Liliana is a proactive discard spell which reactivates every turn. It's like if somebody could cast Raven's Crime, but they didn't have to play garbage cards in their deck.
Huh. Bigger Kahuna. Was it?
Hey, hold on.
Oh, Big Kahuna Burger. Pulp Fiction.
Man, yeah, big Kahuna Burger.
What y'all having? Burgers? No, not. Where'd you get them? Big Kahuna Burger. Oh, that's that Hawaiian burger joint, is it? I heard they got a tasty burger.
Yo,
Do you mind if I have them?
yo, Nathan, how much of Pulp Fiction can you quote verbatim?
Too much. Ugh.
Yeah, Mom and Pop, not very good against the Eldrazi deck. A card that's surprisingly good
Dude, it's
against the Eldrazi
PK.
deck.
It's PK Nalar. Like PK
All right,
Fire.
dude, yeah, all right, Smash Guy.
You got it.
That's true.
Dude, let's talk about that Earthbound remaster. That was hype. That was a very good remastering of a classic Japanese RPG, or
I still-
JRPG for sure.
I prefer the original, but
Why do you prefer the original?
the original.
Chiptune soundtrack. That's why you prefer the original.
That is also.
You see, Nintendo was releasing a DS with Pokemon Red and Blue preloaded on
I
it.
did in fact see that, and man, I just came into some money, and it's all going to Nintendo.
It's somebody
Once
like
more.
I saw it and I wanted it so bad.
When does that come out?
And I'm just not gonna buy it. But like,
Fire
no, I'm not gonna.
Emblem-
I wouldn't use it if I bought it. But
Fire Emblem Fates and/or Fire Emblem.
Oh my God! You
If
didn't miss.
comes out in February. I'm
When
so
does the
excited.
DS come out?
The DS comes out in February too, I think.
I'm buying it.
This is the 20th anniversary of the release of
I
the
can't believe that
Pokemon
game has
video
been out
game.
for 20 years.
That's a really big deal.
It's a huge deal. So I am older than Pokemon.
Yep.
Me
I'm
too.
slightly older than Pokemon, not by a wide margin. And it's just like those must have been really dark toddler years.
I remember the first time I played Pokemon Red. My
Yeah.
friend had it on his Game Boy, and he's like, "I don't know what to do,"
Oh,
and he handed it to me because we were in Pallet Town,
yeah,
and we the grass to like little kids looked like a wall.
yeah.
So we just walked around Pallet Town and talked to everyone 10 times. Like, this game is terrible, and we just put it away.
I definitely was friends with multiple kids, specifically this one kid named Paul in elementary school, because he
Paul.
had Pokemon Red, and he also had like backyard baseball, and I definitely like went over to Paul's house all the time, and I could not tell you anything about Paul besides the fact that I hated him secretly and loved his Pokemon games.
Okay, so Sam's gonna start with the Thoughtseize.
I'm pretty sure when you Thoughtseize here, you just take the relic.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam agrees. I'm inclined to believe Sam knows what he's doing when he plays Jund just because he plays it so much.
All right, so no black mana here. Doesn't
Yeah.
really matter.
No, it doesn't.
No,
Um,
Sam is actually at 15.
He's got turn 3 Blight Herder, but no tokens to make
Right.
with it.
But turn 3 Blade Herder is a 4/5, and currently Tarmogoyf is what? Oh, it's also it's a 3/4 at the moment. Scrabbling Claws, excuse me, Tarmogoyf is a 2/3 if Steve Dang chooses.
But now, his turn 3 Blight Herder will make 3 tokens as well.
See you next week, Dark Horse.
Bye, Dark Horse. Thanks for joining us here.
So I've heard the argument that, and this comes from, again, Pro Tour competitor Daniel Dwan, or future Pro Tour competitor Daniel Dwan. You just want your 2 flex spots in Jund, you want them to be Fulminators now. Again, Amulet Bloom, if it doesn't get banned, Tron, this Eldrazi deck, there's just a lot of targets for it now, whereas before there were fewer targets. Steve Dang gives him back the 2 lands, minimizing the effectiveness of Tarmogoyf.
So now the Tarmogoyf can't attack because it will get chumped by tokens.
Yep, and Tasigur can't attack because it'll just get blocked
Tarmogoyf
by
is a
Black Herder
1/2.
at the moment.
Oh, but I see the double. It'll just double lock it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The transparent purple Game Boy Color was the greatest thing ever made ever when
What?
it came out. The transparent purple Game Boy Color.
Oh my goodness.
No, man, he got his Ugin
I think it
tagged
was
by the...
translucent actually, but either way.
What happened to?
He just got his Ugin tagged by the...
Fulminator,
Fulminator
yeah.
made sick plays. Too bad there's still this giant thing in play.
Yeah. And it's like good thing Steve plays like 7 copies of Ayavugan, right? Because they play 3 in the format.
I was so shocked when I looked at this deck list and found that they don't play Vesuva. I was like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's only so much you can dirtle. Also, humorously, off of 3 lands, he's now 3/5 of the way to casting the card Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger.
Surgical targeting Eye of Ugin. He's going to exile it himself and fizzle the target.
Yeah.
Smart play. Heads up.
Sam gets the painful truths, and this is a problem, is you can't actually out min-range the deck that gets to play, all these Siege Gang Commander type
Gibboosm,
creatures.
I would wait to buy Fulminator Mages because there's about to be a pretty big meta shift potentially on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, I think you probably buy them at like 12:01 or whenever. Oh, they do the announcements at 10 now, right? 'Cause
Yeah, 10 a.m.
Yeah,
Well, it
They're
always comes out, like,
$20
15
right
minutes
now. They're
beforehand.
$20. That seems like
yeah.
high.
This is a pretty low point for Fulminator, and even if they ban all of these land
Boom!
combo decks, oh god, Void Winnower.
Oh, jeez.
I had Void Winnower in my Battle for Zendikar pre-release deck, and let me tell
You
you
can't
what the best
even
card of
block.
my Battle for
It's a
Zendikar
6/4.
pre-release deck was. It was Void Winnower.
It was Void Winner.
I think Steve understands what his role in this matchup is, and by that I mean he understands that he's supposed to win, and he's now trying to win.
I think, his role is generally to win and never lose against this deck.
Yep. Sam doesn't even crack Fulminator damage because he wants the odd.
He needs to block.
Yeah,
He
the
needs an
block.
odd CMC creature to be able to block.
God, the Void Winnower here is gonna. Or sorry, not Void Winnower. Wasteland Strangler is gonna be so savage.
He has one.
No, I just imagine he'll draw.
He's got to go for the throat. He's dead.
Just as good. Yeah, Steve, just go for the throat him and attack him for 11.
Yeah,
Again,
right. That's
real
all.
things that happen in Modern.
Yeah, you go for the throat, their Fulminator Mage, and then you attack for 11 with your 2 Eldrazi.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Sam does them the courtesy of scooping now,
Oh,
not
man.
even going to
That's
bluff
pretty
the reverse
rough.
cut.
Wow.
So this is an argument for the mono black Eldrazi deck. You get to out Jund, but by not playing cards
Which is
like
the one
Tarmogoyf and
yeah.
by playing a deck that's weaker to cards like Spreading Seas and Ghost Quarter, I think you do actually have like a pretty bad aggressive matchup.
But that was the whole appeal of the Emeria deck, right? If you ever played against Jund, you were definitely going to win. But you
Yeah.
also had a good matchup against the aggressive decks because you're playing
Right.
Wall of Omens and main deck Lone Mission.
I don't think Emeria. I mean, maybe if there's a 4 Ghost Quarter version of the list, but I don't think like normal Emeria could ever beat Mono Black Eldrazi. It's just
all
like,
of them play 4 Ghost Quarter.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
Never
actually
mind.
sounds
One of the
Let me
main win,
rephrase that.
one of the
Let me
main win,
rephrase that.
one of the main win conditions I would do is I'd be like Sun Titan, return Ghost Quarter,
Yeah.
play Ghost Quarter, Ghost Quarter, Ghost Quarter, Sun Titan attack, trigger Ghost Quarter.
Sure. So that might be like the. This is a cool thing about Modern. This is something that I've realized, and it's definitely true against Amulet Bloom. It might be true against other decks, not against Tron, not against Eldrazi. Is that the matchup percentages change rapidly after turn 5. So like
Yeah.
I'm playing a
I'm
very
gonna go
slow,
see if there's-
very slow.
Well, I mean, there's
Esper
only
Charm
apparently only
Proxy
2
deck.
minutes left in the round.
Yeah,
So just, and if not, tell Nick to get on camera.
Nick Barrios?
Paris?
Nick Paris, yeah. The Amulet Bloom dude. Nick Paris, who shares a last name with a mediocre Little Cup Pokemon, which evolves into a terrible evolved form of Parasect.
Parasect.
Yeah.
Little mushrooms.
Yeah. I mean, it learns Spore, it gets Sword Dance Seed Bomb, but that's about it. It's not a very good mon.
What just happened?
I guess you killed it. Nope, it's
That was really weird.
So Kyle. So how do you feel? I mean, if you could ban, so you got to ban 4 cards. Which 4 cards would you ban from Modern?
Summer Bloom,
Okay, that's 1.
Gora's Vengeance.
2.
Honestly, Protean Hulk.
That's 3.
No one plays it, but when I did play against it, the
Yeah.
deck is, you cannot interact with it.
No,
And it can win on turn 2.
Yeah.
It's not a problem yet. I think it's going to be. So Protean Hulk, ban a 4th card. I have to ban a 4th card.
Yeah. Would you ban Blood Moon?
So
If
I
you
don't
ban
hate
Summer
banning Blood
Bloom?
Moon. I think that banning Blood Moon is fine because I think that Blood Moon fundamentally changes the way that the game of Magic is played,
Yeah.
and I don't personally agree with that from a sort of a game design
Sure.
standpoint. You know what? I'm gonna pick those 3 because I think they should be banned. I'm gonna pick my least favorite card to play against in Modern, which is Inkmoth Nexus, and I'll ban that one.
Wow. Banning Moth would really change the format a lot. And Affinity gets significantly worse. Infect obviously becomes a significantly worse deck. And of course, the one
Ban
person
Hotline.
playing Equipster becomes very sad as their best manland gets banned.
Yeah, I just don't like playing at that card. I don't actually
Yeah.
think it should be banned. I just
Yeah. I mean, if I could ban any card from Modern, I would ban Serum Visions just to see the world burn.
no.
But
I got Nick to play on camera last round, so we'll have a. Sam Ives is also 2-1. And he was like, if I'm playing against Gamer Bloom, I'm not gonna play on camera, and I make that guy play on
tough
camera.
guy Sam Ives.
So ban 4 cards in Modern. Go.
Yeah, which 4 cards would you ban?
Splinter Twin.
1.
It's pretty elementary there.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Dang, champion of Modern, walks
Void
into the
Winnower
booth.
was sick.
It was so sweet.
Oh, man.
my god!
I was very skeptical of Void
I liked
Winnower,
how like the whole
and it
crowd was
proved
just like,
itself.
"What? Creatures can't block?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he can't block."
I thought they couldn't attack either, and I was like, this card is OP busted.
I mean, it can't attack because it's a 9/11.
It's already pretty
Yeah.
good.
It's not a 9/11. It's an 11/9. We went
Whatever.
over this. It's on purpose. It's a
Yeah, they can
conspiracy.
triple
I just had to
bolt
like
Void
think about it. I was like,
Winnower.
no, he can't even block. Like,
Dude, triple bolt. How about double active pyro, 2 active Pyromancer's Ascension?
Right,
Whatever.
You
All
have
this,
to ban
all this
4
means
cards,
is that I'm
ban
gonna
them.
play Merfolk.
Nathan, you have to ban 4 cards. Ban them.
they're all colorless.
I'll start with Splinter Twin.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 1.
Move along to Wild Nicatl.
Okay.
Wow,
Wow,
really?
that's bold. What are you talking about?
They banned Wild
No,
Nicatl.
I don't need to give a reason. Continue.
They banned Wild Nicatl originally because it congregated the burn decks into the same thing.
Yeah.
Now there's not burn and zoo; they're the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
There's only one type of red aggro deck and it features Wild and
Okay, either way, sorry. My apologies. So, Splinter Twin, Wild
Wild
Nicatl. These are just things I don't like.
Just amulet.
No, keep that.
Sure, Summer Bloom, just
Keep that.
because
Sure,
it seems
just
obvious.
neuter the deck. Yeah.
And then 4th card to ban in Modern. What's like an impressive.
Fucking
I don't know. So the
Well, people were saying that. I read a forum thread where people were talking about how like they're gonna have to ban Ivory
If
and
there was a way to
Eldrazi.
restrict cards, I think that'll be good. If we can just restrict the eye.
Yeah, they're never gonna.
But they're not gonna
There's
do
only
something-
ever
they're not
gonna
gonna
be
do something like
Yeah,
that.
it's like super weird in Vintage. So yeah.
You can hear it.
I'm just trying to think of what we said 5 cards, right?
4 cards.
Did we say? I thought I already picked 4. What did I
You
say?
did pick 4.
Splinter Twin.
Twin kitty cat. Summer Bloom.
Summer Bloom. Oh, I still have to pick one more. I heard you. Dang, I can't think of a fourth card because like Splinter
Gora's
Twin.
Vengeance.
That's not a problem though. I've never lost to that deck and I've played it several times.
Yeah, that deck. I beat that deck once by just like not.
I beat that deck twice by playing my deck like a normal
Yeah,
deck and like
yeah.
realizing how the combo works.
If Battle Screech was modern playable, would it be good?
No.
No, I
Battle
I
Screech
love
is
Battle
4
Screech.
mana, make 2/1/1 flying bird creatures.
And it's got flashback, tap 3 white creatures.
Yeah.
And-
So
All right, Vintage Masters breaking the format card.
Yeah, so-
I played this card in Legacy when I played 4-color opposition with Young
Yeah.
Pyromancer.
that deck is sweet.
I played 4-color
That's a
opposition in
real
Legacy,
True
by the
Legend
way.
special.
That's
So I
awesome.
basically played a cube deck in Legacy. Just like when I played blue-green, what's his name? Edric. I played like blue-green Edric.
Here's a
in
card I'd
Legacy.
be interested in unbanning in Modern. I'd like to see what Glimpse of Nature does to the format.
I would not.
Because I think that the Elves deck is fundamentally beatable, and if your Dredge deck of the format is pretty bad against Pyroclasm, I'm okay with that. The obvious argument against Glimpse, right, is that if they ever have 4 mana, they can go Glimpse, Heritage Druid, Nettle Sentinel, and then they're very live to win the game. But again, Instant Speed, Zealous Persecution, cards like that interact with that very favorably.
So is it when they
Ban Primetime?
Glimpse is on cast. There's no reason to ban Primetime. If you want to ban a card to make Amulet Bloom a reasonable deck, I think you ban Amulet. Because
Oh,
with
right, because Summer Bloom lets
Bloom-
you do turn 3
Right,
Titan.
it lets you turn 3 Titan, but it doesn't let you attack with the Titan on turn 3.
Yeah. You can have it on play on
Right.
turn 3, and then on turn 4, you can attack with it but not kill them.
Exactly.
Unless you have 2 amulets,
So-
and then
so-
you can kill them on the next
Yeah,
turn.
Amulet is
But that's-
obviously both Amulet and Summer Bloom enable broken starts from the deck. Summer Bloom makes it a very like fast deck, but it doesn't actually make it a fast kill. It just makes it a fast deck to get onto the board.
Yeah.
And it's inherently the argument is that like lands are bad for Magic, long-term game design argument.
Yeah.
Summer Bloom is card disadvantage. Amulet of Vigor is also card disadvantage, but it's such a mana advantage that maybe it's too good.
So-
Like Amulet plus Azusa may be too good still.
What legacy green enchantment lets both players play small creatures for free?
Allurin.
Yeah, that's Alarin.
Allurin.
Yeah.
Alarin.
It's clearly Allurin.
Alarin.
It's
Allurin.
without the double L.
A-L-U-R. It's Lauren, but with an A in front of the L.
And no U, or no A after that.
Spell it.
A-L-U-R-E-N.
Yeah. So Allurin, I don't know. I talking about cards which would be sweet to unban or
This
put
is not
into
one of them.
Modern.
This isn't one of them.
No, Allurin would break the format because of like the Coco, like the Abzan Coco decks. I
And
think like a card
Snapcaster?
like Daze is pretty cool to try out in Modern.
I said Counterspell when we were talking about legacy legal cards that could be in Modern.
Counterspell's already illegal 3 times over. You got Deprived, you got
Gee,
Familiar.
you know what I'm talking
And
about.
you got Logic Knot.
You
No,
know what I'm talking
no,
about.
I would love to be able to play Counterspell.
I
in
think
this
it would be
format.
interesting, but then again, we came into the inherent problem that comes with playing any non-legal currently card. It would have to make it through a standard rotation.
Well, but again, a long time ago, Todd Anderson pitched Modern Masters as a format as a set where they can just shunt cards into Modern, which weren't previously legal.
I think that's a good idea.
Counterspell is not a card which will break the bank. There are so many versions of Counterspell.
Yeah.
Maybe it goes up to $4.
No, I think
You have to
I-
drop
I-
$16 to play blue decks in Modern. Whatever.
Dude, I don't even think it would go up to $4. You type in Counterspell. If you see how many printings this card has, there is no
There's
way.
a lot of printings.
There's even a modern border printing. It
I
was in the
recently
dual
picked
decks.
up the.
Well, how much? See, look at how much the dual decks one is.
Well, the dual decks one is actually really
I
expensive.
know, but I'm gonna say. So look.
Yeah, it's like $5 or something.
Wait, what? Why is there no price? That's so frustrating. Oh, well, either way. So the dual decks one is like $10 tops, right?
Sure.
There's like, did you see how many other printings there were? There's like 60 different printings
Yeah.
of that card.
You can play the Legion's player reward printing of that card, which is gorgeous.
The one that is the art by Dom.
Yeah, by Dome.
Dome.
I recently
Where it's
found
like-
one of those. Yeah.
Counterspell is 65 TCG.
Yeah, they're looking at a beta
That
one.
is a
Good
beta
job.
one, I believe.
That one's 2. That one's 190. That one's $1. That one's 23.
Yeah, it's the
That one's 1.
arena promo.
20.
Looking at unlimited
1,
sets here, 50
1.
cents.
Yeah, the ones that are unlimited are between $1 and $2.
Yeah,
Sure.
so
And they have less printings than a Modern Masters would. So
Yeah,
But
I
also,
didn't
it
even
was
have, like,
printed
what, a
in. It
quarter
was
of the printing
printed,
Modern
dude. It was
Masters
printed
would?
in like 7th and just like
it
a
was
ton.
printed in 7th.
yeah,
It
but
was so
think about
close.
the difference between 7th and like the player base and stuff. If they put in Modern Masters, it might even double the amount of like counter spells there are, or like not double,
Yeah.
but like
It could.
like there are a lot more counter spells out of nowhere.
I could see that.
That's
yeah.
true. And the other thing is
Of
like
course, the demand increases
Counterspell.
too.
Counterspell, too good again. I think it's probably too good for standard. Blue is pretty easy to cast with the way they've been printing flexible mana bases.
It would just
recently.
punish like the sort of like at least for like
Yeah.
Grixis Delver, I would have a hard time I can remove a card from casting it, but snap casting it is getting a little greedy.
Yeah, although that just means you probably can't play cards like Blackleaf Cliffs, and you can only play like one total Blood Crypt style card in your 60.
I only play one non-blue source in my, but
Yeah.
I only have someone who plays 18 lands. This guy also agrees that he wants to try Cabal Therapy.
I don't think that's
Cabal
okay.
Therapy is too good.
I
for
think it's
Modern.
ridiculously unfair.
I just want to play it anyway.
If Cabal Therapy was like if Legacy
Oh,
or Vintage
yeah, we
were
can
less
switch back.
powerful formats,
Oh yeah, we've been on
Why are
this.
they not playing?
It hasn't
Scoot over.
started yet.
basically if me?
Join us.
Yeah, if Cabal Therapy was legal in Modern, Cabal Therapy is one of the most powerful Magic cards ever printed.
Yep.
It's it's the style of card that only gets more powerful over time.
So, think about it this way: when your opponent thought seizes you, they pay 1 mana and 2 life to pick whatever exactly card
Yeah.
they want. When they Cabal Therapy you on turn 2 after having played a creature, if you have multiple cards in your hand, say, and they name the first one correctly, they paid 1 mana and a creature to more than him you. Would you like to play a game where your opponent on turn 2 Cabal Therapy is your Snapcaster Mage, and then hymns away both of your
What if
insert
they,
X card here?
What if they reprinted Cabal Therapy in Shadows or Innistrad, but it's a different name without the? It would take a card with that name.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, so my
'Cause,
argument
I
against
don't think having 8 copies of that in Legacy is going to be a bad thing, right?
No, like Dredge.
People
might
wouldn't play.
like
People
6
wouldn't
of
play
them.
the new one over the old
Right,
one. They
and
just
they,
stick to
and
the
they wouldn't
format.
play 5 copies.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even play one. Like that card
Exactly.
wouldn't see.
So
play.
I think people who want Cabal Therapy in Modern have never been therapied for multiple cards, because as soon as Therapy takes 2 cards out of your hand, you never want to play it against
Right.
it again.
The last time I played
Or even
Cabal
if it like
Therapy,
it hits first, and then they take, and then they
Oh,
they,
yeah,
they do
yeah,
it
yeah,
again.
yeah.
Like you're just like mind twisted.
I don't know.
But
Play-
basically, you don't want to push Bridge from Below into being a playable card in Modern. Anything that pushes Bridge from Below into being more playable is probably bad for the format.
But I don't think anyone would be upset if they banned Bridge from in Modern though. Like the card is just obviously
No.
a broken
But nobody
But it would
likes
be
Bridge
it
from
would
Below.
it would signal like another problem in that they had to ban
Yeah,
Bridge from below.
Definitely. I mean, like Golgari Grave Troll is completely fine, and again, that's because they figured out that Dread Return is the problem card.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many decks I've brewed that are Dread Dread Return Reanimator decks, and then I just remember that it's banned in Modern.
Yeah, I think about that a lot. Also, I'll be
Yeah.
like, why is no one dread returning giant Golgari Grave Trolls? It's like, oh,
Yeah.
right, yeah, you can't do that.
What do you play it in just like loam?
Gamer
What?
Chain
Or just
Champ.
like-
Gamer Champ.
Like you just play it in.
Oh, you play Bridge from Below with Greater Gargadon? Well, you've already broken the format.
You are actually my hero.
Yeah.
Just for the record.
Man, I wish Greater Gargadon was a slightly more powerful card, but there's no way to do that. Maybe if it had Trample, I don't know.
It's powerful enough to inspire a whole modern deck, dog.
What Modern deck?
Cascade Balance.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the Restore Balance deck.
Yeah.
If Restore Balance wasn't so hard to find, I would probably play that deck.
I used to play that deck.
What is that card worth?
It's probably worth like $350, I think, now.
Not a lot. But I used to play that deck a lot.
It just exists under the category of like mid-range spec target, which nobody is selling their copies of. Also, any deck that gets to play Ardent Plea is a good deck in my opinion.
Really? Any deck that plays Ardent Plea?
Yeah. I mean, I played a lot of the Spread'em deck when it was in Modern or Standard.
What was the Spread'em deck?
The Spread'em deck was the deck that played 4 Ardent Pleas and 4 Violent Outbursts. You also played cards like Captured Sunlight and Bloodbraid Elf.
Well, those were the other Cascades, right? What was
Yeah.
that? It was the green-white one that restores life or something?
That gains you 4 life. That's Captured Sunlight. And
Why
all
would-
you would cascade into was Spreading Seas and copies of Convincing Mirage, which is where you can name any basic land type and the land becomes that. And this deck was
Permanently?
very good against Shards of Alaris Standard Junt.
Wait, it was just permanently it would change the...
Yep, yeah, it's just an aura. It's the same as Spreading Seas. You don't draw a card, you just get it.
It's awesome. I love it.
Viscera Seers. Damn, dude.
Man. Who would have? I would have never guessed Viscera Seer was a card that would make it into a non-rotating formats, but it obviously has.
Yeah, and it's like actually...
multiple times over.
I think it's one of the more played weird cards. Like, it's just all... It was all over the place
Well,
for a long
we talked
time.
about this before. Just like sack outlets are just like
Insane.
they're so good. Like
yeah.
in
Oh
Cube,
man.
like
Goblin
I put Goblin Bombardment's insane. I put
Oh, that's a card I want in Modern. Goblin
Yeah.
Bombardment. That is exactly what...
That would be
there
a
we go.
really interesting
Yeah,
card. in
Goblin
Modern.
Bombardment is a
Yeah.
card that I have consistently like thought up of. Like, same with Carrion Feeder. I was just like,
Carrion Feeder is what I was gonna say.
so
yeah.
when Sam Black used to play that
Zombardment.
Zombardment deck in Legacy, I was like, all right. So it eventually got pushed out due to power level issues and
Yep.
consistency problems. But I was like, So if Carrion Feeder and Goblin Bombardment were both legal in Modern, this deck would lose Cabal Therapy and probably still be playable on an even power level with the rest of the format.
Yes.
Like, if you gave the Modern format Goblin Bombardment and Carrion Feeder, you could put together that deck, play it, probably win a decent amount, but no one would be like, your deck is OP, what the heck?
What do you sack in that deck?
Anything.
So you
Blood
sack Grave
Gas.
Color, you
Grave
sack
Collars?
Blood Gas,
Okay,
you
I don't know
sack
how
Lingering
it goes,
Souls,
okay.
you also do the stack trick with Tide Hollow Sculler. Any deck that makes
Sick.
Tide Hollow Sculler playable in Modern is a deck that I'm interested in. I spent
like
a lot
the
of time
stack
working on like the Death and Tax, or sorry, the Dead Gael deck. And the problem
I used
was
to play.
ultimately Kolaghan Command is just like a 6-for-1 now.
Yeah, almost day 2 to GP with Dead Gael and
I think
Modern.
they mean either Meek Stone or Pillage for the Modern. Yeah.
I don't actually.
Pillages kill a land or an artifact. Meek Stone is creatures with power 3 or greater don't untap during their controller's
I played that in
step.
old school.
Yeah, Meek Stone is a
my
pretty
white
powerful
weenie
card.
deck.
I think you actually have to be careful about making Trinket Mage too good. So one of the arguments I've heard against artifact lands being unbanned, like even if they just unban like Seed of the Synod, is that's just like Trinket Mage is very close to being a busted card.
Is it?
Engineered Explosives, once it can like Borderland Ranger for you, that card gets, I think, significantly bettered. I really like Trinket Mage. I hope the Tezzeret decks get a little bit of push, so they just need like one more good cheap artifact to play, but whatever. All right, so we're seeing a really great matchup right now. We're seeing a matchup between a guy playing Avengers t-shirt versus a guy wearing a red hoodie.
That's Nick Paris. Or
I
it
don't-
should be Nick Paris.
I don't know who's playing.
I think he's playing. Is that Matt? Oh man, I forget his last name.
He's the guy who's on Grixis all the time.
Yeah, but I think actually right now he's just playing straight blue-red. Matt Cartier.
Matthew
Cartier.
Cartier.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's how you spell it. But then you said that, and I.
Minus. Yeah, that's it.
Minus the second E.
So here's the thing about Matt Cartier, and I mean this with zero offense to him. I think of him as like a Daniel Dewan friend, in that he like started out playing Modern by borrowing Daniel Dewan's deck, and now just plays that deck because he assembled his own copy of it by winning store credit.
I think he literally said that at some point to me.
Yeah, I mean, it
He's
seems
like, yeah, I used to
reasonable.
just borrowed a deck and then I built it.
Last week I played against, or like 2 weeks ago I played against Matt Cartier, and he just beat the snot out of me by resolving Blood Moon in both games.
So he's on Jund.
He's probably playing some kind of Splinter Twin. I would
No, he
imagine
usually
he's
plays
playing
Twin.
Blue-Red Twin right now. He might be playing the Green Splash for Ancient Grudge. Last time we played, he was playing a Sarkin Unbroken over Keranos, because he's a dude who likes spice.
That is spicy.
Sarkin Unbroken? What is that even
Is Dark
for?
Magician Girl banned?
Actually, I think they just unbanned that one. Or they're unbanning it on Monday, sorry. People were saying that one's a pretty safe pull from the ban list. I think that in terms of power level, it's pretty balanced with what the rest
Thank
of the
you.
format is doing. I don't think they... It was originally banned because of how powerful it was, but I don't think times have changed, and it's probably less harmful to the format now. Just due to power level and scaling of, the new cards.
All
by
right, that's
print.
enough on Dark,
Yeah.
Dark Magician Girl.
You sure?
Let's watch this match.
I
where
could
Nick
go
is-
on for a little bit. So Nick taking a mulligan, as it's pronounced.
A mulligan?
A mulligan. Yeah, so this is probably, sadly for Nick, the last time.
This might be the last event he ever gets to play with this deck. Battle
One-
of the Evil Ones.
One last time.
We're calling this the Battle of the Evil Ones.
Yeah, poor Amulet Bloom. I shouldn't even say that because they could just be like, whatever, dude, we don't care. We want to see these pros play this at the pro tour for pro players.
Yeah, again, Wizards of the Coast has demonstrated their willingness to just let one busted tournament happen, right? Like, think about that classic, like, combo winter tournament, or when
Necro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they also care a lot about their pro tour.
They care more about their Pro Tour than they used to.
That's true.
Because they're now fewer. Well, I guess they're the same amount. Ugh. You gotta love Amulet Bloom players saying, triggers on the stack.
Whoa. All right, turn to Azusa.
He casts it, and he just plays one additional land. And then he plays a second additional land. Uh-oh. Now we're in trouble territory.
Against
Although
two, right?
drawing Boros Garrison is never what you want to do with Amulet.
That's true, but I think he's made the best of it.
I agree. Having 4 mana going into your third turn is pretty good.
Well, 4 mana going in, and then he'll have the 5th land, making it 5 mana.
Yep. if he draws a
Stimulant
land that-
Spirit guy
yeah,
that he can test.
right, or any Karoo,
Fetching a
he
basic
can cast
island definitely indicates to me that he's on blue-red.
the Pestermite.
Yeah, Basic Island is a strong signal for blue-red.
Yes.
He's got I see the Pester Meat in hand.
Pester
And this is the terrible part against playing against Amulet Bloom with a remand deck is that you can remand it as much as you want, and they'll beat you to death with Azusa.
Oh,
got him.
Azusa gets blocked.
Snapcaster.
Why would you attack with Azusa?
That seems.
I would always attack with Azusa. I love saying, I love calling people when they're playing blue decks. He has the second Azusa!
Sick.
It's occurred to me before that Amulet Bloom players are always the best at Magic, but this is like clear evidence supporting that. He's now at 26 because he played 2 copies of Radiant Fountain. Sorry, the same copy of Radiant Fountain twice this turn.
Oh, he played it twice this turn?
Yeah, because he played it, bounced it with Systemic Growth Chamber, and then replayed it.
Okay.
So again, this is the argument for playing Splinter Twin.
He's going to do it again.
You attack here, whatever. No concern given. I don't know about this play. This seems a little cocky.
Why only?
No, he's out of cards now. That's awesome.
Yeah. I guess if the last card of his hand was Summoner Pact, you lose the game there.
28. How has he played it 4 times?
He's not played it 4 times. This guy is.
He's either
jumping
played
the
it at
gun.
3 or 4. I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, Matt is either going to kill him with infinite damage or he's not going to kill him. Let me rephrase that. He's either going to grind him out or kill him with infinite damage or not kill him.
Mhm.
There are always 3 options.
Did he play it
for him.
twice last turn?
Matt Cartier is going to draw an untapped 4th source of mana. Oh, never mind. I recant all of my previous statements.
Yeah, I understand how he did it.
So what do you guys think about? Do you think Blue Red Twin is
That's
going
a
to want to
1/4.
play multiple copies of whatever it's called, the Blue Red Manland? I can see them playing 2. Fulminating,
Who's playing it?
whatever. You know the Blue Red Manland? That's like
Yeah, who's
basically a
playing it?
4/1. Blue Red Twin.
No, Twin can't play lands that enter tapped.
Yeah, they can't do that.
Maybe they can.
No,
I
they
feel
can't
like
do
they
it.
can.
I really don't think they can though.
I subscribe to the Phil Silberman school of Desolate Lighthouse is a garbage, unplayable card
But then
I
why
love
would
that
you
card.
suggest the blue red man land?
because it attacks for 4.
Oh man, land.
I honestly feel like so. This is the thing I feel about Amulet is that from here I think Matt is actually favored, right? Like he's on like a 20-turn clock or something. I still think he's favored because he has a clock.
That's
He just
true.
drew his 4th land for Serum Visions. Like good game. You
I think
know?
he put a twin on top also.
He put something on twop.
He didn't
on
attack?
top. Whoa. He did not attack this.
Because he drew 20. He's like, I'll just kill you next turn.
That's a real strong argument. For
No, that
killing
means
him.
he definitely put twin on top.
6 mana. Is it going to be the Titan? It's not going to be the Titan. He
It's a
got
summoner's pact.
You let that resolve.
Yeah, I think that's a definite sure.
Yeah. So this is.
So here's the Titan.
Yep. Nick Paris.
On turn 6, the fairway.
Nick Paris is playing Modern Masters 2015 Primeval Titans because honestly, he doesn't respect Magic. That's a joke. He obviously respects Magic.
I have
because he's playing
my
a
4
Gemstone
Primeval
Land.
Titans altered to be the seasons. Summer,
And then
winter,
he gets
spring, and
remanded.
fall.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah.
Do you have Mishra's Factories for that? When was the last time you cast Mishra's Factory? And by cast, I mean activated. To be a 2/2.
Every single Thursday because I play White Weenie in old school.
Oh man.
And that means I play 4
Also, I
Mishra's
played in
Factory.
Cube.
Let me talk real quick about Nathan Mullen. I respect him a lot. I respect him just a whole amount. Matt Cartier fetching for Basic Island. I imagine he slams Splinter Twin.
I
Maybe
thought he put it.
doesn't.
I thought he put it on top off of the Serum Visions. Is what it looked like.
What it looked like to me was he put a land on top, but I have no idea.
I thought he drew the land from the Visions.
The
and
last
then-
time I cast Splinter Twin, it was standard legal. So I
I guess he
have no
didn't.
idea how to play this.
I guess he didn't. Wow.
He just missed his attacks. That must have been
Can we talk real quick about how for a while you could play both Preordain and Splinter Twin combo in standard?
with Stoneforge.
Yeah, you could play. In fact,
That's what I was saying. If they
yeah.
if they did unban Stoneforge, you just play American Twin Blade all day.
yeah, Twin Blade was a really good deck.
Yeah.
It was legal for people figured out. I think for exactly one standard tournament. It was an SCG in Baltimore. I went to and I played Pyromancer Ascension.
Nice.
I went 9-3 or something. You know, those back when
Baller.
they had the one day 13-round tournaments.
Yeah.
Could not beat Twin Blade. I beat every other deck I played. I
Yeah.
beat Valgate twice because I had the 4 Archive Traps in my sideboard.
Yeah. Damn.
Could not beat Twin Blade.
Valakut Ramp so it's basically Valakut Ramp was is the other Primeval Titan deck, right?
Yeah, I don't think it exists anymore in Modern, really.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well, there's the red-green Scapeshift deck that's like
Uh-huh.
Turbo Titan.
that deck's pretty gorgeous.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of people have been playing that recently. Like, every time I look at the Scapeshift list for Moto, I'm like, oh, how many Cryptic command? What? It's just
Yeah.
red-green, and then they're just like rampant. They play through the breach and stuff.
Totally.
It's pretty cool, actually.
Some of them even have Through the Breach up.
Yeah, Emrakul, right? Yeah. It's pretty sweet.
So I don't know if you were watching. Nick tried to play Primeval Titan again. It got snapped.
Yeah.
Remanded again.
Yeah.
So this is why people argue for banning Splinter Twin, right? Is because at any point this game, Matt could have drawn Splinter Twin and won the game.
Hmm.
Without it, he's just like, what are these cards? Vendilion clicks he plays? I don't know. Huh. Nick on taps, he's got a billion mana.
Oh,
He
there's
can
the
now
Cavern.
Name Giant with Cavern of Souls.
Counter this. I mean, I think he has a...
At Gamer Champ, I believe
He has
holding
another
on to
remand in hand,
Pact of
so-
Negation
Yeah.
to cast it in response to a Splinter Twin.
Yeah, Matt actually had a remand in hand for the Titan, and thanks to the Cavern draw, not gonna happen.
So one of the arguments for splashing in Twin, right, is that you get to remand into hard removal spell.
Yes.
Either Path to Exile or the Terminate.
Yeah, I played against a lot of the Blue-Red Twin this weekend at the 1K and Pastimes,
Uh-huh.
and their lack.
You top aided that, right? Nice.
Their lack of ability to remove Gurmag Anglers was astounding. The matchup felt so much better than it did.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they obviously have remand, which
When
is
they're-
very
when they're
good
playing
against
black
stealth
or something.
spells,
Yeah, I mean
but-
they do have Roast at sorcery speed, and then they have the one
Sure.
of what's it called?
Harvest Pyre.
Harvest.
I love
Fire.
Harvest Pyre. I
Both
used
of
to
those
play
cards lose to the spell snares. I imagine you have at least one copy of in your main
I
deck.
actually have none in my 75.
Oh,
Really?
dude.
Good for you.
I used to play Harvest
fear.
Fire the last time I played Swans of Bryn Argyle
I have
in Modern.
Dispel.
Sure. You can also Demir Charm roast.
Get
I
it.
don't know if you've ever done
Get
that.
it.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
I also had my Demir Charm spell snared a lot.
Dude, but it wasn't Harvest Pyre on Swans.
So Nick actually has enough mana that he can do
Doesn't
the
matter.
whole Wombo combo. He gets Vesuva. Oh no. He has his Slayer Stronghold in play.
But he can get the Vesuva to copy it, right?
He just needs to get Gruul Turf plus Vesuva here to continue the Wombo.
I'm glad those went down a teeny bit, but my goodness.
Yeah, there is definitely not a trigger on
With
Cavern of
Cavern of
Souls.
Souls?
Yeah.
No. And Matt Cartier, wisely understanding that his opponent knows how to play his deck, scoops him up. He says to himself, why did I play the version of Twin that only plays 3 Splinter Twins in the main deck?
Isn't that everyone?
That's probably the cockiest deck building decision in Modern, is that I'm playing this theoretical combo deck. I'm only going to play 3 combo pieces in it.
My deck is called Splinter Twin, yet I run 3
I want to
of them.
play the blue-red version in an event with no Splinter Twins in it, and just people have to just respect it all day.
That's
But
And
there
I
will
get
be
devious.
so many.
Yeah.
There's will be at least 100 separate times where it comes up that if you had even one copy of that card in your
Yeah.
deck, you would win the game. And you
Right,
won't.
I'll draw the 4
You just have
cards
to
I'll
play the
instead.
Grixis version that instead of playing 2 copies of a Splinter Twin, plays 1 Splinter Twin, 1 Demir House Guard to transmute for Cryptic Command, right?
Yeah.
I like it.
Ugh.
Oof. That is a good description of transmute cards. I love Muddle the Mixture, though. I think Muddle the Mixture is actually pretty good in Modern.
That's okay. You
Oh,
can,
really?
I like this. You're tight. I don't think he paid for his pact. Thank you. We know we're tight, but we're also right, and I appreciate your. I thought it was really complimentary. It was like, you're tight. I don't think he forgot to pay for his.
No. Yeah. What's their name? Bigger
Bigger
Kahuna.
Burger.
I think you need to work on your punctuation to suggest that we are in fact tight.
You're tight, comma. I don't think he paid for his.
You're tight. Semicolon.
Yeah. Is it a semicolon there?
No, I mean you can put a semicolon wherever you want.
You know what the worst thing happened to me? I was at the movies last night, and this is exactly why you use Oxford commas, because I was like, oh, smoothie flavors, right? Strawberry, comma, mango and banana. And I was like, no, I can't. Bananas make my throat scratchy. Why didn't you put a comma saying mango,
Yeah.
comma, and banana? Because I was like, I want
We
the
cannot
mango.
rewind the tape.
You can argue over the cereal comma until you're blue in
You
the
can
face.
watch
But
the,
that's the perfect example, right?
on demand
That's a
on
very
Twitch
good
as soon as we shut it off.
Isn't that like?
So
Yeah.
I work as an architect.
Yes.
And for some reason, the entire freaking industry decided we don't need Oxford commas.
or serial commas.
I
whatever
just
you wanna call
don't
them.
understand.
You ever heard that vampire?
So,
Weekends?
do we know? Like, did he just not pay for fact?
No, he did.
I don't know. I think Nick knows how to play his
Wait,
deck.
did you not see him pay for it? I saw. I'm pretty sure I saw him pay for it. I thought he put the die on top and everything.
Honestly, it's too late at this point. So this is a real point about Magic the Gathering and why people argue for digital games like Magic the Gathering Online and or Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Is that like you can forget all of this stuff, and if there isn't a judge sitting there with their scrutiny glasses, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But Hearthstone is semi garbage.
Well, whether I paid for it, we get to know what happened if he did and what happened if he didn't. So,
Semi garbage.
Why
Why don't you just play Summoner Wars? That game is gorgeous. I love Summoner Wars so much.
All right.
sure. Let me pull the cards up so they make more sense.
What cards?
He wants someone to explain Splinter Twin combo.
So sure, yeah. The way the Splinter
I
Twin
feel like we're
combo
getting trolled
works
here.
That's fine.
is that Wizards of the Coast didn't understand the interaction between Deceiver, Exarch, and Splinter Twin. And when they printed them in subsequent blocks, because this card was originally printed in Rise of the Eldrazi, the next block after that, New Phyrexia, well, Scars of Mirrodin block, the third set of which included many busted cards, such as Deceiver Exarch. I would argue, at this point, since Birthing Pod has been banned, the only modern playable Exarch, Deceiver Exarch.
True. So we'll get
Sorry,
back to this.
Entomber Exarch.
We'll get back to this history lesson in a minute because Nicholas Paris has led off with a turn 1 amulet followed by a turn 2 amulet. Matthew Cartier has led with Flooded Strain into Polluted Delta and a passing of the turn. Nick is going to generate 4 mana off of his Simic Growth Chamber, 2 green and 2 blue.
Yeah. Both the strongest and weakest point of Nick Paris's game, he draws multiple amulets every time I've played against him. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, how lucky.
It looks like he has a
It's
Summer
not
Bloom.
always good.
It's not always good. It looks like he has a Summer Bloom.
That card's real good.
He's going to cast it, so I'm assuming he's got a green and a blue floating post.
And this is where Remand is bad, right? Because if Matt remands this, Nick actually just can recast it for the mana he has floating.
All right,
But
looks
he
like he's
can
going to generate
remand the-
another 4 mana, and I think you saved the remand for the Titan.
You probably save the Remand for the Titan. Honestly, if he has 2 more, or if he has 1 more bounce land in his hand,
It won't matter.
yeah. Oh no, it actually doesn't matter either way, right? Because he gets to activate or tap Gruul Turf for 12 mana off of the Summer Bloom, so he can actually double Titan this turn. Let's talk about busted cards.
This is a
in
good
Modern.
way for us to end for him to end his amulet career if he has a Titan in hand right now.
He has Hive Mind.
No, it's a prime. It's a prime time.
Does he have
that's a
Hive Mind?
Primeval Titan.
Does he
Let me
have
rephrase
Hive
that.
Mind? I was about to be
Yeah.
like, this is great.
Hive Mind is much harder to beat than.
All right, so this is just the turn 2 Titan off double amulet. Do you have a remand? Because if not, I'm going to kill you right now.
Yeah, and this is even the if you do have Remand, I'm still gonna kill
I'm
you.
so glad it's ending this way.
This is
Matt,
ridiculous.
my party is thinking about, man, if only I played Simeon Spirit Guide, I could tap this
hey,
before it attacks.
you guys are tight.
Yeah! Thanks, Dark Horse.
At Dark Horse, I really like Mike Mignola as an artist. I really like his work on Hellboy. I like his BPRD work.
Are you talking about Dark Horse Comics?
I am talking about Dark Horse comics.
Maybe he's a fan.
Maybe he's a fan.
Maybe
I would hope so.
VX Dark Horse is a fan.
What if he was just him?
What if this was Mike Mignola? Hey, Mike, stop licensing all of your content. Just hold on to it and make good movies. No, the Del Toro Hellboy movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm sorry that we're not paying attention to this.
No,
but
no,
this
we're
is
just
pretty
waiting.
Elementary
He-
double titan.
Yeah, he's got. This is Nick Paris on turn 2 has 2 Titans in play. He's searching up his
Yeah.
lands off the second one. This game is over.
So this is the real problem with Bloom Titan in Modern is that there's no reason not to jam with the deck.
Matt's double checking what the rules,
Yeah.
the text on that is.
Matt is just when nature calls run.
Yeah.
That's the flavor text on both copies of Primeval Titan. Okay,
I'm a running.
Is that the flavor text on the Modern Masters version?
I believe
Yeah,
it's just the standard flavor
It's
text.
when
on
nature
the card.
calls,
Comma.
non-italicized, run.
Which is like secretly italicized, right?
Yeah, because
it's
they're
like,
it's so meta, dude. It's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, so I've played a lot of this Esper deck now in Modern.
Is he
where
getting
you're-
a 3rd Titan?
Of course it is. Because again, he has 2 copies of Amulet, which means that I think
This
he
is
can actually
amazing.
do the all the Titans attack.
This is amazing. Oh yeah, because he can make them both. 2. Yeah. Oh wow.
Right, and then when they attack, he gets it on this one, he gets it, yeah. Then it goes back to his hand, I think he has enough mana floating to replay. Oh no, those 2 just attack. he gets enough to double strike one of them. This is
When
just,
nature calls, ban Bloom.
oof. Excellent flavor text.
Thank you,
and
Gamer
Matt
Champ.
just shows him the Blood Moon.
Wow.
I know for a fact that Matt Cartier plays multiple copies of main deck Blood Moon. It doesn't matter. When your opponent kills you on turn 2, your 3 drops don't matter.
Very well done, Nick. That is the exact. He should put the deck down.
Yeah.
Like, expect that it's going to get banned. This was how you ended, and perfect. It's documented.
Yeah.
This was the last. You can show this to everyone. The last time I played Amulet Bloom, I had 3 Titans in play on turn 2, and I'm sure Wizards of the Coast was watching, and they decided, you know what? We've had enough.
People talk about this a lot with Modern, right? It's like you became proficient with Storm, they banned Storm. You
Yeah.
became proficient with Birthing Pod, they banned Pod.
Yeah.
But I feel like since the inception of the deck, since Justin Cohen got second at the Grand Prix with the deck, people have been like, oh, they're just going to ban Amulet Bloom. It has very few bad matchups. This is ostensibly the deck that has the best game 1 against it because you play all these tap effects.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Leave your deck in the play mat, walk away.
Yep.
Yep. It's a drop the mic moment right there.
Yep.
That was round 4.
Not only do you get to drop the mic, you get to just like shove the mic up their nose.
But yeah, so I've heard people talk about that before. Interesting thing with Amulet Bloom is all these cards have existed for years.
Yeah.
This deck, you could have made this deck 2 years ago.
I forget
know?
what his name is. There's a dude who plays in Madison. I
With that whole
apologize.
circle?
Yeah, but his name starts with a V. He's a very talented player.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the first guys to get on Amulet Bloom. He was the one who passed it on to like Cohen and Black.
That whole team.
Yeah, and like
Matthias Hunt played it a little bit.
Matthias Hunt played it a ton. If there's a good combo deck, I'm sure Matthias Hunt will play it.
He plays High Tide even. It's like, yeah.
Amulet Bloom is just an absurdly powerful deck.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to talk about non-rotating formats, you actually have to cap the power level, right?
Yeah, of
Like
course.
Goblin Charbelcher, too good for Modern. If Goblin Charbelcher was playable, that card would be bannable.
Right.
And this is an example of a Charbelcher style deck. But the advantage this has is you don't have to play crappy cards like Reb, which cost a mana. You can just play Tutorable Pact of Negation.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even like a lot of people have been like, you can't really even call this deck a glass cannon because it's just so consistent. There are so many different ways and avenues that you can take.
Right.
Yeah.
We saw Nick combo up through
Yeah.
through counter magic like 12 turns into the game.
Yeah.
Like it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. And again, so this is the argument. So I think Amulet Bloom is very good against removal spells. It's very good against counter magic. It's very good against land destruction.
Yeah.
It might not be great against 2 of those 3. So a deck like a small, aggressive, burn-based deck with Wild Nakables,
Yeah.
it's pretty good against Amulet Bloom when you can
Right.
board in cards like Molten Rain and Path Tag.
Yeah.
But you don't want to stratify the format between Amulet Bloom, burn decks built to beat burn. That's
Yeah.
a garbage format.
Yeah, that's not something most people would want to come in every week and play. For sure.
At the X Dark Horse, 7-land Belcher is not actually broken, and the reason why I would argue against it being broken is that you're playing a Charbelcher deck with more than 1 land in it.
Yeah, so inherently not broken. I remember, what was it? This Monday, Nick was here and he was saying like, should I play Bloom or Grixis Delver on Wednesday? I was like, no, you should play Bloom because every single person you beat is gonna say something along the lines of like, oh, have fun, this is gonna get banned next week. Or like, oh, sick deck, dude. And I hope that didn't happen, and I hope all of his opponents were good, respectable, nice players, and everyone had a good time.
You know you're in trouble when you're banning in boarding in cards like Mom and Pop just to put a clock on the deck.
Yeah, that does not seem like the place that a deck like Splinter Twin wants to be in. I feel like another thing about Amulet Bloom's rise in popularity
Yeah.
is the kind of coming to the front of all the Grixis decks that just popped up. I feel like Amulet loves to play against Grixis decks.
Yeah.
They kind of don't put a ton of pressure on you immediately,
No.
and Terminate is really their only out.
Yep.
I feel like that kind of helped catapult Bloom into this place where...
Well, Grixis decks can't both gain cards and interact with you.
Right, it's one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, the argument for a deck like Grixis Delver, which I'm sure Kai Tai Fu can talk about in much more depth than I can, is that you're clocking them. So it doesn't matter how many cards you're down in a matchup, because you're clocking them. But if you have to take time off to Thought Scour for Tasigur, your deck is significantly worse in the matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what WotC's banhammer falls upon this coming Monday.
I
what
hope
they,
it's everything. I hope they ban every single problem card. I hope they ban Amulet of Vigor. I hope they ban Blood Moon.
Sure.
I hope they ban
Wild Cattle.
every single Urza land.
So this is actually we had an interesting conversation the other day in the car, and I'm wondering what you guys think about the Borborygmos needle scandal.
This is I'm a level 1 judge. I'm a level 1 judge. This problem is emblematic of the problems with the judge program.
Mm-hmm.
They're given too much discretionary power. So you can't blame people for trying to win a game in a competitive game, right?
Yeah,
Bob
I mean,
Wong-
they're just there to
Yeah,
win.
Bob Wong saw his line, he took it. You can argue, was it sportsmanlike, was it not? That doesn't matter. It was within the rules for him to say, he named Borborygmos, that is the name of a card, I'm going to hold him to that.
Mm-hmm.
The judge is within his rights to interpret it as such. But the discretionary power of judges comes into play here, right?
Yeah.
On Magic Online, he would have typed out Borborygmos enraged or
Because
whatever.
you would have typed in Borbo, seeing that there was the enraged one beneath
Yeah.
it, and
He would have clicked on that one because that's the one they play.
so the
Right, he
another-
knew what card it was. And
Yeah.
he knew what it was called.
But a lot of people
Yeah.
have said this thing about intent, which I think is kind of interesting.
That's
when
the
he
camp I'd fall in.
so when he played it, he said apparently the full thing that this man said was Borborygmos, comma the one that's in your deck.
That's what his
And a
boss
lot
said.
of his supporters and his boss and people like that have been like, he showed clear intent about
Yep.
what he was naming.
Doesn't
And
matter.
I said that is what made me finally come to the decision that is like, no, it did not matter. Like your
Yep.
intent is irrelevant. I can't cast Cabal Therapy and say that 1 mana blue instant draw spell, the one you play 4 of in your deck. Like, yeah, you know exactly what card I'm talking about. Everyone would know. It's Brainstorm. My intent was 99% clear. It does not matter. Intent does not matter. It is not, and people have been like, it's not about knowing the exact card in your deck. It's not a naming game. And I would argue what actually happened was this was a man who wasn't fully utilizing the tools he had to him. There was a
Yep.
judge next to him. There were deck lists. This is, when it becomes that level of play in a top 8 of a tournament, it is a naming game, and it is using your skill, and it is playing the game perfectly and correctly. You're playing for a lot of money on the line, and it doesn't matter what your intent was. If you did not play the game properly and cast a pithing needle naming the correct card, you didn't do it right.
Right. And this is the problem, is that intent doesn't actually matter in
Intent is
enforcing
irrelevant.
Magic rules unless you're trying to determine if someone was cheating.
Right.
Nobody was cheating, right?
And that's why intent is irrelevant is a thing, because if it is relevant, then there's all this angle shooting problems that come up with cheating.
Yeah.
Where it's like Borborygmos, the one that's in your deck. What if they actually?
Tight-ends.
What? Oh yeah, that was a great way to go out on Triple Titan on turn 2. We're proud of you,
Yeah.
giving it a good name, right? Hopefully it sticks
We're
around. right?
high-fiving Nick Paris.
Yeah, this deck's called Remember the Titans now.
Yeah. Remember
My
the
dad
time.
was actually a Titan, like the T.C. Williams Titan.
Yeah.
He played basketball.
Oh.
Wrong
okay.
sport.
Okay.
Now, did
They
you see
were-
he
they
had
were not
turn
as
3
good.
Blood Moon also?
Yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah,
showed
of
it.
course, yeah. So this is the problem with the Magic rules, right?
Yeah.
Specifically with the IPG.
I just
Is
find
that-
it, yeah.
Judges are given a lot of power. Judges have a huge amount of discretionary power, even in situations which aren't related to cheating or anything like that. Judges
Yeah.
have an absurd amount of discretionary power.
Yeah, the last time I called a judge at a Magic event, I was playing against a Mud player in Legacy, and he had a Trinisphere and a Lodestone go on and play. Classic Mud scenario, right?
Yep.
I played a Ponder and paid 3. My opponent immediately says that costs 4. And I was like, all right, it doesn't. I'm going to call a judge, right?
Yeah.
So I call a floor judge, and they're like, yeah, so Trinisphere says it costs 3, and then Lodestone adds an additional 1.
Yeah.
And so I was like, can I... and I wasn't even like, you're wrong. I was just like, I'd like to call a head judge on this. And he was like, sure, that's fine. But I was thinking the whole time, I was like, I know this head judge isn't going to get it wrong, but if he does, that's it. That's like end of the line,
Yeah.
I'm screwed.
Right.
The discretionary power it's like...
So-
it's like
Yeah.
they're supposed to be there to enforce the rules, and because of the way the game is, there's all these situations that come up where enforcing the rules isn't enough. And they have to like make a judgment call or something, and that's super dangerous.
So at VX Dark Horse, who said you do not need to actually name a card, only uniquely identify it. Again, at whose discretion?
Yeah.
The judge's discretion.
Yeah.
The first judge's discretion, because generally speaking, they're going to get more credit than a player will when there's an appeal.
Exactly. which is not healthy.
This is not default L1s. L1s do a very vital thing for Magic the Gathering. Maybe you can argue too many of them are certified. It's too easy to certify an L1. I'm certainly somebody who benefited from the lax certification rules as becoming an L1.
Yeah.
I didn't even study. I got certified, whatever.
Yeah.
The point is, you want to put the power in the hands of who is right,
Yeah.
and the rules do not really allow for that with the way they're written for the tournament procedures.
Wait, so you need to uniquely identify a card to name a pithing needle that...
Yep.
Is
You have
that-
to do it to the satisfaction of the judge.
Is that
So-
is that really it? You actually, it's not...
Yeah,
it,
so-
it,
so
because
You
it-
can describe a card.
Because-
and then
Yeah.
they'll-
but doesn't it say name a card? Like, don't you have to be able to name it?
No, because you can actually describe a card and get the oracle text on any card from a judge. So this is what we're talking
So,
about, right?
so
Because
I-
he
so
could have said, what is the copy of the card, or what is the name of the Borborygmos card that you can discard cards to lightning bolt your opponent? And the judge would have said, oh, are you talking about Borborygmos and Rage?
And they would have to give that to him. See, but then
Yeah.
again, that becomes even more. He didn't use the tools given
Yeah.
to him.
No, but I
in
think
this top eight
that's
match.
what the problem though, right? It's he knew what the card was called, right? And that was like this because of that exactly.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm allowed to play Pithing Needle or Pithing Needle, however you want to say it,
Sure.
and sort of describe a card. Every time you play the card, Borborygmos would have been okay, but apparently it's not.
Right, because there's in fact a card named Borborygmos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I
It's
don't
just
know.
like the Inquisition versus Inquisition of Kozilek thing with Meddling Mage.
Mhm.
In Legacy, if you play Meddling Mage and say Inquisition, you're actually naming the card Inquisition.
Yeah.
Anybody can enforce that. That's not even like a discretionary thing on the judge's part. There's literally a card called Inquisition.
Yeah.
Same diff.
I don't know. I've just always, every time I play cards like Pithing Needle, Cabal Therapy,
Yeah.
Meddling Mage along those lines, and every time I played against them, when my opponent goes like Cabal Therapy, Liliana, I'm just like, all right, yeah, you discarded my Liliana the Veil, but I'm annoyed because like if it was me, I would have said Liliana the Veil. I would have said Jace the Mind Sculptor or Jace Vryn's Prodigy based on
Right.
which I thought you actually had.
And you actually can say to them, this is something which encourages good play, but is adverse to you as a player. You can say which Liliana, which Jace, which whatever,
Yeah.
which Borborygmos.
Mhm.
But why would you ever do that if you were trying to win a national
That's exactly what I'm
tournament?
saying. Like, yeah, Bob Huang was there to win the tournament and
Yeah.
make some money. And like he said, like person played Pithing Needle, said Borborygmos. He has to judge.
Yeah,
It's Borborygmos.
yeah.
People are like, he was angle shooting. He was being scummy.
These are the way the rules work.
The way the rules work, the way it fell out, the way
Yeah.
it lined up, I don't think he did anything wrong.
This isn't even as weird as a situation when, the famous Esper Charm scenario, somebody casts Esper Charm, says, Esper Charm target myself. The only mode of Esper Charm which targets players is discard 2.
Yeah.
So if you want to draw 2 cards and you say Esper Charm target myself, certain judges, this has happened in the past,
We'll
it's been
force you to
publicized,
discard too, yeah.
will force you to discard 2 in
Yeah.
that scenario.
Gamer Champ, you cannot use your phone in competitive REL. If you even touch it, you'll get
You'll get,
some sort of penalty.
Yep,
It's-
can't use electronic devices at
Yeah.
the table.
It's just a-
competitive REL event.
Dude, is it just a game loss or you just kicked out?
I don't know. I think it depends
It might even
again
just be
on
a
the discretion of the
warning. It
judge.
could
It
be a
also
warning.
could be a thing like
Yeah.
what we're using on a phone call. That's a warning. Oh, you were
Yeah.
actually looking up stuff. That's a game
Yeah.
loss. I have no idea.
But see, then again,
Exactly.
that's judges'
Right.
call and intent and
So-
angle
so,
shooting and
we think of Magic as this perfect rules system, and it's in fact not. And a large amount of that has to do with things
except for online.
like right, but online that's because there are these really harsh, unfungible. There's no shortcuts online.
Yeah,
That's what I mean, I guess.
yeah. Unless you're
So-
playing Four Horsemen and you have the bot,
Yes,
because there's a Four Horsemen bot.
I didn't know that.
There
but
is.
thank God
It
people have that
executes
free
all the
time.
the actions for you. It's hilarious. What? No.
I've been running this pen on my leg, and the tip is broken, and so it came out through this little hole in the cap, and I just drew lines all over my jeans.
Oh,
Your
no.
jeans look pretty tight though.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically, and Kyle, you were of the opinion that it was unsportsmanlike and that he should have.
So I don't know. I guess it's hard to say. Like, first of all, I don't know what sportsman I don't know. I would never have done what Bob Huang did.
Right, you wouldn't have
Right.
seen the line, is what you're saying?
No.
You
Even if I knew he named the wrong card and the judge knew he named the wrong card,
Yeah.
I personally, and I'm not trying to attack Bob, what he did.
Yeah.
I never ever would have made that call.
Yeah, and let me just say, as somebody who's played against Bob in the past, Bob is like a completely reasonable and solid dude.
Yeah.
He's just, again, trying to win a
Right.
Magic tournament.
That's what he does. He's like
Just
he's
from a
he's
personal standpoint, when I go to a Magic tournament, I'm trying to win a Magic tournament.
Right.
And I do not believe that was winning at the game of Magic.
Sure. You were winning
I do not
weird
believe that a
sub-rules
required
game.
skill to playing Magic is correctly identifying
the
cards
name
by their
game
name.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, there is a 0% doubt of what he did and what he meant.
Mm.
People keep saying he had his deck list, he could name the right card, but to me, he had the deck list. He obviously knew what
Right.
card it was.
And in
Right.
fact, when he said Borborygmos, which is in your deck, he meant that card.
Right, and actually, what I want to know, and because it's like all these like he said, she said things.
Yeah, of course.
I've heard the story told without the one that's in your deck, and
Sure.
I've heard the story told with the one that is in your deck.
Right, yeah.
All the ones where it's from very biased sources. So I don't know. To me, if he said the one that is in your deck,
Yeah.
100% there is no way the judge can tell him that it's not correct.
I can
Yeah,
tell
but that
you
leads me to believe that he didn't say that.
Exactly.
Is what the
Yeah,
problem
Exactly,
is.
which is why I don't really know how that
Because
story
the people
goes.
I've heard it from, like you said, was
if-
his boss in that video, and then like other people who play for that gaming company. Like,
Exactly.
it's all these people who are like, well, I was there, and he said
There's
it was
a lot of
his
people
day.
that benefit from him winning
If
these games.
if
Yeah.
I was the judge at the table, and he had said the Borborygmos, which is in your deck, I would have said Pithing Needle has turned off Borborygmos and Rage.
Exactly,
Right.
And honestly, I'll be real here. If he had just said Borborygmos and I was the table judge there, I would have probably still enforced it as turning off Borborygmos
Right, so
and
we were
Rage.
talking this before, like about how
Because of the naming
it's unfortunate
convention
because some
problem.
judges make errors.
Yeah.
That being said, they're like not necessarily in with gameplay, like with cheating, and like there are things like where like we were talking about this before. You cast a spell. I played against an opponent at this 1K, and he said,
Oh, right,
"I will
right.
bolt your Delver of Secrets."
Sure.
And I'm like, and I jokingly said, "It's not Delver of Secrets, it's an Insectile Aberration."
Right.
Right. And he's like, "Okay, we gotta back up. We don't have to."
Yeah.
And there is a lot of elements where people take shortcuts. They're
Yeah.
built into the rules.
Yeah.
And when the shortcuts don't work, the judges have to make
Oh, or something.
calls of intent. That's
Yes.
what they're there for. And I trust them to do that correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Well,
they make a mistake. Sometimes they shouldn't be
Here's
judged.
a classic example. When somebody activates a Gideon Jura and attacks with it,
Mm-hmm.
and you say, bolt your Gideon Jura, bolt your Gideon Jura, do you mean redirect the bolt you redirect the damage to
Mm-hmm.
Gideon Jura to remove 3 loyalty counters as a state-based action? Or do you mean bolt the creature which is named Gideon Jura, which is indestructible until end of turn?
Exactly. So we need judges to do that. So I believe that the judges do have the power to make decisions based on intent.
But so like judgment calls like that are simple, but then like it becomes a problem when it's judgment calls that are more complex.
Right, and I think that's why we have multiple layers of judges.
Yeah.
That being said, I think personally that the intent was there.
Yeah.
There was zero room for error, and he should have turned off the card.
Right, and this is, again, something that's problematic about judges in general, which is that everybody can agree that the guy meant Borborygmos enraged, and the judge didn't do anything wrong by saying he didn't, and if the head judge of the event upholds him, for the event that stands.
Yeah.
Wizards can come down and make a ruling later on the IPG, they can adjust the IPG, that's their prerogative, they're the ones who run DCI, whatever. But ultimately speaking, for the purpose of that Magic tournament, what the judges say is in fact the rules of Magic the Gathering.
Mm-hmm. Regardless of whether they
Right.
are or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be frustrating.
Yeah, the chess clock is too clunky to me. That's not.
Emperor
That's just
Calgar.
to me-
If you want a chess clock for Magic, you should play Hearthstone. You should play a game
Or
where you
just
don't
play-
have
no,
to
no,
pass
no.
priority.
No, Big Kahuna Burger wanted the chess
Oh,
clock.
okay.
Emperor didn't want it.
Okay.
So
Sorry,
he did
Emperor.
say, he said,
I'm
I do
gonna
wish there
score.
was like a chess clock type thing. He wasn't calling for
Yeah.
a specific chess clock, which is good because a lot of people and a lot of Magic players realize that a real life chess clock is flawed and probably wouldn't work. So like if there was some sort of a way.
If there was,
Many
if there
years
was
ago,
a
Ricky
way,
Hayashi did the chess clock experiment. It failed completely.
right? If
Right,
there was
right.
some way for some magic robot to monitor who currently
Yeah.
had priority and ran a clock like MTGO, hands down, implement it tomorrow.
Right. But I've
but that's just not the case.
Yeah, and it's just like the frustrating problem that I could talk forever about in slow playing Magic players. It's just like it's again.
Yeah.
So it's again ready a judge making a judgment call
Right,
on a
right.
scenario that they're not 100% aware of what is happening, no matter how well it is
Slow play
explained.
is the perfect example of discretionary judge calls,
Yeah.
where it's just like you're putting this in the hands of somebody who didn't watch the entire match.
Right. It's the he said, she said,
Yeah.
they said, we said. I
Think
didn't
about
say.
how long it took them to ban like Tomohiro Saito, who is, and again, an incredible Magic player.
Yeah.
You can watch on camera this dude slow playing.
I've seen
I'm not breaking any. I'm not like this isn't like a Watergate situation.
Well, he's like gaming the clock, which is something that you're not supposed to be able to do.
Right, and he has figured out when the reason why they say you no longer have 3 minutes for sideboarding is because people will take all 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You give people an out, they'll play to their out.
Yeah.
This is a competitive game. People want to be competitive.
Right, they'll play their slow deck and grind out a win as long as they possibly can take, and then
That is a true statement.
yes, Bob Wang was wearing an
Am
MTG
I in trouble
Yeah.
for saying what I said?
About what? About Bob Wang?
No.
I don't know, dude. I work for another game store, so don't even ask me.
Yeah. But so either way, being able, you shouldn't be able to game the clock. You shouldn't get punished by your opponent playing slowly. It's just something that is almost impossible to enforce unless what you have to have is if you call a judge for your opponent slow playing, they'll be like, all right, can you please speed up your pace of play?
Yep.
They'll walk away. You call the judge again. They might give a warning. They might not. There's any number of possible outcomes could happen, most of which don't solve the problem of your opponent playing slowly at all.
No.
And it just becomes an impossible thing. You can't have a judge for every 2 players in a Grand Prix.
So I've played Enchantress in a lot of Legacy events. Legacy is a format which takes a long time, a lot of fetch lands, a lot of top activations, a lot of complicated combo decks. Enchantress is a slow and ponderous deck, even though it doesn't actually play ponderous. So maybe it's not really ponderous. But
It is.
Enchantress is a deck where I frequently tell my opponents, in game 1, as soon as I begin to lose, I'll be like, look, it's going to take me a long time to win if I try to win. Please play as quickly as you can.
Right.
And people can always say, okay, sure, and then continue playing at the same pace. And then, again, the impetus returns to me as a player to be like, I think my opponent is gaming the clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you call over a judge and you say to the judge, you have to say, like, look, I'd like to talk to a judge. As soon as the judge comes over, you have to say, I would like a time extension for the extent of the judge call. And then you have to say to the judge, I would like you to watch this match for the rest of the match because I think my opponent's slow playing.
Yeah, or like gaming the clock or slow playing, whatever. Yeah, you would probably just say slow playing. But
I'm going to step in here.
Yeah.
We're going to continue this conversation all night.
Sure.
So we should probably we'll be back. Phil and Greg will be back tomorrow. We'll be back on Wednesday.
that's true.
This conversation's never going to end. I know it's a fun conversation.
All right,
but,
well, so either way, that was a great last match to end on. If
yeah.
anyone was watching, Blue-Red Splinter Twin, staple of the format.
Just got goose egg.
Amulet Bloom, probably seen its last couple of days here. Great way to end it. Nick Paris putting 3 Primeval Titans into play, giving 2 of them haste and +2/+2, just absolutely crushing the twin deck, which had a Blood Moon the next turn. Really awesome to see. A lot of good games.
We watched a Void Winnower attack. That was great.
A lot of good games. We
That
got
was
the Eldrazi versus the Company deck. It's a lot of good games tonight. It's exciting to see where Modern's going. Hopefully a lot of new decks pop up at the Pro Tour or some re-innovations of old decks. We'll see what gets the chop, and maybe they'll unban something cool as well. RIP and PAX to Amulet Bloom.
So catch us here tomorrow for Legacy.
I'll be there.
7:30. He'll be playing, crushing it. And then we'll be back next Wednesday, also for Modern. So other than that, have a great night.
Thanks for joining us.